So. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna share it to my community first. Good morning to all. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Tayo. Before I start, I will just share my live stream to my friends. Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, wala naman. Wala naman. Robert! Oh, may pasok ka, di ba? Di ba may pasok ka, Robert? Wala kang pasok ngayon, Robert? May pasok ka sa school? Si Robert, walang pasok sa school. Walang pasok sa school si Robert. Wait, i-share ko muna yung line ko, ha? Share ko muna sa community. Pag-share. Wala kang pasok sa school? Palike naman, palike. Jessie, ayan si Robert. Yung dalawa. Wala kayong mga pasok sa school? Uy, mag-thumbs up naman kayo. Give me a like. Thumbs up, like. JC, thank you. Baka mo na si JC. JC, Lion. JC, copy link. JC, Lion. Jobert. Huwag kayong mag-aaway, ha? Ayoko nag-aaway dyan. 34, thank you. Welcome to my live. Wait, I'll just share my Robert. Andiyan si BFF mo. Hello. Ayan. Connect guys to JC Lion USA. On the top. Give me a thumbs up. Come on, thumbs up. And then, saan naman tayo? Good morning. Ay, good evening there, JC. Good morning. Good evening sa US. Mga taga US, good evening. Pilipinas is good morning. Sige na, oo. Wala naman makausad na. JC, wait lang, saan naman kita? 46 people, thank you. Saan naman tayo, ha? Ayan, connect guys. Ay, i-promote ko pala yung mga members ko. Hindi pa ako naka-update sa members ko. Promote natin yung ating mga members. Oh! Members. Connect guys sa JC and to my members. Robert and Jessie, thank you. Bakit nga Jessie, sabi ni Robert? Huwag kayong mag-aaway dyan, ha? Ayoko may nag-aaway dyan. Kundi papaluin ko yung dalawa. 71 people, thank you. Good morning, Philippines. Time check tayo. Time check. 10:16 a.m. in the Philippines. Good morning to all. 41, thank you. lang ha. 41 people. Ayan. Saan ba tayo? Ano ba naka-live na ka? Naka-busy ano? Sabay-sabay kami. Sabay-sabay. Nandun si Kabigin. Aliera, hello Aliera. Salamat pagi, salamat pagi Indonesia. Salamat pagi Aliera, my friend from Indonesia. Terima kasih Indonesia. Robert Kabukos. Indonesian morning. Yes. Good morning, good morning. Good morning Aliera. How are you guys? 51 people. No, it's morning. 10:18. 10:18 in morning. We're just the same. We're just ahead 1 hour, I think. You're just, yeah, we're just ahead 1 hour. It's 10:19. 10:19 a.m. in the Philippines. For all lovers, exclusive discount of gifts are prepared to maximize and determine the Valentine's Week taker. You are 9 a.m. Here is 10 p.m. I think you're 9 a.m. We are ahead 1 hour in Indonesia. I think Indonesia is 9. Philippines is 10. We are ahead 1 hour. Aliera. Yeah. Yeah. When the sun goes down. Bahasa Indonesia, sekali-kali bicara nyonya please. I don't speak bahasa. I just know a little bit of bahasa. Live, annyeonghaseyo, live. Live. Annyeong. I cannot speak bahasa. Sinaw bahasa Jawa. No, I cannot speak bahasa. No bahasa. I cannot understand. I cannot speak. I cannot understand. I just know the greetings there, but I don't understand bahasa. Learn the language better, bro. But it's very difficult. Bro. Where are you? Where are the others? They are sleepy. They're working. Maybe they're busy. I grew it also. In my Maybe they are busy working. Me, my work is night. During the night, I work. Afternoon and night. In the sun. First massive no. Maybe they are busy working. They were doing their own doing their own stuff. And it's okay. Sometimes I get busy too. Sometimes I get busy too. I'm busy in my job. So, so are you working, Aliera, or still studying or working? So what do you do in life, Aliera? What do you do in life? Are you studying or working already? So you can I know? Please tell me about yourself, Aliera. May I know something about your life? If it is, if I don't mind, if you don't mind, I mean. May I know, Aliera, are you studying or you know, or already married? Are you married? Are you single? Are you studying or so what do you do in life? If you don't mind, Aliera. Me, I am a freelance work job. I have a freelance job here. I actually have my job during afternoon and during the night. During the night. When the sun goes Bam 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 bam, chiki 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 bam bam. What the boss we're gonna make pizza? Butter boutique. Wings Corner. Nakalive sige go. Harsh. Saan ba tayo? Aliera. Still there. When the sun. Oh, baby, 360. Oh. Wait lang ha. Oh yeah, where are the others? I don't know. Where's the others? I don't know. Hey, naka-ano na ba ako? I think naka-share na. Hindi pa ba ako nakaka-share? Sige, share ko. Manay Edna. Kamusta Manay Edna? Kamusta ka na Manay Edna? Kumusta ng buhay-buhay Manay Edna? Mas maray na aga Manay Edna. Maray na aga sa imo. Manay Edna. Ay, hindi pa yata ako. Nag-ano na ba ako? Check ko nga. Kumusta naman Edna? Buhay-buhay natin. Okay, check ko muna yung community ko. Nakashare na ba ako? Ay, hindi pa pala ako nakakashare. Kaya pala eh. Okay, share ko muna yung share muna. Hindi pala ako nakashare. I always forgot to share. My live stream. Share ko muna. Ayan, may ads tayo. Pa-ads si Mayor. share. Tapos create. Live. Tapos exclamation point. Tapos ayan, post natin. Mani-ed na, ano na? Manonood na ako ng movie. Ay. Look Rocky. Josepina daw eh. Tingin nga. Si Mami Jessie. Aba! May kakulab na siya. Let me see, Mami. 7. And then, let me check her shirts. Ganun pa rin. Very good. Water live. You're live. Right. Okay, Mommy. Okay, Mommy. Sorry, Mommy. Mani-ed na. Para ano ka doon? Ayan. Pin kita man yan. Pin natin si Manay Edna. Ipin kita Manay Edna. Si Manay Edna. Bago upload mo to Manay. Ayan, nakapin ka na Manay. Ayan, nakapin ka na Manay. Ito ba latest upload mo Manay? Wow, galing ni Manay mag-drawing. Ayan Manay, nagdo-drawing ka. Galing mo naman mag-draw. Ay, nagpipaint ka. Nagpipaint ka, paint. Magaling ka pala mag-paint. Painting ka Manay. Magaling ka pala mag-paint. Anong pinipaint mo? Playing ka Manay, pinapanood ko. Painting. Ano ba to? My drawing, winter, spring, summer, fall, autumn. Wow. 300 ka naman ay. Ang bilis no? Naka 300 ka na. Naka 300 ka naman ay. Malapit ka na mag 1,000. Sana na. Minsan lang pag work. Okay. Pag laing busy Manay mo, pag hindi busy. Ako nang high school, din ako, mahilig ako mag-drawing, paint. Ganon din. This way. Ang registered SIM ay pwede rin kapag hindi nagpapaload. Talaga. Iwasan ito mag-load ng 15 lang. Ganun. Pag di rin magpapaload, hindi i-activate. Drawing ko muna bago kulayan. Very good ka talaga, Manay. Very good ka pala. Ako dati mag-ano-ano din ako. Nung high school yun, pero ngayon hindi na. Ngayon hindi na ako marunong mag-drawing. Pero noon nung nag-aral pa ako, mga project, mahilig din tayo mag. Pero ngayon, wala na. Edna Sales, connect guys to Edna Sales. Ano ba tayo? Si Mirna naka-live. Kaso nakatulala. Patinter. Kung hipa chai. Chai? Kung hipa chai. Si Richard Mamparo. Kung hipa chai. Salamat sa mga nandyan. Oy. Ano nangyari sa akin? Ano to? He gained the hidden class. Jerry, oy, Manoy Jerry, kumusta ka na? Kuya Jerry, kumusta ka na? Kumusta na yung biyahe natin dyan? Kumusta yung biyahe natin dyan, Kuya Jerry? Busy pa rin, busy pa rin. Marami kang pasahero ngayon. Saan ba yun? Ating chat box. Ito tinatamad na mag-YT. Oo nga eh, nakakatamad na nga. Ako nga rin Kuya Jerry, ako din. Nakatamad na talaga. Parehas tayo Kuya Jerry. Ako libangan ko kasi to. Libangan lang Kuya Jerry kaya hanggang ngayon wala pa yung aking dollar sign. Hindi ko pa alam. Akala ko monetize ka na. Di ka pa monetize? Di ba may dollar sign ka na dati? Di ba may dollar sign ka na dati? Di ba monetize? Baka yung pin. Wala pa yung pin mo. Yung pin kasi chine-check yan sa post office. Matagal akong... Yung pin, i-check mo kasi sa post office. Andun lang yun sa post office. Yung pin mo, yung pin. Baka hindi ka nagpupunta ng post office. Hindi mo chine-check. Years ka na bang monetize? Years na. Kasi pag hindi dumating yan ng ilang months, ako nun after 3 months nawala yung aking after 3 months nawala yung aking dollar sign. Buti na lang dumating ng after 5 months. Dumating na yung pin ko kaya ayun. Hindi mo pa nare-receive yung pin mo. Siguro yung pin yung Kuya Jerry, no? Yung pin ang sinasabi mo. Ay, nakapost na to. Ba't ayaw nang gumana? Ayan. Oh, busy. Mas malaki naman yung kita mo sa pagta-tricycle. Wag na mag-white eh. Ako kasi Kuya Jerry. Pag wala akong trabaho, ito yung ginagawa ko, nagla-live. Kaya ano ko na siya, routine ko na siya. Pero nakakasawa, actually nakakasawa. Pero wala naman kasi magagawa. Wala naman akong ginagawa dito, kaya nagla-live na lang ako. Pero ikaw, pag sa mga busy, unahin nyo na lang yung ano nyo. Unahin nyo na lang yung trabaho, di ba? Mas importante para yung trabaho. Diba, Kuya Jerry? Ito na nga lang. Nagahang kasi ang aking game over na si Kuya. Game over ka na Kuya Jerry. Si Kuya Jerry, I'm going game over na. Ayaw na mag-whitey. Tinamad na si Kuya Jerry mag-whitey. Ano ba tayo? Rin eh, minsan tinatamad na kaso wala eh. Libangan lang. This way. Connect guys to Edna Sales vlog. Manay ara, Diyos maray na aga. Diyos maray na aga sa imo, manay ara. Anong oras na ba? Mag alas 11 na, lunchtime na. Magluto na ng mga ano. Lunchtime naman ay, ano na naman kayang ulam? Ako kaka-breakfast ko lang. Brunch na yun. Yun na yung lunch ko. Rocky, Pretty Me, uploaded for random sa Premiere Baby. Ayun. Ay, saan ba yung Darren Dobson? May Premiere. Dito tayo sa Premiere. Support tayo ng Premiere. Baka manalo. Ayun, naka-jacket pala ako dito. Ayan. Ayan na. Ayan na. Pakipaghabulan ako sa Premiere. Mahirap pakipaghabulan sa Premiere. Hindi tayo mananalo dito sa Premiere. Ano ba to? Ayan, tapos. Nakikipaghabulan ako sa Premiere. Dintik, hindi tayo mananalo dito. Sa Premiere ako manay. Ang hirap pakipaghabulan sa Premiere. Ayan, 21 pa. Ay. Ayan, tapos na. Hindi tayo nanalo. Ina ko nga.
Kung araw ko magsarawa ka sa palag.
Hindi tayo nanalo sa last chat. Tapos na ba to? Wala na, tapos na ba? Tapos na yata. Pagawala na ko sa Premiere. Masunod natin. Ito tayo ng mga Premiere. Rocky. Pakistan living in the Philippines. Darren Dobson. Manay Ara. Na tayo. Kami naka-live. Sino pa ba yung support natin? Si King, si T-Bone. Dami naka-live. Gaming with Eric Boyce. Bert ng Subic. Ay, 2 hours tapos na. Ay, ito pa naka-live na siya. Check ko nga ito. Si Bert naka-live. Hindi ko naman siya makita. Wala siya dito. Ay, ito. Umagang kay ganda. Salamat sa mga nandyan. Ito pala si Bert. Ayan, sila pa naka-live. Sino Kraki naka-live? Tapos na. Sino pa naka-live? Kami pala naka-live. Bella. Si Bella. Wait lang ha.
Ano ko yan? Hindi ko kailangan ng pagmamahal mo. Hindi ko kailangan ng... Pag dinulok ko nito, okay, tanong na lang. Siguro ay nagtitanong.
Ay. Nakanganga. Mahangin dito. Lakas ng hangin. Manay. I-open na natin. Naghahangin yung aking... Ayan. Kataas yung ating paa. Mukhang nakahangin yung ating ano. Mahina yung ating... Ay, shucks.
Hindi yung tulay. Kung pinangaliw ito, nagtalo na rin.
Ayun. Siya. Ayan, hindi naman pala.
Very, very angry.
Tingnan na ako. Ayan. Ayan, okay na. Wala ko na pala. Hindi naman pala. So, what we're going to watch is manood na lang ako ng pelikula. Ay, Manay, si Gina naka-live. Ito ba yung sinasabi mo, Manay, si Gina? Si Gina. Naka-live siya, oh. Series of Series 01 Birthday na tayo ng pelikula. When the sun goes down. Wait for the end. Once. Ay. Ano tayo nilagay ka na? Ano to? The boy with the ability to transform. Gusto ko yung gumagalaw. I'm being shot. Hanapin natin yung Chinese crested term na crested term. Happy Friday. Wala si Joy naka-live. Hindi makadalaw. Likey Kiyuan. He was reborn with a lot of magic. And ikaw sa mga gusto ko yung gumagalaw. Anime recap. Ito yan. Reincarnated but the weakest. Ito ba yun?
Amisha was disowned by her family and hunted by her village for having a starless beast tamer skill. She manages to retrieve some items she previously stashed and sets off on a journey to the capital to broaden her horizons. The lady remembers her past life in another world, and this past self communicates with her. As she progresses in her journey, she scavenges what she needs from dumpsters, and later finds that the village chief has put a bounty on her. To counter this, she decides to discard her previous identity and takes the name Ivy. She presents herself as a male to increase her chances of survival. Ivy meets a weak but rare slime and names it Sora after somehow managing to tame the monster. They adventure together to find their place in the world. The story continues as the sun rises on the duo. A troublesome water drop slides down one of the leaves and lands on Sora, waking him up. The slime repeatedly makes a noise that wakes Ivy up. She pats Sora, which makes him stop, and her past self compares this whole interaction to one getting woken up by their alarm clock. Ivy comments on Sora's energetic mood, which also seems to infect her as she informs her companion that they are continuing their journey. They eat some breakfast before they set off. Ivy has some mixed berries while Sora consumes a spread of potions. The girl observes that the slime has gotten taller, nimbler, and sturdier than it used to be. She recalls the time it was a lot weaker. Ivy just attributes it to the blue potions the familiar has been eating, and doesn't care to figure out how this is happening if the slime is getting healthier. The girl realizes that she's almost out of dried meat and decides to restock when they reach the next village of Latom. However, to have the funds to do that, she needs to catch enough field mice. Her past life feels like it would be cheaper to cook and eat the meat she caught. Ivy explains that the cooking of the meat in the forest will draw in monsters, so even though buying dried meat costs more, it is safer in the long term. Her attention is brought back to Sora when it informs her that it has eaten all its potions and demands more, but she has none left. They finally set off and come across a dumping ground, where she hopes that they will be able to find some potions. She rummages through and finds clothes. However, her familiar wants her to focus on locating potions. After a short search, she finds a box of old potions. She lines them up and notices that some are newer than others. Sora eats one of the unknown bottles, causing Ivy to speculate that the slime will eat anything as long as it's blue. Sora even eats a practice healing potion made by a child. She is shocked to see it ingest a red one, which cures illnesses. The monster rejected it the last time it was available. She thinks that it has broadened its palate, so she presents a green and purple potion, but it rejects them. Her past self suggests mixing them, so she combines the blue and red to make purple. The slime eats it, so she presents the purple one from earlier, and it rejects it, confirming that it's basing its selection on the properties and not the color. The duo proceeds forward and are happy that the weather is nice. This means they can cover a lot of ground. Ivy is just grateful to have met Sora, otherwise her journey would have been a lonely one. Her past lives reminds her that they are always with her, but she excludes them because they are one person. She spots some no-berries and gets excited, so she forgets about her trail of thought. She starts
Blueberry.
eating them and comments on how delicious they are. She offers some to Sora, but this slime is on a potion-only diet. Ivy respects the monster, but picks a bag full for later consumption. That evening, she serves herself a giant portion of no-berries and gives the slime its dose of potions. As she eats hers, she wishes they could travel down paths lined with these berries. All the while, the slime finishes it. Ivy is a little surprised and gives her another three as dessert. Sora eats that too, and requires more, causing the girl to complain because she needs some for when she gets injured on the road. The slime pressures her to give up more. Her past life proposes she put the creature to bed since it will get hungry as long as it's awake. Ivy picks up Sora and informs it that she's going to tell it a bedtime story story. They climb up a tree to set up for the night. The girl reveals that it was a story that she heard a lot when she was little. Long ago, the world was at war.
Huh?
So a king gathered magicians who could see
Ang
the future
sugna, paano
and
kagabi
had them
dagahan
predict the
mo?
outcome.
Ako man, dagahan
They
sa
saw the
nung
end of the
sila.
world due to this conflict. And it was a
Dagahan
terrifying sight.
sinurab
The
na
magician
na.
summoned a child from another world who could use
Nanlag
unique and
mo.
forgotten magic to prevent this fate. This power doesn't exist anymore, and no one knows the effects. However, it is vast, scary, quiet, lonely, and untouchable. A tear drops from her face as she finishes the story. It lands on Sora, who wakes up in alarm clock mode. Ivy wakes up and
Ay, shit. Wait lang.
it's a box of old potions. She lines them up and the blue and red to make purple. The slime, her trail of thought. She starts a giant portion of no berries. Gives the slime its dose of potions. As she eats hers, she wishes they could travel down paths lined with these berries. All the while, the slime finishes its food. Ivy is a little surprised and gives him another 3 as dessert. Sora eats that too, and requires more, causing the girl to complain because she needs something as she gets injured on the road. The slime pressures her to give up more. Her past life proposes she put the creature to bed since it will get hungry as long as it's awake. Ivy picks up Sora and informs it that she's going to tell it a bedtime story. They climb up a tree to set up for the night. The girl reveals that it was a story that she heard a lot when she was little. Long ago, the world was at war. So a king gathered magicians who could see the future and had them predict the outcome of the war. They saw the end of the world due to this conflict, and it was a terrifying sight. The magician summoned a child from another world who could use unique and forgotten magic to prevent this fate. This power doesn't exist anymore, and no one knows the effects. However, it is vast, scary, quiet, lonely, and untouchable. A tear drops from her face as she finishes the story. It lands on Sora, who wakes up in alarm clock mode. Ivy wakes up and is shocked to see that it's morning. Her past self reveals that she fell asleep while telling the bedtime story. The girl confesses that the story always makes her feel sleepy, so she never heard it to the end. Ivy suddenly becomes alert and checks her bag to see that Sora has eaten all her blue and red potions. The girl is visibly annoyed for a moment, but just lets out a moan. She later sets up a trap in hopes of catching a field mouse. They both jump up in excitement when they capture something. As she makes her way to retrieve her prey, she comments on how much of a big help being able to trade field mice for money has been. She must earn and save money to continue their journey. They suddenly both jolt back when the monster snake she captured lunges at them. She is a little confused as she was expecting a field mouse. She feels like she might be able to sell it. Ivy pulls out a sack from one of her Mary Poppins bags and quickly covers the snake. After a brief struggle, she manages to tie the mouth of the sack, which calms the creature. She slings it over her shoulder and continues when she smells something. Sora gives his danger ahead gesture that Ivy doesn't see. The girl wonders if it's a monster, but she doesn't sense anything like that, so she goes to investigate further. She gasps when she comes across the aftermath of an attack. Ivy orders Sora to get inside her bag in case there are any bandits because they will target it. The scene gets worse when she stumbles on the corpse of the people in the caravan. She grabs her sack and runs quite a distance till she's confident that she's safe. When she finally catches her breath, she notices the large village of Laton in the distance. Ivy enters and immediately looks for someone to report the incident to. The girl spots the sign for the town hall and heads over there. She interrupts the receptionist's conversation with some adventurers. Ivy informs them about the monster snake in her bag when they ask. One of the guys points her to the apothecary if she wants to trade in the monster. She thanks him for the information. However, she informs them of the deceased people she found on her way to the village. This catches the attention of everyone present. The receptionist asks her to come closer to give more details. Ivy states that it was on the road from Latoto village. She describes how the cart was on fire and people were attacked by monsters. One of the adventurers gets up after hearing this. The receptionist explains that their village could be attacked next if this is true. The party leader speculates that it could have been a bandit attack, but Ivy doubts it based on their wounds. She also points out that the cart horses were also eliminated. If it was a bandit attack, they would have taken the valuable horses. After hearing this, the party leader makes an urgent request to find the exact location and type of monster responsible for the attack. He intends to put a formal request in through the guild later. Everyone gets up after receiving their orders. The guy thanks Ivy and informs her that she will get a tip reward after they confirm the location. The receptionist can see she's confused, so she explains that people get money for bringing information to any town hall about monsters or people who have passed away from monster attacks. It is more advantageous for them to have information about monsters as quickly as possible. This allows them to deal with the problem before people get hurt. She gives Ivy a document that she would need to present to collect her reward if her information is reliable. The results should be available by the evening. Ivy thanks them and makes her way to the apothecary as directed. The vendor examines the snake monster and informs her that the normal market price for this monster is 2 Geidel. However, she caught a female which is rare, so he's willing to pay 3. Ivy is shocked to hear this and begins to do her calculations. 1 Geidel is equivalent to 100 dows, so 3 Geidel is worth 30 field mice. From her reaction, the vendor thinks that she's not happy with the payment. The girl assures him that she is fine with the offer, and the trader asks her to bring them to him if she catches any more. She leaves the shop amazed that she earned 3 whole Geidel, which means she can buy lots of dried meat for her journey. She suggests to Sora that they should go look for some food for it, so they head to the village dumb. She wonders if they will find any potions around. The girl gets excited when she spots a load of magic bags. She stacks them, and there are 21 in total. As she thinks about how to take them along with her, Sora hops around eating the potions lying around. There is only so much she can carry while walking. The bags are also older models, so their abilities are all different. Her past self recommends she try putting the magic bags into one another. She puts the first one in and it works. She tries to put that bag into another one, but it doesn't go in. So after trial and error, she figures out the capacity of each bag, and she groups them accordingly. After that, she finds the right order to put the bags in so that everything can fit into one. They head to the town center where Ivy comes across the Adventurers Guild. She puts up her hood, afraid that someone might recognize her. As she tentatively passes through, she is called by the party leader. He informs her that the information she provided has saved a lot of lives, and they were able to verify everything she reported. The monsters that conducted the attacks were Orges along with an Orge king. Their tracks were around the wagon. Some high-ranked adventurers are being sent to hunt them down, so he warns her not to leave the village till the monsters are defeated. The guy also tells her that her reward tip is available at the guild hall, so she goes straight there. The receptionist asks for the document, Ivy must remove all her new bags to find it. She presents the document and is given 5 Geidel for the information on the 5 deceased people, and 2 Ladal for the information on the high-ranked monsters. Looks like snitching on monsters in this world pays well. Someone tell Takashi 6'9". The girl does the working out, and she would need to hunt 280 field mice to make this kind of money. Before she leaves, the receptionist pleads with her to be careful with that large amount of money. She also reminds her to send her bags along. Ivy thinks that everyone is after her money when they stare at her, but she finds out that it's because of the bags she's carrying. Ivy heeds the party leader's advice and camps in the village with some other warriors. She looks at her map at their next destination, which is a bigger village called Latomi. The girl lies down happy that she's doing the journey with Sora. The story continues with Ivy in the forest after her departure from Latom village, since the high-ranking monsters were finally defeated. She is a little frustrated because the traps that she set have broken and have not captured any creatures. The girl speculates that something stepped on it, and worries that she will not be able to earn any money if she doesn't catch prey. Her past self calms her down by pointing out that they still have some supplies to last them a while. Sora spots something and dashes into the bushes, prompting Ivy to chase after it. As she gets closer, she faintly senses something and gets a whiff of red residue. Ivy encounters a badly injured big cat when she goes through the bushes. She also senses some magic emanating from the creature, so assumes that it's a monster. She checks her monster encyclopedia and notices that it looks like a monster called an Adendal. The book informs her that it is a ferocious beast. It startles her when it lets out a cry of pain. Given the severity of the injury, Ivy concludes that the creature is going to soon meet its demise. Sadness washes over her, so she tries to comfort it while it has its last moments. She understands its pain as she recalls the time when she almost lost her life. The girl pets the cat, wishing that she could have done more to help it. Sora decides to help by suddenly engulfing the creature, and in a short period it heals all the wounds. The slime jumps back to Ivy's hand, and she notices that the speech pattern of her familiar has changed, but the shadow of the monster standing over her causes them to flinch. The moment of tension comes to an end as the big cat purrs while nuzzling her as a show of gratitude for saving it. According to the book, it takes 5 high-ranked adventurers to defeat the Adandal, and she's sure that a person would perish if they were to encounter this creature alone in the forest. Upon closer inspection, she finds the creature to be cute, and begins to doubt if it's an Adandal. She continues through the forest, and the creature follows her around. She is a little surprised that it decided to stay with her, but she's happy that she has another friend to journey with. Ivy reveals that she would have tamed it if she had more magical energy, but she does the next best thing and names it CL. Ivy formally introduces herself and Sora before they proceed together a little longer, till Ivy reaches a point where she senses people. The slime jumps into her bag so that it can be safe, and the big cat smothers her goodbye and dashes into the bushes, knowing that people would freak out if they saw it. She was shocked that it was smart enough to recognize the situation. After a short trek, she finds herself at the gates of Latomi village. She tenses up and becomes apprehensive about entering the village when she sees an intimidating man standing guard at the gate. A traveler rudely walks past her and proceeds to the gate. Sora displays his danger ahead gesture. The guy stiffens when Ogdo tells him to stop, and he begins to interrogate the traveler, asking him what business he has in his village. The guard grabs and throws him against the wall, suspecting that there is something afoot, when the man can't even name the person he's come to visit. Ogdo cuts his bag and many bottles of illegal happy juice cascade out. He calls Bellavera to lock the criminal up. The other guard feels like Ogdo should treat the bad actors with a little bit of TLC. Ivy watches on and is surprised that Sora was able to tell that the guy was bad. She's still scared to approach the gate because of Ogdo, but his eyes lock on her, making it impossible for her to turn back. Otherwise, she would look suspicious. The girl musters up the courage and proceeds, but she's stopped by Ogdo. The guard doesn't recognize her and wants to know who her parents are. His intimidating presence is on full display as he moves closer to hear her answer. Ivy notices an insect on his shoulder and points it out, which causes him to panic a little as he gets it off himself. This breaks the ice between the two, but he still wants to know her family's whereabouts. The girl informs him that she is from Latomi village. He is surprised that she is so far away from home alone, and comments how things are difficult for her home village currently. She is confused as he tries to sympathize with her. He informs Ivy that she can make a living in this village by becoming an adventurer. The guard waves her goodbye as she enters the village, wondering what is going on in her hometown. Ivy is amazed at the grandeur of the place and heads straight to the butcher's. The lady welcomes the girl and confirms to Ivy that the prey she catches will be bought as long as it's fresh. The butcher warns her to be careful in the forest when she finds out alone. There are monsters called Nonoshi in the wooded area. She expresses her gratitude for the tip and buys some dried meat before leaving. Ivy speculates that it was the Nonoshi that broke her field mouse traps. Her past self advises against sleeping to the forest while they are in this village. She agrees and heads to the adventurer's clearing to rest. She can't believe the size of the space when she arrives, but understands when she thinks about how big the village is. She spots another guard, and his demeanor makes her scared to approach, but she does so anyway. After asking a few questions, he gives her a pass and instructs her to a section that best accommodates her situation. The girl sets up her mat and lies down, but notices the big tents in the distance. She wonders if that's where the mid-ranked adventurers gather. Ivy sits up and notices that her area is full of small tents, so she speculates that the section is for novice adventurers. She looks at the tents of both sites and remarks it would be to own one, because she'd be less worried about the weather and be able to let Sora out more since they would be hidden. She remembers that she has the reward money from the tip, so she heads to the market to check the prices for secondhand tents. She bumps into Ogdo, who wants to know what she's shopping for. They both startle each other, and Bellavera pleads with him not to scare the child. They learn that Ivy wants to buy a tent, and Ogdo is surprised that she doesn't have one, and wonders if she was driven out of her village with nothing. This only confirms to them the difficulties her village is facing. They introduce themselves to Ivy, and Ogdo grabs her, eager to show her a great shop that is run by a skilled old man. The way he grabbed her, you'd think he was possessed by the grabbing demonic spirit of Kazuya Aoi. Only the OGs will know about the legendary grabber who is Kazuya. Bellavera warns him to be careful because he will hurt the kid if he drags her like that. As an apology, Ogdo promises to help her get the best tent. Soon after they arrive at the old-timer shop, he has some banter with Ogdo by telling him that there is nothing for him to buy. He informs the blacksmith that he has brought a customer for him, and he too shows his sympathy when he hears that Ivy is from Latomi village. The guard demands a great price for a quality tent, and the old man points out the various durability levels which correlate mostly with the weight of the tent. Ivy is more concerned with the price, but she's told it depends on her budget. They are all surprised to hear a budget of 5 Gidal. She thinks that is not enough, and reveals that she has an additional 2 gold coins, but she doesn't want to spend it. The guards are shocked and wonder how she came into possession of such a large sum of money. She informs them of the reward given to her at Laytom village for her tip regarding a monster attack. From the rewards, the guards are sure that it must have been a high-level monster. They are just happy that she made it out safe. The old man informs her that she can get a good tent for 5 gadal. He pulls out a light and sturdy tent, notifying them that it's the latest model. An adventurer called Lazy Joya bought it brand new but got married and quit being an adventurer. It was hardly used when he bought it. The old man also made some upgrades to it. He gives it to her for 5 gadal, which is a bargain because that was the price he bought it for without doing the upgrades. After confirming the transaction, he asks her to put a mark on the tent so that she can differentiate it from the others. She decides to use the name Sora as her mark, written in Japanese kanji, and is sure this is from her past life. The old man gives her a small, genuine magic bag as a bonus. He wants her to put her money inside. It should give her extra protection because others can't see inside. The girl is extremely grateful. The trio leaves the shop, and Ivy is happy that she was able to buy some nice things. She thanks the guards for the help. Velavera points out that they must get back to their patrolling. Ogto bids her goodbye. She later heads back to the opening and sets up her new tent without incident. She brings Sora out to show him their new home. With this, they should be protected from the elements. The slime is equally as excited. She feels like she got it for free given how she was able to obtain the money and the good deal the blacksmith gave her. Ivy wonders if she is allowed to have all these nice things. She decides to celebrate nonetheless. First, she would like for them to head to the city's dump to gather some potions while it's still light outside. Since it's a big village, she is sure that people have thrown away so many stuff. She steps out and catches the attention of some nasty adventurers. They come over and call her a thief to her confusion. One of them looks at her tent and lies that it's his. Ivy assures that she bought the tent, and this aggravates the leader of the group as he calls her a liar while grabbing her. The others insult her upbringing and continue to intimidate her. The guard interjects and threatens to kick them out if they cause trouble. They lie that Ivy stole the tent. The guard asks for proof of ownership, but they can't provide it, and just say that a kid like her can't afford such a tent. The guard releases Ivy from the leader's grasp and reveals that Ogto is the captain of the village watch, and Velvera is the vice as he informs the adventurers that those two are the ones who escorted Ivy to buy the tent. The girl is shocked to hear that they are big shots in the village. The bad actors back down, but it's too late because they are apprehended by the rest of the guards. Ogto informed the guard of Ivy and ordered him to keep an eye on her. The guard gives her a brand new heal potion as an apology for the incident. Ivy is amazed at the sight of it. That evening she gives Sora his potions while she eats her food, but the slime rejects it as it can sense the fresh potion in her bag. Ivy rejects giving the new potion to Sora because she needs it in case of an emergency. And with that, the episode comes to an end.
I was just minding my own business when the captain kicked me into the sea. But guess what? I landed on a spooky skeleton ship.
The story starts with a man named Sasaki taking out trash, and a little girl who was his neighbor wishes him good morning. Sasaki does the same to her, and he then goes to his workplace by train. In his workplace, one of his juniors asks him to take a look at his settlement report, and after taking a look at it, Sasaki suggests some improvements to him, and he states that he would handle this report for him. Meanwhile, he can work on other stuff, and he states that this calls for the right person for the job. This makes his junior happy, and Sasaki then hears a girl talking about a cat she recently adopted. He gets interested in this, and the girl shows one of her complex a cat video. Sasaki takes a peek at the video, and he thinks that the cat is adorable, and he hopes that he could also have a pet of his own. Sasaki's boss then gives him some more work, and Sasaki mentions that this is what his workplace is usually like. He mentions that it's an average-sized company, and their earning and wages are average. He has been barely scraping by due to this, but he doesn't have the courage to change jobs, and facing the market is a terrifying prospect to him as he has experienced job drought. This is why having a job where he is needed, and getting the sense of contributing to society is fulfilling to him. Afterwards, we see Sasaki's junior inviting him for dinner after work, but Sasaki tells him that he is running low on cash this month. His junior mentions that he can treat Sasaki, but Sasaki takes a rain check, and he asks his junior to invite him some other time. Sasaki then heads to a convenience store after work. He buys dinner there, and he loses the lottery for getting a free item. He returns to his home afterwards, and the little girl from earlier welcomes him back. Sasaki then has dinner in his home while watching some cat videos, and he gets really taken in by them. The scene cuts to Sasaki at a pet store, and he checks out some cats. He notices that they are priced really high, and he thinks that this is the sad part of having a low salary. He thinks that he would like to have a pet dog if he had the money for it, and Sasaki then hears a bird chirping, and its chirp sounds like the words, "Pick me." Sasaki follows the voice, and he notices a Java sparrow. He thinks that it's cute, and it's only priced 3,000 yen. Sasaki buys it, and he takes it home. He puts the sparrow in its cage, and he thinks that it's really cute.
45.
Sasaki thinks that he was lonely with his 40th birthday soon approaching, and this is why he went to the pet shop. Afterwards, Sasaki wonders what he should name the sparrow, and the sparrow mentions that his name is Piercarlo, and he is an inhabitant of another world and a star sage. Sasaki thinks that this bird sure talks a lot, and he thinks that this might be normal for this species. He then wonders what he should name him, and the bird repeats itself. Sasaki thinks that this bird already has a splendid name, but nonetheless he decides to name it Peeps.
Matthew.
The bird looks kind of unhappy and angry with his new name, and Sasaki thinks that it's cute even when it's angry. He can't believe that he is communicating normally with a bird, and he thinks that Yamada from the pet shop did say that he could get Peeps to sit in his hand if he manages to get him acclimated to human contact. He thinks that he was determined to make this happen, and he wonders if aside from this, Java sparrows are also good at communicating. Sasaki decides to try talking to the sparrow more to make sure, and he asks him what he would like to have for dinner tonight. The sparrow states that he would like to have Kobe beef Chateaubriand, and he explains that a man named Yamada at the shop claimed that it was the best thing to eat. Sasaki can't believe that he is really having a conversation with a bird, and he thinks that Yamada was eating some fine cuts of meat. He asks Peeps if the pellets are not to his liking, and Peeps states that they are not. Sasaki mentions
They
that he
are
also
not
doesn't like
their
lousy
liking.
food, but he can't afford Chateaubriand. He explains that it's an expensive kind of meat,
You
and he
find that
apologizes
they
to
are
Peeps
not
for being
their
poor.
liking.
He asks Peeps if he would like to have some pork ribs instead, and Peeps states that Sasaki should just earn the money if he doesn't have it. Peeps mentions that he was exiled from the other world and received a new life in this form. He has thought about many things since then, and he arrived at the conclusion that he should just live his life the way he wants. Sasaki thinks that this is true,
Wait
and it's not worth
lang.
wasting time trying to fit in with everyone else. Eventually, they all die alone, and it's good to do everything they want to do while they are still alive.
See?
He thinks that he can understand this being a corporative slave, and Peeps mentions that to fulfill his goals, he requires the assistance of someone from this world. He mentions that he would like for Sasaki to help him, and if he does, then accumulating riches would be an easy feat for him. Sasaki states that he would do anything for his cute little birdie, and Peeps then uses magic to finalize their contract.
Wow.
He bestows a portion of his power to Sasaki, and he mentions that now they are connected by a path. Peeps then asks Sasaki to open his cage, and Sasaki thinks that he doesn't know what's going on, but he might as well see this through.
Wow.
Sasaki opens the cage, and Peeps sits on his shoulder. This makes Sasaki happy, and Peeps mentions that he can now use his former power by channeling it through Sasaki's body. He states that Sasaki's flesh is quite frail, but it's better than this small bird. Peeps then uses a magic spell to teleport Sasaki into another world, and Sasaki is surprised to see this. Peeps explains that this is the world he used to live in before his reincarnation, and this is the provincial town of Batrium in the Kingdom of Hers. The scene then cuts to Sasaki at his office, and his junior wonders how Sasaki managed to get here so early. He explains that everyone is late today due to a train delay, and he wonders if
5
Sasaki took an
hours.
earlier train because he has started a morning routine. Sasaki mentions that this is not the case, and his junior then asks to talk to him alone for a moment. Sasaki agrees, and they go somewhere private. His junior asks Sasaki if he would be interested in going independent with him, and he mentions that he is thinking about a new startup. He states that he will be quitting this job the next month, and having someone experienced like Sasaki with him would be great. He states that he could offer Sasaki more than what he is getting here, and Sasaki asks for some time to think this over. He mentions that recently he has gotten busy with his personal life, and his junior wonders if he is starting something new. Sasaki states that he just adopted a pet, and his junior finds this hard to believe. Sasaki thinks that this is what he expected, but he is not lying, and ever since he visited that another world, his life has been changing, and he now has a new goal. Sasaki states that thanks to Peeps' teleportation, he can avoid getting on packed trains, and the relief from this has made his life more refreshing. Due to this, he was able to nod to Peeps' idea of doing business between the two worlds, and we then see Sasaki buying some items to sell in the other world. He thinks that he would like to trade with upper-class nobles, but it would be difficult to do that from the get-go, so they decided to start by doing business with the town's merchants first. Sasaki then buys the stuff, and he wins a chocolate bar in the lottery. He then returns to his house, and the little girl welcomes him back. Sasaki hears her stomach growling, and he gives her the chocolate bar, saying that he doesn't like chocolate, and he won this for free. He then heads inside, and he goes to the other world with his wares. He goes to the Herman Trading Company, and he explains that it's a company run by the nobles that govern this town. Sasaki asks Peeps if he should head into the company with Peeps on his shoulder, and Peeps states that Sasaki can claim him as his familiar.
11:20.
Sasaki then sells the item he brought with him for 400 gold coins, and he states that if he converts it, then it will turn out to be 400 million yen. He mentions that the price of crafted goods is really high in this world, and Mark, the president of the company, asks him where he got these pen and paper. Sasaki mentions that he can't reveal his source, but as a compensation he promises to not sell the pen and paper to any other store. Sasaki then went back and forth between the two worlds to continue his business, and he also tried the unfamiliar local food of the other world, and Peeps also gave him lectures on magic. He tried to learn the teleportation spell from Peeps, but the spell was too long, and he decided to take his time learning it, as he thought that he should take things slow and steady. The next day, while on a break at his office, Sasaki has some time, and he decides to practice spell casting. He chants the fire spell, and he manages to invoke it on his first try. This activates the fire alarm, and Sasaki runs away from the scene immediately. The scene then cuts to Sasaki telling Peeps about this over lunch, and Peeps mentions that Sasaki seems to have a high affinity for magic. He thinks that it's impressive that Sasaki managed to succeed on his first try, and after eating, Sasaki thinks that it would be a great idea to start an eatery as well, as they do deal with food a lot. Sasaki then notices a cook being fired from a restaurant. He talks to the cook, and he asks him if he would like to share his story with him. The cook then told his story to Sasaki, and he mentioned that his name is French. Having worked as an apprentice at the restaurant since he was young, his culinary skills had been rapidly growing in recent years. But out of jealousy, his co-workers falsely accused him of stealing the restaurant's money, and his boss fired him without listening to his explanation. Sasaki thinks that he doesn't look like a bad guy, and if he has the skills to replicate the food he just ate, then he would be just the guy he is looking for. Sasaki then asks French if he would be interested in opening a new store with him, and he mentions that he would like French to be the store manager. French is surprised at this, and Sasaki then sets up an eatery after talking it over with Mark. He asks Mark to procure a shop and foodstuffs for him, and together they set up an eatery right on the main road of the town. The scene cuts to Sasaki paying French his wages for the last month, and French is happy to get so much money. He mentions that he will pour his heart and soul into his work, and the scene cuts to Sasaki having lunch with Peeps. Peeps states that opening an eatery wasn't Sasaki's initial plan, and he wonders what this is for. Sasaki mentions that he thought that this would be useful for Peeps when he needed to eat, and he mentions that Chateaubriand is out of the question here, but they might be able to create something with a similar taste. He mentions that he would also like to reduce his expenditures back home by eating here.
Yeah,
and Peeps wonders
it's
if there aren't any
okay,
prospects
it's
of promotion over there. Sasaki
Thank
states that
you.
there isn't, and his pay
Let
hasn't gone up at all in the
me
last 5
promote
years.
your channel.
Sasaki mentions that after this he practiced magic for several days
Thank you,
before going home, and he learned
Arliss.
fire, earth, water, and ice shooting magic, but
Wait,
there was no
I'm gonna
significant
promote
progress
your
on the
channel.
teleportation
I'm
spell.
watching
The scene then cuts to Sasaki
animated
buying some hunting equipment,
recap.
and he mentions that hunting is becoming a new hot thing among the nobles.
Let me
Pete
promote your
states that it's
channel.
comparable to golf in this world, and Sasaki thinks that Peeps has been studying a lot about this world lately.
Arliss.
Peeps mentions that it's all because of the internet, and Sasaki then buys some binoculars and Swiss Army knife, and he presents them to Mark.
Copy.
Mark buys them both for a
Then.
high price, and due to this he also manages to make progress on his initial plan to do business with the nobles. Afterwards he pays a visit to Viscount Muller, the noble who governs this land, and the Viscount checks the goods discreetly.
Arliss denied.
Seeing this, Sasaki thinks that he can't just bring anything here, and he should be more particular about his products in the future.
How is your night?
Muller
How
then
is your
mentions that he has
day?
heard that Sasaki is from another continent, and he wonders if these goods are common in his continent,
How
or if
is
they are
your
considered
day
special
there
products
in
which are accessible
Canada?
to only a few
How's
like
the weather?
Sasaki mentions that only a select few
Today
possess
is a
these
little
goods,
bit
and
of
Muller wonders if this means that Sasaki is a man of
windy
high status in his own right.
and gloomy.
He mentions that he does not wish to
Cloudy
engage in one-sided dealings with someone of a status equal to a noble,
for
and Sasaki
tonight's
thinks that he has to
weather.
answer this
For
carefully.
today's weather.
He mentions that he is a craftsman, who
Isabel.
drifted to this
Thank you,
continent after his ship was wrecked.
Isabel.
The goods he bought today are the ones he had with him, as well as
Good
the ones he knew
day,
made.
Isabel.
Muller
Let
understands, and he
me,
mentions that from now on Sasaki is going to sell his goods to the Herman Trading
let
Company
me
and bring some of them
promote
to
your
him as well. He
channel,
will purchase them with something
Isabel.
extra, and from now on Sasaki is permitted to enter this
Welcome.
mansion whenever he wants. He mentions that
We
Sasaki
have
should tell him if he notices
Isabel.
anything particular in this town that could benefit his territory, and he can report it to him when he brings his wares. With this, Sasaki gained a connection with the feudal lord, and his trades between the two worlds moved smoothly.
Promote your
Sasaki
channel.
thinks that with his sales, learning magic, and managing his restaurant, his relaxing life in another world is taking shape.
Isabel,
and he then
connect
heads
to
his office.
Arliss. Arliss,
He
connect to
notices that today is his
Isabel.
junior's
Okay?
farewell party, and they
Connect
have some
to
food
each
and drinks in the
other.
party. While they party, the
So
news reports
that
about
we
a random
will
attacker
grow
who was on the loose,
together.
and his junior asks him if Sasaki has thought about going independent. Sasaki wonders why he wants him to join him that badly, and his junior mentions that Sasaki seems full of energy lately, and he is giving off an I can do it aura.
Isabel,
Sasaki thinks that it
please
might be because
connect
he
to
bought a new bed, and he can
Arliss.
sleep better now.
Leave some
He thinks that
message
he has been sleeping in
in
another world
her
lately, and the bed there is really large.
latest
Due to this, the bed
upload
in his room is starting to feel cramped, and his body is slowly getting used to more luxurious
video,
lifestyle.
and
He thinks that maybe he should also start sleeping there.
Arliss
After
will
his party, he
return
heads
to
home.
you.
On his way, he dodges some ice shards that come his way, and
Okay.
he notices a man trying to kill a woman by using some kind of superpower. He tries to run away, but he gets concerned about the woman's well-being, and he thinks that this man might be the one from the news. He then attacks the man with an ice shard, and the man starts to freeze. Sasaki thinks that he doesn't want to kill this man, but he doesn't know how to stop this spell, and the woman then turns the ice into water, and she points a gun at Sasaki. She asks Sasaki if he is a psychic, and where he is from. She wonders if he is the one who fired that icicle, and Sasaki states that he did. The woman asks him when he awakened these powers, and Sasaki mentions that he did that recently. The woman can't believe that she was saved by a stray psychic, and she asks him to come with her. She mentions that she is not going to harm him, and Sasaki wonders if they are magicians like him. He
Welcome,
thinks that it won't be surprising if there are
Arliss.
other people from Pete's world here, and if this is the case, he would like to talk more with her.
Phone is low,
He asks the woman if he can go to his home first, and the woman tells him to also get some change of clothes, as he will be staying the night. Sasaki mentions that he has work tomorrow, and the woman states
How are you,
that he
Arliss?
is
How
taking
is
care
your
of that.
day?
Afterwards,
I
Sasaki
hope
tells
you
everything
have a
to Pete's,
good
and Pete's
night,
mentions that he
good
can't feel
day
any mana
in
from
your
that female.
place.
He states that she might be using some phenomenon that is different from magic, and he thinks that both their worlds might have a similar phenomenon, but they run on entirely different logics. Sasaki thinks that this could be the discovery of the century, and Peeps mentions that they should listen to her to learn more about that. Sasaki asks Peeps to come along as well, and Peeps agrees. Sasaki then tries to leave, and his neighbor asks him if he is going out. Sasaki states that he is, and the girl states that it must be hard to be out so late. The girl then wonders if they can talk for a moment, and Sasaki mentions that he is in a hurry, and he wonders if it can wait till the next time. The girl agrees, and Sasaki then meets with the woman.
Isabel, I
and he states that he will
watch
also
and
bring his
connect.
next barrel
Thank
with
you,
him.
Arliss.
The woman
Isabel,
agrees,
please
and she introduces
return
herself
to
as Hoshizaki.
Arliss.
Sasaki
Okay,
also
Isabel.
introduces himself, and Hoshizaki thanks him for coming
Thank
to
you,
her rescue.
Arliss, for
They then head to the
connecting.
organization, and on the way Hoshizaki explains to Sasaki that psychics are like magicians whose powers manifest spontaneously, and the rate of manifestation is 1 in every 100,000 people. Once their abilities manifest, they never change back, and the abilities vary from person to person. There hasn't been any record of anyone manifesting additional abilities, but after repeated use their abilities can grow in strength. She mentions that her ability is to manipulate water movement and temperature, and Sasaki thinks that this seems like it's separate from magic. Hoshizaki states that many of these abilities are dangerous, and there are psychics who turn to crime. Those are the ones that they catch, and Sasaki wonders if this is her job. Hoshizaki mentions that it is, and she states that as a general rule, when someone manifests their ability, they must be registered with the country's
Was a
organization
little
for managing
busy a
psychics.
bit 2 kicks.
Sasaki
Really?
thinks that
Let
they know that an organization like that
me
exists, and
check
Hoshizaki
your.
states that it's because this is a national secret. They then arrive at the organization building.
Let
and she
me
mentions
check
that this is a
your
paranormal
latest
phenomenon
upload.
common
I will
with
share it in my
She states
community.
that this will be Sasaki's workplace from now on, and Sasaki is surprised to hear this. Hoshizaki mentions that she registered him a while ago, and they head inside.
Really,
Hoshizaki
really.
mentions that Sasaki can
I will
expect
share it in my
anything they consider
community.
a
Wait for a
government official,
while.
and he can earn a handsome pay at work. She states that he will learn more in his training, and she
I
asks him
will
what he can
check
do
your
with his
latest
power.
upload.
Sasaki
I'm gonna
thinks
watch
that
it
the title of government
now.
official is alluring, but he doesn't want to go to the battlefield, and he thinks that he
Oh,
should set the
it's
bar
2
low
days
so that they wouldn't
ago.
want him in battle. He mentions that he can only shoot
But
icicles,
I will
and he
just
shows her how he
share it.
forms the icicles. Seeing this, Hoshizaki realizes that Sasaki can create ice from nothing, and she thinks that this
I
would
will
be a
share
great match
it
for her
your
power.
latest upload
She
in my
explains that she can
community.
manipulate water's movement and temperature, but she can't create water, and due to this she has to carry water bottles with her. But with him around she would no longer have to worry about that, and she can go on more dangerous missions.
For the short
Sasaki
video,
thinks that she must be the workaholic type, and he wonders if she is
we have
already
a
filling
short
him into her
video
next
right
mission.
here.
He states that he would like to take things safe and do stuff he is good at.
It's
and
a
Hoshizaki
banana
mentions that Sasaki's
sauce.
paycheck has no limit, and they earn more the harder they work.
Cooking
Sasaki thinks that he got
fried
himself caught with a dangerous
plantain
person, and the scene
dumplings.
cuts to him in a room at the bureau. He
Fried
thinks that he would like to sleep for now, but he has to
dumplings.
stock up and go to the other world. He also needs to give French his pay.
I'm
and he thinks
watching
that he
your
can't use his
short
magic here,
videos
as this place might be under surveillance. He then takes a walk with Peeps, and Peeps tells him that they are being tailed.
Wow.
Sasaki mentions that he expected this, and he states that stocking up is impossible, but he would like to explain his situation to everyone there. He wonders if they can do something, and Peeps mentions that several hours in the other world will only be a few minutes here, and he tells Sasaki to go to the other world under the pretext of using the restroom. Sasaki then uses the restroom of a convenience store, and he teleports to the other world. He informs Mark that he will need some time before their next deal, and he pays French his
Watching
wages.
your short
The
video.
scene then cuts to someone ringing Sasaki's doorbell the next morning, and Sasaki notices that it's 6 in the morning. He finds out that Hoshizaki is at the door, and she mentions that it's time for work. Sasaki hesitates to work with her, and he mentions that he would like to report to someone who is higher up than her, and he would like to verify if this is an actual workplace. Hoshizaki states that this is why she doesn't like dealing with old people, and she mentions that they can stop
I
by the
like
bureau
your
to
short
play, and she asks
videos,
Sasaki
huh?
to get dressed up. The section chief of Hoshizaki's department then
I
comes
like
there,
your
and he
shorts
mentions that he got
video.
curious because Hoshizaki burst out of the office in the morning. He mentions that he doesn't mind Hoshizaki being enthusiastic about work, but she should not involve the new guy
Thank
without
you, my
permission.
friend. We're
The
always
section chief
support.
then
Of
apologizes for
course,
meeting
you
Sasaki
support
like
me.
this,
I
and he mentions
support.
that he is a really busy man.
I shared your
He states
latest
that his name is
upload in
Akutsu,
my
and he will be
community.
Sasaki's immediate superior. Akutsu then asks Hoshizaki to head back to the office and write up yesterday's report. He mentions
I
that
like your
Sasaki will
short
be getting some training
videos,
for now,
Arlie.
and he gives Sasaki a new phone.
It's all
He mentions
about
that they are going to
food.
contact
We have the
Sasaki
same
using this,
actually
and he asks him to
content.
carry this on his person at all
We
times,
have the
as he might
same
get called outside of work
content,
hours in case of an
so
emergency. Sasaki thinks that this sucks, and he thinks that he can just leave this phone in the other world if they call him too frequently. This would keep the phone out of network coverage, and it would also disable the GPS tracking. Akutsu then leaves, as he has other work to take
Where's
care of.
Isabel?
And he mentions that Sasaki
Isabel
cannot
are
call or
still
text
there,
him if he has any
Isabel.
problems. The scene then cuts to Sasaki doing a medical exam in the building, and after taking an ID picture, he is taught a lot of stuff about the agency.
I like food.
He
That's
mentions that
why.
his new workplace is a peripheral government ministry, and it does not exist
I like to
outwardly.
eat. I like
They are not allowed
food.
to speak of it to anyone outside the bureau, and therefore their public position is that of police sergeants. Sasaki thinks that this explains why Hoshizaki carries a gun with her, and he asks one of the people training him about Hoshizaki. The person wonders why he is asking, and Sasaki mentions that it seems like he is going to pair up with her.
It's
The
a little
person
bit
wishes
of
him luck,
windy
and
here in
Sasaki
my
thinks that she must be
place.
the troublesome type.
It's
Sasaki states
windy.
that after this his training was over, and they handed him an allowance of 1 million to cover for job preparation. Sasaki thinks that he can use this money to stock up for now, and he heads back to his home.
No.
There he meets the little girl, and he remembers that she wanted to talk to him. The girl then gives him some cookies that she baked at her home economics class, as thanks for the chocolate, and Sasaki thanks her for this. The girl then asks Sasaki
I
if
love
the
to
woman he was
eat.
with earlier is his girlfriend,
Arlies,
and
I
Sasaki
like
states
to
that
eat.
she's
I
just a
love to
superior
eat.
at work. The girl mentions that she seems a little young for that, and Sasaki mentions that his company values ability more than seniority. The girl wonders if it's a foreign company, and Sasaki states that it's something like that, and he thinks that he can't tell her the truth after knowing what happened to those who leaked confidential information. Sasaki then heads inside, and seeing him Peeps makes a lot of noise. Sasaki realizes that something is up, and he takes Peeps out for a walk. Peeps then tells Sasaki that some people bugged his place while he was out, and Sasaki asks him if they saw him checking the internet. Peeps mentions that they did not, and the scene cuts to Sasaki disarming the camera
I
and
like the
microphone in his
bread.
house. Akutsu then calls Sasaki, and he mentions that Sasaki has some real talent. Sasaki mentions that he understands Akutsu's apprehensions, but he asks him to refrain from doing something like this from now on, or it will be difficult for him to act according to his wishes. Akutsu apologizes, and he mentions that this was like a test. He states that Sasaki passed, and he explains that there were people who didn't think fondly of their organization. This was a test to check his skill and confirm his stance. If he viewed their organization as an enemy, then he wouldn't have removed the bugs right away, and he mentions that they have had several opportunities to catch informants, and most of them either blew their cover at this stage or pretended not to notice. He mentions that there are many psychics who rush into danger, and many believe that they are the chosen ones. To handle and manage these sorts of people, they would like to welcome an honest and skilled person like Sasaki. He hopes that Sasaki can put his skills to good use working for him, and Sasaki understands. He then hangs up the phone, and he thinks that Akutsu is the kind of person around whom he can't let his guard down. Peeps then wonders if Sasaki is going to stock up tonight, and Sasaki states that he will do that another time, and he thinks that his relaxing life in another world is still a faraway dream, and elsewhere Akutsu thinks that Sasaki seems like the kind of person whom he can use
We're
well.
baking,
The scene then
baking
cuts to Sasaki
food.
practicing magic in the other world, and Peeps mentions that he didn't expect Sasaki to learn intermediate spells so soon. Sasaki states that this must be because of the magic that Peeps gave him, and Peeps mentions that Sasaki's performance is impressive even independent of that. He states that most magic users in this world take more than a decade to reach intermediate magic, and advancing this far in just weeks is exceptional. Sasaki then mentions that in today's session he learned recovery and lightning magic, and he writes the spells for
Against the
those on his
light.
smartphone. Peeps mentions that Sasaki is diligent with this, and Sasaki states that
Here.
he needs to keep track of all the spells he has learned, but memorizing them is rather challenging. Peeps suggests that Sasaki should use a grimoire, and Sasaki wonders where he can get that. Peeps tells him that Sasaki already has one in his hand, and he explains that grimoire is a generic term for a collection of transcribed chants. Since his phone has the chance written in it, it is also a grimoire. Sasaki then states that it's time for their meeting with Mark, and after that they are going to have something to eat at the restaurant, and Peach tells him that he wants meat. The scene then cuts to Sasaki showing some walkie-talkies to Mark, and Mark thinks that they are incredible. Sasaki explains to him that these things run on fuel, and he shows him the batteries they run on. He mentions that it will stop working once the fuel in these small pieces of metal runs out, and Mark states that even with that drawback, these are still impressive. Sasaki thinks that his new imports are going over well, and he is glad that he won't get left holding inventory. Afterwards, Mark thanks Sasaki for providing such wonderful wares, and Sasaki apologizes for keeping him waiting. Mark mentions that he doesn't mind, and he wonders if things have settled down for him. Sasaki states that they have, but he thinks that in actuality they haven't.
Korean
Mark then asks Sasaki
barbecue.
if he could buy his entire stock of walkie-talkies, and he mentions that he would make him an excellent offer. Hearing this, Sasaki wonders if something is wrong, and Mark mentions that Viscount Muller has asked him to buy Sasaki's entire stock if he brings any remarkable products. He mentions that in truth, the tensions with the neighboring country have been growing, and he thinks that this is in preparation of that. He asks Sasaki to be careful, and the scene then cuts to Sasaki eating French outside his restaurant. Sasaki notices that the restaurant business is booming, and he gives French his pay for the month.
I like the
He gives him some new recipes as well, and he mentions that he
food.
would like French to replicate them. French mentions that they can go over the details inside, and Sasaki then tells French about the recipes, and he returns after having some lunch.
I like
The next morning, Sasaki
it.
receives a call from
Arlie.
Hoshizaki, and Hoshizaki asks him to come in for a mission.
I like
She realizes that he
it.
is still asleep, and she
Your
wonders if he didn't get a
recipes
call from the
looks
chief.
delicious.
Sasaki notices that he has missed several of the chief's calls, and he heads to the office in a hurry. He apologizes to the chief for being late, and at the office he notices some of the other psychics,
Here's
and the chief
why
introduces Sasaki to the others.
slide.
He mentions that Sasaki will be mostly working with Hoshizaki, and after saying hello, the other psychics leave. Sasaki is then briefed on his mission, and the chief tells him that they will be carrying out a mass arrest. He mentions that it's a group that operates in the city, and its members are all unregistered psychics. Sasaki wonders if they are arresting them for refusing registration, and the chief mentions that it's not that, and he explains that it's because one of their members used his powers to cause harm. Sasaki notices that the man who attacked Hoshizaki is also a member of this group, and the chief tells him that the other members are suspected as complicit. He mentions that they have been investigating this for a while, and they just recently discovered their hideout. They need to take them into custody to prevent further harm, and the scene cuts to Sasaki heading out to the group's hideout with some other psychics. He is nervous, and Hoshizaki asks him to calm down, as he is not going to fight. Sasaki thinks that playing frontline support also makes him a target, and the other psychics tell Sasaki that they are going to be fine, as they outrank the enemy psychics. Hoshizaki tells them to not be a bad influence to Sasaki, but the other psychics just laugh it off. Sasaki then asks Hoshizaki if she is not afraid to fight, and Hoshizaki mentions that high risk means high rewards, and we find out that she is excited for this because of the money. Hoshizaki then mentions that she will be counting on Sasaki for support, and Sasaki mentions that he will do his best. The scene then cuts to them at the group's hideout, and Sasaki wishes that he had learned a barrier spell. The chief in the control room tells them to start their mission, and the psychics raid the area, and they ask everyone to surrender. They notice that no one is actually here, and they wonder what's going on. Hoshizaki thinks that something feels weird to her, and the psychics on the field then hear the screams of the officers in the control room through their cars. They then lose contact with the control room, and someone uses the bowling ball and pins in the hideout to attack the psychics who are with Sasaki. Sasaki and Hoshizaki hide, and Sasaki wonders if this is a wind-based power, but he realizes that it's psychokinesis. The psychics then mention that these guys were supposed to be small fries, and some of them run away while the others are taken out. In the end, Sasaki and Hoshizaki are the only ones left, and Hoshizaki asks Sasaki to support her, and she goes ahead. Sasaki then gives her an icicle, and Hoshizaki converts it into water.
Si
She
Boss
uses the water to block the bowling pins and
Kalaw,
balls that come out, and Sasaki
naglamaw.
thinks that they
Ano
are
ba
completely
yun?
on the defensive. He tries to locate the psychic,
Sabi ni
but the
Boss
enemy psychic
Kalaw,
then lifts one of the psychics, and they drop him. Hoshizaki catches
naglamaw
him using her
mi
water,
butong.
and she asks Sasaki to get out of here. She mentions that he is going to die at this rate, and Sasaki thinks that she is right, but Hoshizaki is going to be in problem if she loses her water supply. Sasaki then tells her that he is her partner, and he can't abandon her. Hoshizaki is pleased to hear this, and Sasaki thinks that abandoning her would psychologically scar him, and he also read that deserting is considered a serious crime. One of the psychics then reveals herself, and she mentions that she wasn't expecting them to put up such a fight. Hoshizaki then turns the water from her water bottle into ice, and the girl is surprised to see that Hoshizaki can also control the temperature of the water, and Hoshizaki tries to attack her, but the girl dodges. She dodges Hoshizaki's subsequent attacks as well, and she knocks out Hoshizaki somehow. She mentions that there is one more rat scurrying around, and she asks Sasaki to reveal himself. She mentions that she will kill Hoshizaki if he doesn't, and Sasaki thinks that their whole squad is wiped out, and he even doesn't know how many enemies there are. He thinks that he can't outrun someone with leg strength like that, and he reveals himself. The girl notices that he is an unfamiliar face, and he introduces himself. The girl thinks that he is unsettling, and she wonders if he is the source of the water that the girl was using. Sasaki states that he is, and he can't believe that the girl figured him out so easily. He thinks that he needs to
Joe
regain some
JC,
ground, and
happy
mentions that all of
channel.
them also
Thank
have
you,
some
Joe
personal abilities.
JC.
The power to send objects flying gives them control over an area, and they can even take out stragglers. He wonders if she can tell him the name of their group, and the girl is surprised that
Saglit
Sasaki
lang
has
ha,
never
wait
heard of
lang.
it. Sasaki wonders if they are
Naglinis
famous,
ako ng
and the girl realizes
bahay.
that Sasaki is a new recruit. Sasaki
Nakitang
can't
kita,
believe
wait
that
lang.
just
I
to be
give you a
free,
job
but this does
moderator
confirm his suspicion that she is not the only one here.
so that you
Sasaki
can
mentions that he
promote
just
your
joined the organization the
channel.
other day, and
Baba ka ng
mentions that he
bahay,
worked
you
with
drop
other
the
groups
link.
and he doesn't mind. He
Jujace.
states that he is unable to pinpoint their location, and he thinks that
Dating dikit ako sa'yo, dating dikit.
The girl states
Ayun.
that Sasaki seems really calm despite the situation.
Dating dikit
And
ako
Sasaki
sa'yo.
tells her that his ignorance is the only thing he can rely on right now. Sasaki then asks her if he can meet her companions, and the girl tells him that she can't oblige with him. Sasaki thinks that it's a shame, and he puts his palms away. He then recites a spell, and he uses lightning magic to attack the girl, but the girl dodges. She wonders what that was, and the psychokinesis user then tries to attack Sasaki with the bowling balls and pins. But Sasaki
Jujace
uses his
connect to
lightning spell protect
Arlis.
himself. The
And
spell
she
also
will
manages to take out two
return
hidden
to...
psychics, and he thinks that this must be all of them. The girl then asks Sasaki what he is, and Sasaki mentions that he is just a newcomer to this business. He states that he would like to offer the girl a proposal, and he mentions
Ako na
that
lang
he will
magbaba
offer
ng
to
bahay
leave her in
mo.
peace if she promises to not tell anybody what she saw here.
Yan, I will
He
drop
states that
your
they should end this confrontation
link.
in a
Joe
draw, and he
Jason.
mentions that he would prefer
May
not
ano
to
ka na,
press this
jacket
any
ka na.
further and risk getting hurt. The girl
Connect
accepts
to
his offer, and
Arlis
she wonders if Sasaki would like
delights
to join
on
them
the
instead.
side.
Sasaki refuses, and he mentions that he is more comfortable following the herd.
And
The girl
Arlis
states that they would
connect
love
to
to have it if he ever feels
JC,
like
Joe
joining, and
JC,
Sasaki
Joe
tells her that
JC
he will be
connect
sure
to
reach out if he
Arlis.
does. The girl tries to leave, but before she does, Sasaki
Connect to
asks
each
her about
other
the
so that we will
and the girl tells
grow
him that since they
together.
called off the fight, she will release them. The girl then leaves, and the scene cuts to Sasaki telling
Salamat
the
sa
chief
mga
that the enemy
nandyan.
withdrew on their own accord. The chief chooses to believe his story, and he apologizes for putting Sasaki through all this on his first job. He tells Sasaki to go home and rest now, and Sasaki excuses himself. He then asks Hoshizaki if she is all right, and Hoshizaki mentions that she is fine. She asks
Nakalag
Sasaki
si
if he has some free time
JC.
after this, and Sasaki states that he does, and he thinks that she will be mad if he told her that he needs to go home and rest. Hoshizaki
Dito ako
mentions that she would like to
makadaan.
express her gratitude, and the scene cuts to the two of them in a fancy hotel.
Ano
Hoshizaki
ba to?
thanks him
Kanina
for
pa
saving
to
her, and Sasaki tells her
nag-uusap.
that he was just doing his job. He states that she got hurt due to his lack of ability in the end, and he apologizes for that. Hoshizaki mentions that Sasaki still saved her life back there, and they then order some food. Hoshizaki orders orange juice for her drink, while Sasaki orders some beer, and Sasaki asks her if she doesn't like
Watching Isabel from Arlis. Ning Nguyen, hello my friend. Ciao ciao. Ciao ciao Ning Nguyen. I love Vietnamese. Vietnam. Ciao ciao.
Let's start over and take a closer look at the story. Cirrus.
Ciao Ning
He's an honest and brave
Nguyen.
man, but he recently did something stupid and activated the system. The people
Na,
he looked up to and trusted hoped the demons with highest people in his heart, but now the peace has left him.
Okay,
The
thank you,
information in such a dungeon
host.
was not correct. The
Welcome.
level of
Ciao
logic was
ciao.
extremely high. The people were morally unprepared for it. The strongest ones were injured, and those with lower ranks ran away without even engaging in battle. Only one could escape, leaving the others to be sacrificed to the demons who were squabbling until they faced it. They were being used as bait, and only now were they realizing it. So far, Cirrus had not faced a demoness in battle, but she was already defeating ignorant humans with ease, and pondered what the power of human bravery was, which was most likely recklessness. How weak and powerless humans were in comparison to her might. They might have amused her a little, but
Red
compared to her king,
hash
they were too bad.
hash dubs.
The girl smiled
Earn
participating in the battle.
ML
She was
Mill
the demon
Vlogs.
queen and
Sino ba
princess of
to?
the south. Her red eyes enjoyed the helplessness of the
ML
humans.
Vlogs.
Not far away from Cirrus, leaning on her sword, was Bella carrying the title of D-class hero. She was begging Cirrus to run away from this horrible place faster. The monsters were too strong. He had to leave her behind and not worry about her. It was not necessary for an F-level brave to act like a hero. However, our hero
Ruby,
didn't
si
agree with her.
Ruby.
He had come here to provide protection for humanity, so he couldn't run away at such a critical moment.
Hindi
He
ko
assured Bella
alam
that there was no
si
need to worry
Ruby.
about him because he would handle the enemies. Meanwhile, Princess Yug slowly walked around the hall, stretching with boredom. People were too weak to get her attention in any way and couldn't even entertain her.
Bird
Just
ng
looking at the beautiful
Subic.
body of the demon princess made his nose bleed,
Subic
causing the girl
ng
who begged him to
Subic.
leave to get worried. No guy would run away from this fight. Bella kept telling him to run away. There was no
Ah,
point
ito
in
yung
just standing there and
kanina.
watching the demons. She couldn't stand up to anyone anymore, let alone protect anyone. The girl kept trying to reason with him, but all to no avail. At the same time, goblin servants came to the queen and pointed at the guy who was still standing on his feet and holding a sword. They wanted their leader to correct this misunderstanding as soon as possible. She and her subordinates rushed forward and gave the order to kill him. The lad did not move from his seat, waiting for the approaching enemy who was about to make a glass from his head for his beloved king. Before he was attacked, he logged in and activated the skill Love Tree Particle. The demoness's eyes burned with excitement as she approached the guy from whom nothing was soon to be left. However, the young man was against such a decision of the demoness, so the activation of the skill was now very useful. The queen came to a halt beside the boy. She was several times larger than Cirrus, and it was not difficult for her to take his head with one hand. She slowly brought her fangs closer to the boy's face, who did not react in any way and silently watched. It seemed like only a moment before she would pierce him with her sharp teeth, releasing the blood that ran down his cheek. But that was not what happened. Instead, she kissed him, which, thanks to his system, added 100 points to his attack status, thus increasing his characteristic. This system could continuously raise his combat effectiveness. Bella was shocked watching the guy who was enjoying the process. She didn't expect that this could happen on the battlefield, and only asked the guy in a panic what he was doing. The goblins were also puzzled watching the princess's unexpected actions, so they tried to fix things. However, Sirius could not allow the interruption of his skill. As soon as he saw the approach of the subordinates of the demoness, immediately swung his sword, which all the time held in his hands at the ready. At this moment, the girl's red eyes opened wide, and now it seemed that she came to her senses. She jumped away from the enemy at a safe distance, her tail swishing confusedly.
Cirrus seemed unhappy with what had happened and wiped his lips tensely as the blushing Bella watched him in bewilderment.
Mga aliens.
Even
Nagulat ako sa mga
Silverhair herself didn't
aliens.
understand what
Thank
had
you,
happened. She
mga
wanted to kill him, but
madlang
for some reason
people.
she kissed him. The girl was sure that it was the fault of the little man.
47.
He
Thank
was talking about the
you.
safety of the citizens
Diyan
for his
naman
sake.
sila.
Even if his whole body was destroyed, he would not hesitate. Cirrus vowed that he would fight to the end, while the goblins continued to whisper behind him. He
Bird
couldn't
ng
believe that their mistress had
Subi.
kissed a human.
47. Salamat.
As if she had found a lover outside. It seemed that it was
So,
true.
ilan lang.
The other
Tingnan
monster
ko
also
nga kung
confirmed
ilan
what
yung
he said,
thumbs up.
but they didn't expect it to turn out to be a human. Now it was no surprise to them that this guy was keeping calm in front of them. However, one of the subordinates interrupted their gossip. They were too arrogant. These foolish guys dared to doubt the princess's feelings for the king. They are monsters, and thus different from the other beings,
60. Salamat,
betrayal,
60.
and fraud. The
Aliens.
fact that he spoke up for the queen confirmed his loyalty. However,
Gusto ko,
no one should
11
inform the king
thumbs
about
up
the kiss of a
lang.
human, but it was so strange. Her heart was beating too fast.
Mas
That was
ang
where the
dami
big
niyan
difference
dyan.
happened. Even 15% was enough to create delusions. The demons were relentless because the original task was to kill people, which he had ordered to be done. All the servants rushed at the guy, who was armed with only a sword and armor. He relied on them and his skills. The demon that was several times bigger than the guy swung his axe towering over him. Not to die, Cirrus reacted instantly and swung his sword through the air, hoping to deflect the attack. However, the axe reached the ground the guy was standing on, destroying everything in its path. Cirrus only survived by dodging. Even his sword broke with a single blow, shattering like it was made of cheap glass. He panicked and continued to clutch the hilt of his already useless sword as the monsters crowded around him. The princess's orders were very clear, and no one was going to mess with this man. One by one, the demons raised their weapons and hoped to cutting the flesh of the guy. But Cirrus persisted. Even though there was nothing else to parry the blows, he continued to dodge the attacks. His defense did not rise, but his attack power increased by 100 units, which was already quite good. It was necessary to take advantage of it. Clutching the sword with both hands, he swung the rest of the weapon and managed to break the hilt of the double axe. While he was dealing with one demon, another one crept up behind him, eager for victory and praise from the princess. Our hero saw the sudden attack and turned toward the goblin, shuffling his eyes
78. Yo, JC, mga
trying to
aliens.
inflict maximum damage. He hit the demon
Dami
and
mga
dared to pull off such an
aliens.
insidious scheme. Bella, who continued to sit by the rock, marveled at the guy's skill.
Niya
He
nguyen.
managed
Connect to
throw the
each
monster away.
other.
The strength that she was able to see
Or
was not
saba.
something that an F-class hero should possess.
1143.
Meanwhile, Cirrus continued to fight already.
Pangalawang bugso ng mga aliens.
Letitia Special with Ladies'
Ay,
Choice, the #1 hangout with best quality.
Regretting not chopping the demon in half. Now he was just scratched and even more angry. He was approaching our hero
Pinapanood ko
with
kasi
threatening
mga
menace. Even without a
pinapanood
weapon,
ko.
he instilled terror in the hearts of people. The level of these monsters was indeed too high. And while he was watching the goblins, behind him again heard some strange sound, because of which the protagonist had to turn around. The princess did not stay aside, and also
Ay,
began to participate in the
JC.
fight.
Oh, Lord, di ako
She was
nakapunta
intent on
kay
knocking the guy to the ground with a
JC.
single kick, so she was over his head in a second.
Naka-live din
The
sa
guy managed to
face.
cross his arms before the demoness could reach him with her strong leg. Instantly, the ground beneath him cracked, raising the
94.
column of dust into
OMG.
the air,
Thank
thus
you,
covering the second fight.
94.
Small stones followed the dust, causing Bella to have to close
94
her eyes.
aliens.
The armed goblin silently watched the actions of the mistress without having the right to interfere with her fight. As soon as the dust settled, the demons could see Princess South sitting right on top of the annoying warrior, who did not want to give up. One guy from the army of demons threw himself on the immobile boy with a frantic scream and an axe in his hands. Naturally, Cerise did not want to die and saw the attacker begin to think something. However, the demoness's skittish tail began to act faster than the man. His end was almost equal to the speed of sound. So when the
38.
attacking
Thank
goblin
you.
created a sharp clap throwing him aside.
38.
The rest of the
Ito lang.
troops also stopped in place, frozen in bewilderment. The demon landed on
Another
his back with a thud,
30
his armor clinking
minutes.
and dodging the axe he had accidentally let fly. The servants waited
Sakto
silently for the
12.
princess to explain. She did not hesitate, and at the
Let's
same
go.
moment asked everyone to listen.
1120.
From that moment on, she forbade her subordinates to do anything, for the troublemaker would become immune. The silver-haired queen continued to restrain the
Kasi
crowd
gat
and watch
man.
her stats. Her anxiety index was 91.
Payan.
She herself didn't
Payan
feel
mo, one
what was
way.
going on, but what she was feeling delighted her. The subordinates admired their mistress, who had effortlessly subdued the person causing them trouble.
Na ano, abono yun na ihi mo?
She opened her mouth. The girl was ready to bite him to death. Naturally, Cirrus was still alive and
Karibuhon
watched in
ka
fear as the
pala.
demon held his head and continued to approach.
Eh, di naguran
Suddenly,
lang
his ears started to
kahapon.
deform and also became oblong like the monsters. However,
Dapat
after
sila
a
sa
second, he
ribo
returned to
pala.
normal and his defense
Hindi na
level
hapon sa
50
ribo.
units. After the girl's sudden kiss,
Nag-harvest kami kalang
everything
guys
had a price
sa
he had to pay for more power.
naka.
To him, an honest man experiencing such a thing was simply an insult to his personality. However, it was incomparable to the safety of the people in the city. None of that mattered. He was willing to put up with being insulted by such behavior. Princess South realized that she had become so much
Ano din eh.
she
Kagabi nga ni, hali ako sa Fernando's.
The fact that she took the initiative to do such a thing to a man was different from her usual behavior.
Oh man, oh, sa bulusan. Piniton talaga.
Could have stopped it instantly, but the girl's body was no longer.
Pag uli ko nga, nagkakadali ako pag ano, hala ako sa Fernando's sa gilid to. Masugod ko mauran. Kaya kakusog sa hangin. Yung baga naman gumauran. Yung hangin na. Kakadali ako pag laka, wala lang tricycle. Pag-abot ko din yun, akong gihapon.
And since the others do not understand this, it would be better for them to be silent.
Uy, nakamata ako, makasugan na yun, ano, electric pa.
130 and strength to 150. Now his stats had reached the right amount to
Inaano
kill
ko
the
electric.
monsters.
Kaya
It was his turn
nilamig
to
ako.
fight. Cirrus raised his hand, clutching the hilt of his sword to strike. The goblins
Pinari ka
noticed
na yung
the man's devious
mag-electric.
movements, so they warned the princess to be careful. The silver-haired demoness girdled the hero's
Baka
arm.
bulusan na ma...
Unfortunately, against the rule of the
Lamigon
demons, these stats were not enough. He needed to accumulate more strength. The queen grabbed the guy.
Harani ba yaka mo sa bee farm, ha?
The goblins began to praise the mistress, realizing that they were wrong to question her intentions. She didn't mean to kill him. The Queen of the South did not take her eyes off the boy and brushed away the dust that had risen from the blow. Still, she needed to hold back a little. bringing her hand to the guy's arm.
Magbabakal ako dito si Nano,
Some tiny
Dugos.
human dared to stand against her monsters. However, the princess had no
Sa
resolve.
paggato na mo,
With a single
nagbakal ako
movement of her
doon.
hand, she tore off his armor that only hindered her. The demoness wanted people to see with their own eyes the difference between their weak bodies and those of the monsters. She, from the beginning of the battle, wanted to see what the guy is capable of, so rejoiced when she achieved the desired. For support,
Yikes,
such a
hello,
woman was quite
finally
exciting
caught
for
you
what
live
the
again.
enthusiastic
Yes, thank you for
The guy's
coming
armor
back.
shattered into pieces. It seemed that since they could destroy it so easily, there was no point in opposing the monsters.
Thank
with
you,
armor.
my
However, the guy's puzzled
friend.
face changed when he saw the frozen house.
Welcome
of the princess.
back.
He still hoped that she would remain standing like that.
Thank you for
In that case,
coming
he
back.
would be able to hold on.
I'm
He
glad
closer.
that
She
you
continued
come
to move
back.
closer to the guy who was trying to hold her
Where
down.
are you from? I
After
forgot
the
your
next phase, the
country.
skill value increased by 100%.
92 people.
Brutal strength impressed the guy.
I forgot your country. What country are you? 101, oh my god.
It was perfectly fine. Our hero helplessly stretched his arm, calling for help.
What country are you? What country? Are you from Europe, America,
So
Canada?
one hoped for the worst outcome. Bella, who was still sitting near the rock, continued to blush from the kisses she saw. Couldn't do anything. For the
I'm
safety of
from
the city, Cirrus
Philippines.
was willing to sacrifice his principles to achieve peace, all in the name of
Philippines.
good, so he convinced himself. The boy leaned into the demon, pulling her closer to him. He wanted to change the outcome of the battle.
What
and
country
thus
are
increase
you,
his
my
stats.
friend?
In a matter of minutes, his agility jumped to 200, defense to 300, and concentration to 450. Sensitivity,
Me
intelligence, stamina, and magic generally
from-
broke through the ceiling and showed values around 1,000. Strength from 100 increased to 1,000.
How about
Continued
you?
to increase. Meanwhile, the demon who came to help stopped a few dozen meters
That's
away
my
from him. He was
place.
dressed in black armor, complete with a sword that would have left the wretched humans on the white ground. The demon
You
waited
from
in time,
Europe
using his
or the
weapons to his spot,
USA?
and dropped the sword out of confusion.
What country
Princess
are
turned back to
you?
her king and lowered her gaze and continued to remain silent. Everyone was deeply stunned by the situation, causing silence to form in the cave. Everyone focused their gaze on the Demon King Barrett, who had been dealt a critical blow, morally, of course. Meanwhile, the guy who managed to free
It's
himself from the strong arms of the
11:48.
princess
It's
started to notice
lunchtime
that said that
here.
now all the bonus values will double, and his level will
Yes.
increase by 1.
Lunchtime in the
Silence couldn't last forever.
Philippines.
A few seconds later,
11:48
a king swept through the cave,
a.m.
promising to destroy
lunchtime.
our hero. The mana that was released from his body was surprisingly huge.
Lunchtime
Its power even
here.
broke the ground he was standing on. However, seeing that Barrett was angry, the silver-haired demons began to
Yikes.
deny
Talk
it,
to me,
and assured
come
him
on.
that it
You
wasn't
talk
what
to
he
me.
thought, and asked him to give her a chance to explain herself. But for Cirrus, it was unnecessary. He already hoped that he had reached the right level. Barrett's eyes expressed the horror that filled his heart at the sight of betrayal of the queen he trusted. With all his anger, the demon swung towards Cirrus, shouting at him to stay away from the woman he loved. His movements were so fast that only a plume of his aura could be seen. He swung his sword in front of the boy, but luckily the young man had his broken sword in hand, which he used to soften the blow. The remnants of his armor flew off of his body, shattering into shards on the ground. The young man was thrown so far away that he found himself near Bella, who was at the other end of the cave. The girl was worried about him and immediately rushed to him, asking if he was all right.
Agoy.
But the guy managed to absorb.
When you have so much to say and words just aren't enough, say more. This fell.
Absorb enough power from the demoness and raise his defense before the king appeared. He stood up and could still hold out, which calmed his partner a little. During the last attack, the demon king was instantly in front of our hero, which could not help but surprise Cirrus. Not only the speed, but also the strength of the attack was he was extremely high, because of which there was a need to think about
57,
his escape
thank
plan.
you.
The traitor promised the king that this would not happen again, but what does he see now? The queen sat on her knees in front of him and looked away.
Sibs, ayan ang... Ayan nga, mga alien.
Even waiting for an answer. She had promised him last time that she wouldn't look at another man, but now
Ayan na yung mga alien ko, my
Princess Hero
goodness.
wasn't going to listen peacefully to someone else's complaints, however, for the cause of it all lay with the
After
king
1 hour,
himself.
bumalik
She
sila.
stand, shouting and asking him why on earth did he come so late? What was he doing?
Libo-libo na naman yung
She
ating
shouted to
views
himself,
nito.
he was confused and frozen. Even the subordinates did not dare to move, and it was out of the question.
Sibs,
They continued to
libo-libo na
stand
naman ang
quiet.
ating views.
The queen kept saying that Barrett was to blame for everything. If he hadn't
Dahil
considered, she
dyan.
wouldn't have made the same mistake twice.
Guys, connect guys to Sibs from Baguio.
Such stupid, threatening questions. She didn't let him get a word in.
Correct,
She
correct.
continued to lash out at the king. If he had been walking for so long, what was the man doing so seriously? She
Sibs.
asked, pointing her finger at him and demanding an immediate answer. He thought for too long, which made the girl take
Sibs
offense.
channel.
Barrett
Ayan
was
guys,
loved
connect
by
guys to
the
Sibs.
You see, he'd only recently noticed how many people were running away from the cave, and so he had gone to war.
At least, ang bag pa din naman. Oo nga.
He was even willing to bow his head and admit mistakes, so it was no wonder he didn't marry.
Oo nga, Sibs.
The level of trust between the subordinates.
Nakikita ko umangat yung revenue ko dahil sa kanila. Sa ads, kahit mga maikli yung ads ko.
While they were having a family squabble, Cirrus
Tumataas ang
wanted to
revenue
survive as soon as
ko.
possible. Right now, the difference between him and this monster was too great.
Magpapa-ads na lang ako
He
lagi.
cried with the consolations of the king.
Magpapa-ads. Tumataas siya
At this, the
araw-araw.
goblins were having their own conversation and asked their colleague not to go to the satyr because she would beat him to death. At this outrage, the young man helped Bella up while asking her if she was incapable.
Kahit isa sa kanila magpaano no, 0.01 na ads.
The girl refused.
Kahit isa sa kanila tig 0.01 na ads. O di makakaipon ako no, $1.
He was late. Because of that, the man managed to seduce her. Their only
Nakakaipon nga ako.
to which the man reassured her and shifted the responsibility to Cirrus. Remembering the man, the king's face contorted in the guy's direction.
Kaya sa pa-ads na lang ako.
The princess-
Yung ads ko pa naman dyan, na yung ano,
But the silver-haired girl stopped the man by
yung
calling her
hindi na-escape, non-skippable. 0.01, kahit 0.01, naiipon naman.
Her plan was devious but workable. She saw it until the last moment. Because the demon was immobilized,
Si ano, tama, si Justin.
Dagos.
Dagosin na.
The goblins,
Amot ko yun, kitaan na lang dyan.
some time ago, the princess had given an order not
Sunod na yun, ano mo.
but the king only got angry.
Sunod na yung sapatos mo, kay mainiton dyan. Binili mo pa dyan.
The humans could not get far.
Love mo dito kay mainiton yun.
To attack them. In an instant, he
Love
caught
mo.
up with them, bringing down the ceiling, causing rocks to fall on the
Oh,
heroes.
matunaw
As
yan
he was
sapatos
trying to
mo.
pull the girl away, the demon king personally appeared in front of them. He was furious at the young man. He was used to his
Sinik ko kasi analytics okay naman mababa.
great speed and the same cry of pain. The guy
Wala ako, ano, ilan yung RPM mo? Check ko nga.
to sit on his lap. Sirius breathed heavily and shouted.
Ilan yung RPM mo? Sa
His
akin,
ribs seemed to be broken.
sayang nga yung ano ko content. Kung marunong lang ako, mataas yung RPM
He was
ko
too
eh.
fast to keep up with him. He was no match for him now.
Kung magaling lang talaga ako mag-edit, save.
Headed in the direction where the man had flown off. Despite the
Ilan
fact
yung RPM mo? Sa akin, medyo malaki yata.
Barrett threatened to tear him in two as soon as he reached him.
Pakita ko
He
sa'yo.
wished with all his heart that Sirius would pay for what he had done.
Sa akin, malaki. Save mo ha, sa akin ha.
The only thing he could do was to keep resisting.
Yung sa content, RPM ko.
The young man's eyes opened to their
Sana
maximum,
ba yun?
and a scream filled with terror came out of his mouth. He saw only the
Sayang talaga kung magaling lang talaga ako mag-edit.
But a sudden slap brought everyone to their senses, drawing everyone's attention.
Sana ba
The
yun
princess
sa
hit her
ads?
king, not allowing any harm to come to the guy. Thanks to that, the weapon passed to the right of Sirius's head, who was squirming in convulsions. Barrett, not realizing what was going through what.
Sana ba yung makikita yung CPM?
The boy's life was almost cut short, so as soon as he heard the queen's voice,
Yung
he
PM, yung CPM ko, $4. Ay, ano,
was already running towards the exit.
$4.
Swelled up in the eyes of the horrible and cruel king after his beloved hit him. She
$4, tapos,
Even for all the questions the king was interested in, the woman only showed
tingnan ko
her
ah.
cheerfully. At this moment, another
Pag sa content sana kung magaling ako mag-edit, sayang nga itong RPM
He
ko.
had managed to raise his level again. But would he be
$4
able to-
sa ano ko content.
There was no time to think about it, so he decided
Tapos, saan ba yung makikita? Wait lang.
to dodge the hot hand. Meanwhile, the silver-haired demoness looked in the guy's direction.
Saan ba makikita yun?
She could no
RPM,
longer contain
CPM.
desire. To the king, it seemed as if his queen had lost her mind as she began to pull out of his arms towards her. Just a moment ago, she had sworn to him
Saglit
a vow
lang,
of
saan ba
love, so he
makikita
held
yun?
back, not allowing her to go. But the princess continued to resist. Finally, she succeeded and freed her hand. She instantly started
Malaki
running
sana
away.
yung ano ko,
She couldn't take it
RPM,
anymore, so she threw
CPM
herself in
ko
pursuit
eh.
of our fleeing hero.
Kaso di naman ako marunong mag-edit.
She threw herself at it. She was eager to release her feelings. The guy heard a noise behind her and turned his head, confused by this signal, not knowing that he
Saan
was
ba
jumped so far.
makikita yun?
She clung to him to help, pressing him to the ground. Without realizing it, she increased the guy's survivability to 180 years.
Ay, yung RPM, wait lang.
Frustrated and stretched
Malaki din yung RPM ko sana eh, kaso ano.
But in the guy continued to grow concentration.
Saan ba yung RPM mo?
While the young man suffered under the weight of the demons, his strength increased by another 210 points, and perception to 140. Now he didn't resist and let her do whatever the princess wanted to do to him. All this to increase.
Next time vlogs, hello, good morning.
The king watched the
RPM.
queen in confusion.
Nakita ko na yung RPM ko eh. Ito,
Perhaps it was because he wasn't good enough. Barrett convinced himself that it was his fault, but he was here now, ready to redeem himself. Once the king tells them no, then everything will go back to normal. However, the silver-haired demoness refused to accept her old life. She screamed at the demon and asked him to leave, leaving her hand in her mouth. Such a phrase made even the demon king's jaw drop. No one present had expected to hear from the princess. Barrett immediately felt his
sa live $1 per ano.
He was doing
$1, kada 1,000 $1.
Meanwhile, Bella, though with a broken leg,
Tapos, sa short,
she ordered the shameless
0.02.
holding her sword in front of her ran to the rescue. Justifying her rank, the D-class
Oo
hero
nga, ang laki ng ano ko.
But Sirius suddenly and inexplicably asked
Tapos
him to
sa video,
Princess South was not only dangerous with her,
ang laki ng
but also with
RPM
her tail,
ko.
which she
Revenue for
She
every
quickly wrapped
1K
around Sirius's
views.
throat and prevented her from making an attack.
Oo,
Leaving
laki
her around her
oh
arms
ng
and waist,
RPM
the
ko.
demoness chained her to the wall, driving the end of her tail like a nail into the hard rock above Bella's head. Yug herself continued to kiss our hero. No matter how much she thought about it, she never found the answer.
Yung short talaga, 0.02, di ba? 0.02.
However,
Sa live ko is $1 per
every touch
1,000.
gave her a sense of happiness, without even a hint of it raising the hero's power level. However, one shouldn't forget about Barrett. He wasn't going to put up with her betrayal.
Revenue for every 1K is $1.
For a long time.
Di ba? O nakakailang dollar ako. Kung 1K kada araw, o di may $1 ako everyday.
He called the demons every nasty word he could remember at that moment. He had been betrayed.
Kaya pala umangat yung ano ko, yung revenue.
He was ready to kill him at once. With his
Yung
revenge,
short talaga, 0.02.
his sword was in front of his concubine.
0.02 sa ano RPM ko.
One move of his sword would be enough to cut off the head of the traitor. Who did
Pero
not
ang laki
resist.
ng ano ko, ang
The sword
RPM
stopped
ko sa
inches from her beautiful
content.
face. Barrett's hand began to tremble, causing the weapon to drive. He looked into her lovely red eyes, remembering the beautiful.
Laki ng RPM ko sa content.
A dead silence formed. Demoness was sure that he would not hurt her, and calmly turned her back to him, continuing what she had started. The The demon fell to his knees in front of his concubine and Cirrus. He couldn't kill her after all, and all through his undying boundless love. He sobbed like a little child.
Mag ano na nga ako, mag-upload na ako ng content.
The king desperately lowered the hands that only a second ago were clutching.
Ang short, pag mataas ang views, mas mataas yung RPM.
He fell into despair.
Oo.
Unstable and spread in different
Kasi
directions.
naipon yun eh. Sa akin, ano, pag naka 20,000 views ako sa short, nakaka $1 ako.
What he was up to. The goblins, who were standing far enough away from the Lord,
Tsaka lang makaka $1 pag naka 20,000 views.
and he should stop. Others were outraged that the former were
Sa ano, sa shorts.
and still others.
Sa live ko, 1K views, $1.
Everyone reacted differently, watching dozens of glowing
Sa ano ko, sa live. Kaya nagla-live ako araw-araw.
which allowed him to unlock a new skill. Thanks to the skill upgrade, the guy managed to
Di ba? Akalain mo yun, kung araw-araw, $1. Di maka sa 30 days. O, di maka, sahod ka talaga buwan-buwan.
As he got closer, he slashed his weapon at his enemy's neck, leaving a light trail of light after the swing.
Pero sa content, ang laki ng akin RPM ko. Revenue for every 1K is... Ang laki ng RPM ko sa content sana.
Shadow, and can teleport around the enemy.
Mag-upload na nga ako ng content. Sayani, thank you Sayani.
Fell at the feet of Princess Yug, who bounced away from him with a scream. Thanks to Cirrus's bravery, the self-destruction had stopped, and everyone was now safe. He continued to stand there looking at his sword stump.
Mag-edit na nga ako ng ano.
He could gain more useful
Ang laki ng RPM ko sa content.
and thought back to the last time there.
Nakakaano. Di katulad ng mga vlogger talaga, no? Mataas talaga na.
Why was he so angry?
Uy, ako rin mataas din, oh. Bakit ba tumaas ng RPM ko sa content?
To herself, then the demon king's body rushed towards her, regardless.
Mag-upload na nga ako ng content ko.
The princess was greatly surprised when the king's body hugged her with all its might. She screamed loudly out of
Wait
fear, but
for,
attracted the
ano.
attention of everyone left in the cave. Her surprise was so great that she relaxed the tail she was restraining Bella with. The girl
Nakalimutan ko na naman mini. Ano ang RPM nga ulit?
started falling to the ground. If the body did not talk, it would be possible to think that it was the love of a man who did not
Nakalimutan ko na naman.
together
Naka-CPM.
forever. However, that was not the case. While Cirrus was catching his falling
Nakalimutan ko na. Palagi ko nakakalimutan yan.
his body harder and harder,
May memory gap na talaga ako.
to die with him.
CPM tsaka RPM.
She kicked and screamed that she did not die.
Per mile, di ba? Di ba per mile? Per...
Princess South was crying and begging to be let go. She desperately pulled herself out, continuing to scream furiously, but there was no way to get out. She begged for someone to save her.
Salamat, Sibs,
No one
ah.
else
Ano
would
lang
be able
ako?
to help humans.
Mga 12 mag-end na ako.
Grabbed his sword and
12 na ba?
He slammed the
Mga
weapon into
12:30,
Barrett's strong
ganun.
arms, causing him to loosen his grip.
Salamat,
Cirrus
Sibs.
nestled the king's overbearing arms and started to get his
Wala kang ano ngayon? Wala kang klase.
The king didn't give up trying to grab hold of Yug until the
Break
lights
time ba?
shouted
Break
at him.
time.
However, it was impossible to delay. His body
Alauna
was
magkaklase ka ulit.
which only made the feeling of unease grow stronger. A bright flash instantly appeared behind our heroes as they left the cave.
Mag-upload na nga ako ng
They caught
ano.
up with the shockwave. Behind it, just as quickly, came a blast wave that lifted up the top layer of the ground, fogging the view. They barely managed to save themselves from that horrible monster that wanted everyone to die even after its demise. They continued to fall into the hole formed by the explosion, not even noticing as the princess began to glow with bright pink light
Views
before slowly disintegrating into
275.
darkness. With a loud sound, they plummeted to the cold floor from a great height. They hit the hull of some huge building. Cirrus was surprised that they had managed to escape from that cursed place, and kept his hands on his chest, breathing frequently. They had fallen to the bottom of the dungeon.
Sa'yo kasi ang dami mong views sa ano, shorts, no?
From which he raised his head and looked at what was
Monthly ka rin nasahod.
there sat a small disgruntled animal that looked a bit like a chubby purple.
Yung nakaka 300, ano ka?
Changed its body.
200, $300 ka.
He realized that her magical
100
secret
lang.
her health. She calmly looked at the guy with her red eyes and then just ran away.
Siguro ikaw mga $200 ka, 300. Din, no?
Bella had come to her
Sibs.
senses and was spinning in place.
Ang laki ng ano mo sa ano.
While she, without realizing it, stood over our hero. The guy
Or 100.
Demon King Barrett was successfully eliminated, so the reward became available.
Ako simula ng December, January, February, sunod-sunod yan.
Cirrus needed to think hard about whether
Dati every other month. Ngayon, ano na, every month na.
As soon as Bella realized she crushed him, she got off him, apologizing for what she'd done. Meanwhile, Cirrus remained silent. While the girl huddled in her lap blushing at the ridiculous situation, Cirrus clicked on the notification interface.
Lumaki yung RPM ko talaga dahil sa short ko.
A dark system window
Saves.
with golden paths opened in front of them. Dead ends, traps, resources, and
Dahil
final boss
sa
were marked on the map.
short tsaka
All the rooms were marked,
kakalive.
and the path to them was extremely clear. The map had come in handy for their raid. Now they would be able to go straight to the boss room without worrying about getting lost in the maze. The guy didn't notice as he started muttering, and the girl, hearing him talking to himself, looked up at him. She got down on all fours and came up to him, asking what he was talking about and where he was looking. But the guy just waved her off.
Geography.
Unfortunately, this system was only seen by him. There was no point in sitting at the
Mas
bottom of the
marami
dungeon
pa
for a
rin
long
sa
time.
Pilipinas
So Cirrus got up from the cold slabs first, and then gave his hand to the
United
girl and
States,
offered to
India,
follow.
Indonesia,
However, he was
Canada.
unable to go far. His heart suddenly started pounding frantically, causing him a lot of pain.
Oh, may
He
viewers
stopped when he
ako
felt
sa
something
ano.
wrong and he shook. It was only a moment before he was on his knees, spitting out purple slurry. He was vomiting. The girl was startled to realize something was wrong with the guy. Why did he suddenly feel so bad? However, there was nothing she could do to help. Suddenly, the sharp pain changed its location, migrating to his little finger, coloring the blood vessels purple, which could be observed even by unarmed eyes. Cirrus felt like he was being cut from the inside, and he screamed, squeezing his hand to relieve his own pain. His pinky fingers seemed to be melting before his eyes. Purple liquid oozed out of it, hissing and bubbling, making it impossible to see the first phalanx. His screams were unrelenting. The pain was so hellish that he thought he was dying. Our hero fell on the tiles, rolling from side to side, from which the girl could not stop him.
Arlie still there.
The skin of his back cracked as if from
Ang laki ng mga RPM nila, no?
The new wounds began to ooze the very
Yung
fluid that
ano
Sirius
ko, kababayan ko, ang laki no? May silver button na siya.
touching her arms.
Nakabili na ng bahay, house and
She
lot,
pressed him with all her might, trying to share his pain.
may kotse
The girl
na.
didn't understand or realize everything.
Kasi magaling niya mag-edit. Ano yung kanyang content?
He couldn't be allowed to rub
Politics and entertainment. Tsaka ang galing niya mag-edit.
It felt like it was burning with fire.
Kasi nang nag-aral siya, may ano
But
siya
upon
na.
reaching the second phalanx, the purple slurry stopped its spread.
Ano yun, isa siyang ano,
Soon it stopped completely, allowing him to breathe in peace.
magaling siya mag-edit-edit.
A black slice and a shortened finger. In time, Sirius's screams also stopped, and he was now just breathing tiredly. Bella continued to hold him close to her, which did much to soothe our hero. His gaze faded, and if the girl hadn't seen him breathing, she would have thought he was
Ay,
dead.
yung iba naman, nag-ano no, nagbabayad sa mga editor, no?
Stopped. The girl continued to hold him even after he sat up himself.
Kada, for example, isang video.
And began to stare at his hand. Bella didn't
Isang
stop. She
video,
wondered what was
ano
happening to his
nga
body,
yan?
so she bluntly asked why his body was melting. However, the one word that Sirius squeezed out of himself explained everything. He had been poisoned. The monsters had attacked the city.
Na-edit nila yun.
He had seen several creatures fighting with the guild heroes with his own eyes. He had seen members from the
Binabayaran
box
nila.
that let go while fighting off the demons. The demons continued to advance to take their own, sacrifice their lives fighting with the guild members. That ill-fated box managed to damage the monster. who
Sa
also liked
short
his
lang
arm.
ako
But
nag-ano.
it didn't just make things worse for the humans. What came out of it could not
Ang
be
laki na
described.
ano mo,
But with
shorts.
its power, it drew everyone who was there
Arlie
to find
still
peace.
there.
Sirius was also reached by the echoes of the battle in the ruins, and the shockwaves scratched his skin a little.
Ano mo pa na
Piled
naman
him on
sila.
top of a ruined building. There he lurked, playing dead. Then a dark purple liquid began to flow from the ruined box, which had now taken his finger. The sky turned purple in an instant, plunging the earth into darkness. The heroes and monsters looked up and were stunned. The truest blood was pouring from the sky. Everyone was caught up in it. Both monsters and humans screamed in agony, losing one limb after another. Sirius, who was hiding in the ruins, watched the deaths in fear with his hand over his
Family
mouth.
Rattle.
The hero who held the cursed box first of all dipped into this fizzy purple liquid that devoured his flesh without a trace. The monsters also fell under its influence, screaming helplessly and helplessly losing their lives. Even just remembering all of this, now our hero's back was melting from the lava. Sirius had not been directly affected by the liquid, but because of the odor he had inhaled, he was still poisoned. When he passed out, he had already woken up in the hospital.
Yeah.
The attending doctor did not languish long and directly told our hero that to live.
Ay, if you're sleepy, you can go to bed, Arlie. It's late night in Canada.
The blood of the demon god was able to neutralize it.
You're not yet
Just when he was
sleepy.
desperate, resigned to death, a system window popped up
I
in front
think
of
I
him.
have 30 minutes
He was
left.
asking the guy if he would bind to the system.
30 minutes left.
By doing so, he would be able to get tips on obtaining lifeblood. So he
Before
activated the system and
I-
learned that the blood was in the Naya dungeon. Later, he learned how to detox right in that dungeon. Bella listened to his story and began to help the wounded man up. Both of them
Before
were left eventually
I,
beyond the Opposite the place where they fell, there was
if
a
you're
red
sleepy, you can go to
So the
bed.
first thing Sirius suggested Bella was
I think it's late
the
night
building
in
was huge, so
Canada.
their every check, sigh, and word echoed off the empty walls.
I
There was
just
no
have
fire.
30
The only
minutes
source
left.
of light was the hole in the
Okay,
ceiling
thank
through which they
you.
fell.
I appreciate it,
A
Arlie.
huge empty corridor decorated with columns on 2 floors. It was obvious how skillfully
Ano
this open
kayang
work was
sino
creation
ulit
here
yung
to the Rococo style.
pa
A group of several people followed the man who
kaibigan
acted
na
as a tank of the
nakalive.
squad. The man carried a large heavy shield that was the size of his
Family
entire height.
Dago.
Every step he took seemed weighty and heavy. He was followed by a knight with a sword, who bravely held it in front of him. In an instant, a loud sound caught their attention, causing them all to start staring at one point. A swift arrow shattered the
Tapos,
shield
sino pa ba
swept between the breastplate.
yun?
The
Si
commander promptly
Chita.
commanded everyone to fall back. Someone had activated the trap. The tank took a step back before dropping dead, as his shield disintegrated in his hands, falling in small shards to the floor. The squad leader, who carried a sword behind his back, ordered everyone to freeze immediately. No one could disobey him, except Captain Terra, a Class B hero. If his squad moved randomly, there was a huge risk of activating other trap mechanisms. Even Claude, who had the strongest defense of all,
Arched Ali.
no one knew which path they would choose. The traps were swiftly hidden in the floor, making them almost impossible to notice. They moved on. Their only option was to rely on cannon fodder. They had not managed to get to this place, and they didn't want to lie. The entire squad sank into despair. One member of the group reminded them of a very handy weapon. The guy with the lowest rank should go ahead of everyone else scouting the road. This was suggested by Captain Sirius of the punishment team, a great hero. They had shamelessly thrown the weakest guy Baku, a D-class hero whose armor was of no quality at all, ahead of the troops. They sent him to his death. The higher ranked men threatened him with their weapons, threatening ordered him to crawl forward and find a safe room for them. Even if he resisted, disobeying the commander's order would result in immediate death. Fear in the boy's eyes and the rest in the distance.
I am Ludio. Hello, Ludio. Wilfred.
However, they were ruthless. The blonde man stopped their negotiations and asked them to wait for him.
Ludio Wilfred, thank you.
He had recently invented an arrow that jumped back and forth. So he asked
Thank you
test
for
it, so he
coming.
detected just one trap to
Wait.
increase their chances of survival. The commander didn't give him a chance and chopped the invention into
Ludio.
parts that sprinkled from the guy's hand. Makui's last hope under the force of gravity was rapidly falling to the floor.
I thought it was 11. Yeah, it's almost 12. So you're not
Sirius ordered
yet
to
sleepy.
explore the path.
Ludio, wait. I'm gonna.
He didn't willingly walk to certain death.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a jacket, Ludio.
Barely lifting his feet, he scuffed his metal
I will
shoes
make you
against
my
his side.
moderator,
He walked
Ludio.
carefully, trying to preserve his life.
You can promote your
Desperately
channel
searching for
there by
refuge,
dropping
stepping
your
into his behind.
link if you
The guy
want.
exhaled with relief when he realized that
You
he
can
was
promote your
behind.
channel,
What was
Ludio
the next step to
Wilfred.
take? Would he still be able to continue his life?
What country
However,
are
the
you
commander was displeased
from?
with his lack of diligence.
You're
He
from
didn't want the
Kenya,
Chinese and
right?
ordered them to move faster.
I
The
connected to
D-rank
you
hero,
here.
more than before, began to tremble when he was being pushed.
You're
He
from
already couldn't
Kenya,
choose where to go next. And now he was
Africa.
being
You're
pushed to
from
choose.
Africa, right?
His body broke out in a cold sweat as he took the next step. The boy closed his eyes in anticipation
Here.
of death. Sirius watched him closely, keeping his sword at the ready and
Lujo,
memorizing
you're
the path.
here.
However, the trap was bypassed again. Such a difference in tension made Monoi's heart beat faster. He was
Lujo
walking
is still
well enough so that he
there.
never
You
needed to
can
see where he would
promote
take
your
the next step.
channel.
Die, he would definitely die. The entity was watching his movements and was eager to die. The entity
Wait,
was
I'll
breathing
just
heavily.
drop your
He couldn't
link.
walk anymore, but the bloodlust didn't go away. In the next minute, the low-ranked guy suddenly turned around towards the team. He carefully
Lujo.
rushed towards the group, screaming that he didn't want to die. He wanted to go home and never do what he
Lujo
did again.
Wilfred.
He didn't look under his feet as he walked back and pressed the wrong plate, which came down under the guy's weight. With tremendous
Spelling
speed, the shining arrow instantly went through
I
his skull and killed him instantly. This time the attack came from below, which surprised the group. Perhaps here,
Lujo.
each trap activated a different attack. Moreover, the attacking light appeared suddenly each time, and it was impossible to predict where it was coming from. From this conclusion, the team became even more despondent as they realized that
Wilfred.
Makui's body slumped lifelessly on the floor, kicking up dust in the air. Now it was time to choose the next one from the
There you
lower levels.
go.
He ordered the weakest one to come out to him, but there was
I am Lujo
Wilfred.
Wilfred. I think you're from Africa.
First and called out to the captain, alerting him to the fact that someone had opened the door to them.
Thank you.
The sudden information
Thank
stunned
you.
him, from which he immediately turned his head toward them. Meanwhile, the top of a dark-haired boy appeared in the distance, watching the room with interest. Sirius and Bella were surprised to find other heroes here. In the boy and girl, Sirius recognized the old members of the team perfect, in his opinion, for the role of bait. Sirius was sure that everyone in the group had to be killed by now, but this guy had disobeyed his orders. Had he run away? Tara, meanwhile, saw her friend and was glad she was alive. The commander was not pleased. From anger, his eyebrows turned to the bridge of his nose, and hissing, he began to talk to the guy, menacingly asking why he was still alive.
I am Tom.
However, our hero was not surprised by this reaction. After all, before the raid, they quarreled because of what they were in an unpleasant situation. The day before the departure, the commander raised his sword, forcing Sirius to raise his hands and watch unhappily. He demanded only one thing, an explanation. Sirius tried to calm down the other men in suits, but he wouldn't listen. He wanted to know how the guy knew his wife's secrets, but the protagonist, not wanting to aggravate the situation, replied that he was just practicing his intuition for the next battle. It allowed him to know the color of any clothes, so he knows the colors of the clothes of his mistress. However, this did not calm the captain, and
Slice
he
and
raised his weapon
chop.
with full readiness to attack. But the guards that accompanied him successfully restrained his impulse while he waited for an explanation about the relationship between the boy and his wife, threatening to kill him otherwise. Sirius bravely beat his chest and confidently asserted that he would not slander or besmirch his honor. And to justify his actions, he was ready to show what he was capable of after so much training. He instantly told what he was wearing and with whom he was currently dating, from which the captain and the guards froze in surprise. Hearing such heresy and recklessness, the guards agreed with the Lord and were ready to kill the young man here and now. But it would be impossible to kill him in the city, so another subordinate warned that if anyone discovered his body, everyone would be in unnecessary trouble. The best punishment for
JC,
him
no,
would be
di
to put him in a
ako
decoy
makapunta kay
camp, which they were prepared to do.
JC.
Sirius listened to this while wrinkling his nose, but didn't interrupt. It was only because of this that the protagonist was able to get into the raid to continue his search for the antidote. Now, he was just wandering around looking for new gear, but he was lucky enough to meet another group. Had they really gotten lost?
Jinjo.
Meanwhile, the captain stepped forward and pointing at the young man, ordered to approach him, because as the leader of the expedition team, he had the right to use his abilities. But the boy continued to stand as if he were being yelled at. Although he had not seen what was happening before, the young man guessed that he wanted to send another low-ranking man to his death. Even Tara, realizing this in spite of Sirius, shouted at him not to move. The boy turned to the head and said that since they could get to the end of the traps alive, they should just follow their steps to bypass the traps. There was no point in just killing them, and having used them, the team didn't need to take any more risks. In order to destroy the big boss of the sea-level dungeon, they had to sacrifice dozens of valuable units. There was no time to repeat the same experience. Sirius explained that he was doing everything for his people. If Tara didn't like it, he could always leave, but the boy chose to remain silent to the head's moralizing. Putting his hand up, the captain asked his subordinates, haven't their instincts been trained? It was time to do their part for the team. They needed to understand the consequences of disobeying orders. However, while he was kicking himself, Sirius received a new notification of
The
the card opening. Bella, who
Nominator.
was standing silently behind the boy, begged him not to go there.
So,
Even just looking at that dangerous
back
road,
to
it was clear what she was
gaming.
capable of. She was sure there was some other road.
Okay, Sasha, let me...
Minsan talo ko sa ibang choices. Buti pa sa Jollibee Mix and Match combos. Lahat panalo. Choose your own sulit sarap combo. Kahit ano pang piliin mo. Masarap. Jollibee Mix and Match combos. 75 lang.
So they should have thought about
Ay,
finding
shit.
him, but he wasn't about to turn around.
See,
The captain had already given the order, and that only meant blind obedience. He swore to the girl that everything would be fine, and letting go of her hand strode forward. The team was surprised when the protagonist took the first step past the trap without a second thought. They couldn't believe they were now looking at the F-ranked guy. Was it really necessary to just rely on intuition to predict the arrangement of the mechanisms? The guys thought as they watched the protagonist boldly stride forward. All
Dominic
it took was to pass 3
Joaquin
spaces and then turn left and pass 2 spaces. As luck would have it, Sirius opened the map of the deadly labyrinth. He quickly passed all the pressure plates, whispering something to himself. The young man made 3 moves without stopping, and nothing happened. The team was sure that the guy was incredibly lucky. Turning to his left, he walked 2 more spaces without worrying for his life. The brunette that was in Sirius's group screamed when the guy quickly turned around and took another step without consequence. However, stepping lightly on the slab had everyone already scared that the mechanism would kill the only person that had made it this far. But there was no click. Not now. With every step, this guy didn't show a trace of hesitation. That's true luck. Some heroes even whispered that he knew the right path. However, others refuted it by calling it nonsense. Just getting information about the terrain of just the first half of the dungeon alone would be worth a dozen money even for the intelligence officers.
circuits.
Some F-level kid had no right to even contact the Suddenly, Sirius jumped forward, making everyone think he was finished, but luck was on his side. The guy stood on one leg trying to balance. He almost lost his balance, and when he stabilized, he breathed a sigh of relief. The expeditionary squad leader was growing more and more surprised. Sirius didn't understand why the mechanism hadn't worked yet, but the young man had 5 more positions to go. It wasn't long before he would be on the other side of the room. He was indeed approaching the exit, which made the group open their mouths in surprise as they continued to move. The guy walked confidently past Maki's corpse, shuffling his arm and paying no attention to him. Sirius made the last move without any problems, and found himself in front of the commander's face, smiling defiantly at his victory. Our hero was unharmed, for the trap had not triggered him. It was really luck. That guy, just by relying on intuition, was able to anticipate the location of the mechanisms. This was the proof of his long training that he previously mentioned for raid. Chu-Chang and innocent. However, the commander still raised his sword and put it to the lad's throat to prove his purpose. Sirius was angry, not believing what was happening, thinking it was impossible. The situation was worse than nowhere, because such incidents are nothing but luck, which sooner or later will leave the protagonist. In any case, now he will go ahead of the team. Sirius still had to lower his sword to let go of our hero, who was now walking around the neighborhood. The squad continued to marvel at his splendid luck, but he didn't care. Wandering around the hall, the guy saw a mushroom that had managed to sprout in the cracks between the slabs. It was a cabbage mushroom that could increase physical strength and alleviate illness, and after eating it, there was a chance of diarrhea. Sirius realized that the demon hiding in his pocket was hungry, so why not gather them for her? The princess was unlikely to be harmed by any mushroom in the human world. Making this decision, he leaned over to the food and plucked them from the ground. Even at the smell, they were excellent, which made him have to swallow drool. Too bad the protagonist is human and can't eat them without risking the consequences. But why not take the risk and at least lick them? Interest took over, but as soon as he wanted to try it, the commander came up to him from behind and asked him what he was doing. The boy replied that he had just found some mushrooms, but Sirius instantly snatched the food from his hand, leaving him puzzled. He thought the protagonist wanted to eat them and did it himself to his own detriment. The commander, with a sly smile on his face, decided to teach him a lesson and give him some advice. After clearing this dungeon, all the resources belonged to the Brave Guild and his crusade team, so there was no point in challenging him. Before he could finish his mushroom, the group leader pointed at Sirius and warned him that he couldn't see him, and so that he would not hang around idly, ordered our hero to go ahead of the group. But the guy did not resist. He agreed with the captain, resolutely obeying his orders. He asked the captain to follow him at the beginning of the team, because it is not good for the commander to be dragged at the end of the group. So far, he didn't seem suspicious, but he remained on the lookout. Meanwhile, Tara held Bella's hand while her leg was being treated, and apologized to the girl for not knowing she had been thrown into the decoy group. She should have told him about it. After all, he was vice captain and could have put her in other groups. However, the girl went there on her own initiative. Hearing this, the guy was greatly surprised and didn't understand why she made such a decision. She was silent, but the gaze that was fixed on Sirius explained something. The young man had been through a lot, and now he was calmly talking to the captain about the doors leading to the big boss, but there was another door nearby that was empty and was a dead end. The healer finished her work quickly enough that the fracture was healed. Bella thanked her for her efforts and let her go. Meanwhile, Tara couldn't miss the opportunity to talk to the girl, so he spoke after the treatment. He warned his friend of the consequences with a serious tone. She just wanted to protect that F-ranked guy and follow him around. The girl was just sending herself to certain death. The investigation team was nothing more than cannon fodder and bait consisting of the lowest ranked Braves. By staying alive, they had only wasted the resources of the entire Brave Guild. The only way to show their worth was to act as bait or to go ahead of the group. The vice captain didn't want Bella to make the same mistakes, so he explained his thoughts to her as plainly as possible. He didn't want Bella to leave him alone on the next trip. Tara was number 1 in B-class, and he was sure he could protect her. Meanwhile, our hero and Sirius had found the right doors. There were no traps behind them, so the boy let the commander through, but he didn't want to risk his precious life and sent him forward muttering something unhappily. He didn't understand his discontent, because the head couldn't let his team members, who carried a huge combat value, take such a risk, so the guy's refusal wasn't even considered. Grumbling didn't solve anything, and going forward still had to be done. Sirius went to the main door and pressed his hands against it with all his might, pushing it forward. The commander gave the order to be ready, for the door was about to open. There was no telling what was stored behind it, so it was best to prepare for the worst. At the same moment, he tried to keep a calm face, but the rumbling in his stomach wouldn't go away, which made him feel cold. The door swung open, and a cold, grave wind blew in, enveloping every part of his body. Having opened them completely, our hero calmly walked forward, looking around the hall, which was a little destroyed, and smoothly passed from the slabs to the cavernous ground. The passage opened, and all the members of the squad tensed. At any moment, something unexpected could appear, so they had to keep a high vigilance. However, the head's stomach continued to ache, and he couldn't relax. He swore to himself and cursed everything around him, praying for it to stop. At the same time, Sirius finally took his first steps down the hall with his sabatons. He walked forward calmly and bravely as he surveyed the room. The sheer size of them made it seem like the boss would be a huge monster of unprecedented proportions. As he wandered around, Sirius kept asking the boy about what he had seen. He knew it was dark enough to light a fire, but his stomach, which had failed him at such a critical moment, was interrupting his rational thoughts. He guessed that it might be because of the mushroom, but it was too late to do anything. It was over. He would have a hard time fighting monsters and holding back. Unfortunately, when asked by the commander, he replied that from what he had noticed, everything here was crawling with monsters. Deciding that there was no other choice, the young man began to run quickly, calling his team after him. He told all of his squad mates to follow him and just run through everything, but that was not allowed. He was given orders to stop this immediately, but he did not stop. He broke discipline, and without realizing it, the whole team rushed after him.
Diesel Wheel
As soon as one ran, the others followed.
Hello,
Meanwhile, the commander's
Diesel.
stomach began to ache even more from the running, which only worsened his condition.
How are you?
Sirius's skin
How
turned
is your
pale,
day,
his face
Diesel?
covered in cold sweat. He was having trouble holding back, but he held on with all his might.
Keep her coming.
Suddenly, the smell of sulfur hung in the air, making everyone cover their noses, thinking of poison. Everyone sensed it, but shrugged off the
What
work of the
country
machine
are
and
you
glittered the
from?
building.
Thank you, Arliss.
Not thinking about the traps,
Arliss, you're
people began to run
good.
faster. Who knew it was
Arliss, sleep well,
Why does it
Arliss.
smell so familiar? The blushing commander couldn't
Appreciate
help
it,
himself.
Arliss.
Shame.
Good
He
night.
commanded not to talk nonsense and run faster, or else everyone here
Diesel,
would be poisoned.
I'm gonna
After running
promote
about
your
halfway down the
channel
hall,
here.
Sirius ordered the boy to stop immediately. The protagonist complied with his request and leaned against the wall out of
Diesel,
exhaustion.
Diesel,
The head of the
my
group angrily
friend.
approached the boy and repeated his name while he tried to catch his breath.
I'm gonna
and asked what was
promote your
wrong.
channel, Diesel.
Meanwhile, the frantic commander was yelling loudly
What
at
country
Sirius
are
about
you,
the properties
Diesel?
of those mushrooms. Did he really know everything and let him eat them on
I'm
purpose?
going to promote your
However,
channel.
the guy flatly denied it and asked with interest about those mushrooms and what they did. But the head
Diesel.
decided to keep silent. Suddenly, the guy
Will.
really doesn't know anything, and he would reveal himself so quickly. However,
Horse.
the young man saw how nervously he was rubbing his clothes and fumbling with his fingers. Suddenly, another man
You're
appeared behind him and was
from
worried about Sirius and
Portland,
pulled a large stone that could be used
New
as a chair.
York.
He thought the captain was tired,
New York,
so he suggested
Portland,
he sit
New
down and
York.
rest.
Good evening there. I hope you have a good night.
He ordered the whole team to gather and work on. There was no time for
Portland, New York. You're
After
from
dealing
the
with the group, he raised his
US.
sword and stopped over the young man's neck that he had done nothing
I
wrong.
promote your
He threatened him that if he dared to
channel.
run away again, next time he met him, he would kill him immediately. However, the young man simply swallowed the saliva that had accumulated from fear.
Thank you for
Stammered
the
his agreement.
support, my
In the meantime,
friend.
there was a
Diesel.
dragon's tail-shaped indentation on the ground that reached up to his head. The guy ahead of the group pointed to the slab and warned them not to step on it. They walked on without even realizing that the same dragon was sleeping a meter away from them behind a broken wall. The hall quickly changed to a rocky cave, which made
Going
it
to
hard to walk.
s-
After they
yeah.
walked fast enough, the main character stopped.
Yeah. Sleep well, Arlie, sleep well.
All along the way, they were accompanied by red-eyed creatures like snakes or spiders.
Sleep
They followed
well,
them
my
silently, waiting for a good time. Sirius turned his attention to a dangling stalactite. The system notification indicated that it was not to be
Yes.
touched, which made one guess that something terrible was stored there.
Connect,
It was
guys.
necessary to act
Subscribe
without
to
anyone noticing, because
Diesel
damaging it
Will
would be the end
Horse
of their adventure.
from
The captain who followed
Portland,
him
New
watched the young man
York.
suspiciously. He did not understand why the further they went, the fewer traps appeared. Not a single mechanism worked, and they did not meet a single monster. This fact made him very uneasy. Many thoughts about the protagonist crept into
I
his
hope
mind,
you have a good
and he
night
really never before.
there.
But
Thank
that was simply
you.
impossible. If he wasn't on his team, perhaps even the
82
D-class
people,
monsters that were
thank
waiting at the
you.
door could eat him, let alone reach this hall. The head's thoughts were interrupted by Sirius, who was telling him the way to the boss. It was only 100 meters away, and they would be at his door. But the boy had been giving him a hard time before the raid. Clenching the hilt of his sword, the man followed the young man, waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, yeah.
After
Me
all,
too,
once they
me
reached
too.
the
I
boss's room, his
appreciate
existence
you,
was
Arliss. I
Even
appreciate
luck or something like that would be
you.
able to save him. This is where he would end up. Sirius also
Thank
noticed
you
that
for
stalactite,
the
and as soon as the
support,
boy was under it, he
Arlie.
realized that this was just the chance to get rid of him. The man put power into his weapon and started to take active action. The head of the group used his aura in the form of a whip and stealthily attacked the rock that hung over the guy, wanting him to be crushed to death. The captain cut the foot of the rock to which it was attached with lightning speed, and the stalactite fell downwards under the force of gravity. When Sirius heard the noise above his head, he looked up at the ceiling and saw the pointed stone that was coming toward him. The commander watched without taking his eyes off the young man, waiting for his demise. A low-level F-level hero was crushed to
91
death by a
people,
dungeon
thank
mechanism.
you.
Such a
Pangatlong
headline in the report pleased the
bukso.
head's heart, causing him to smile. However, the sharp tail that came out of the ceiling where the stalactite had been damaged shattered the rock approaching the boy and thereby protected him, while Sirius dodged the debris with his hands.
4,900.
The spiky limb instantly rushed towards Sirius, who hadn't expected this turn of events. Of course, he didn't expect the boy to survive under the debris, but he was most surprised by the monster that was approaching him. It attacked the man with great force, and he flew away a few meters. All the members of the squad were surprised to see their commander easily thrown back. Meanwhile, the creature came down from the ceiling, jumping to the ground, scattering rocks behind it. It irritatedly watched the humans who dared to disturb its peace, and waved its tail sideways. This monster was like a mutated scorpion that learned to walk on two legs without claws. It stood in the middle, blocking the path of the squad to our hero. However, it wasn't the only thing in their way. The ceiling had also crumbled, creating
Subscribe,
rocks
guys,
and
to
another wall.
Diesel
They
Will
were separated from what
Horse.
seemed to be a guy in a better situation until other
Arliss.
monsters appeared. Luckily for Sirius, he reacted quickly and
Subscribe
blocked the
to
creature's blow with
Diesel,
his sword.
guys.
However, he
Come
was still
on.
injured. If he hadn't blocked it, he would have been killed. While they were fighting, the protagonist looked around the wall for a way in, but it was all over. He was trapped, and it was unlikely that he would be able to move these giant rocks. But while he was dealing with one problem, another one came up and asked him what he wanted in the cave. Out of the darkness, a beautiful girl was walking towards him, monotonously addressing him. Her golden eyes watched the boy indifferently, and her oblong ears twitched slightly. People were disgusting to her, but somehow this guy didn't disgust her as much. The huge monster that had managed to cripple Sirius was watching the rest of the group fiercely, waving its tail irritably. It was a level B puppet scorpion. Sachiel's puppet shouted incessantly at his opponents, drawing everyone's attention to himself and showing his greatness. Terra ordered the others to be ready for a fight, and though Bella silently picked up her sword, it was too heavy for her tired body. Even after the treatment, she was having trouble standing on her feet, and now, in a battle against a giant scorpion, even more so. It was necessary to somehow block its movements and prevent the monster from going any further, so the vice captain ordered all the guys with shields to step forward. No one questioned his decision, and everyone immediately stepped forward and hammered their huge shields into the ground, creating an impenetrable defense. He ordered all the archers to draw their bowstrings tighter and shoot straight at the monster. The ranged team accepted the order, and putting all their strength into their weapons, attacked the creature with sharp arrows. Hundreds of arrows flew at the scorpion as it continued to stand still without even attempting to fight back. Golden rain rained down from above, attacking the monster that only covered itself with its clumsy paws. Its impenetrable armor didn't seem to take the attacks, but Terra ordered it to keep trying. The puppet only took cover from them, but at some point it got tired of it and screamed. At the cry of its own voice, the scorpion, swinging its limbs and tail, created a shockwave that at once destroyed the arrows, throwing some back. The force was so great that even the shield maidens had to struggle to hold their defensive position. They propped up their shields with all their might, not even giving them a chance to shift. The vice captain was quite surprised to see that the attack had no effect, and was angry at how everything flew off, just because of some inertia. The puppet scorpion continued to stand still as the people's tricks and ranged attacks had no effect. Sirius got up from where the monster had thrown him, and began to resent the swordsman for standing still. He only advised them not to be afraid of the monster's aura and attack it right now, justifying it by the fact that the monster was alone and there were dozens of people. There was nothing to be afraid of.
For me, So, sanggalas ko tayo ito sa ulo. Bilangay ko ayaw ko. Kawal ko na yan.
Kaya, pumasay pa sana. Kulang na.
We trade for living markets now. Boy without actual power.
Isa o, isang
Nangly modern miracle no probably comes down so much he was a slave until he obtained a magic sword and control individual wife. Ano daw? He was a slave until he obtained magic sword that can turn into ano to? When the sun goes down, ayoko nito. Tayo ng pag. Ito na. Country na. How are you doing today? I just got my... I'm good. It's lunchtime here. I'm good. I'm good, Diesel. I'm good. Keep for asking. How about you? It's late night in New York. So, I hope you have a good night there in New York. Diesel. I hope you have a good night. Na-aksidente siya na. Yeah. It's almost 12 midnight there. 40 minutes. 38 minutes before 12 midnight. Here, it's already 12:22 p.m. It's lunchtime here. 12:22 p.m. in the Philippines. Lunchtime here, lunchtime. Yeah, it's bedtime soon. In your place. But here, it's just lunchtime. I hope you have a good night. My friend Diesel. Asan na ba tayo? Ito. Dahil na lang isa-isang ibon na gawa niyang makamit ang ano bang ibon? Ito na lang gusto ko to. Ibon. Ay, ibon ba yun? Ay, yung pinanood ko to kanina. Ibon. Tagalog ba to?
Isang pangkaraniwang manggagawa na namumuhay sa isang nakakabagot na buhay. Halos wala siyang sapat na pera para mabuhay kaya't hindi niya kaya na iwan ang kanyang trabaho.
34,
Siya ay
thank
magkaroon
you.
ng midlife crisis at mag-ampun ng isang ibon bilang alagang hayop. Ito pala ay isang makapangyarihang salamangkero mula sa ibang mundo at binigyan siya nito ng kakayahang humapit ng mahiga. Nagsisimula ang kwento kay Sasaki na naghahanda para sa trabaho. Itinatapon niya ang basura at binati siya ng isang babaeng palihiyala at pumunta siya sa trabaho at lumapit sa kanya ang kanyang kasamahan na si Kahay para linawin ang ilang pagdududa tungkol sa kanyang ulat. Hinalok ni Sasaki na gawin ang gawain para sa kanya para mas maging mahusay ang kanilang pagtatrabaho at para makapag-focus si Kahay sa ibang bagay. Samantala ay may babae na nagkwento tungkol sa bagong pusa na kanyang inampon at ito'y nakakuha ng atensyon ni Sasaki kaya't sumulyak siya dito. Nanood sila ng mga video ng pusa sa internet na itinatuwa ni Sasaki subalit sinabi niya kay Kahay na mas gusto niya ang mga aso. Pinangyayari siya ni Kahay na kumain pagkatapos ng trabaho. Kaso tumanggi si Sasaki dahil sa kulang ang kanyang budget ngunit umaasa siyang aanyayahan siya. Abuli ni Kahay.
Shamer Trouble Blog. Hello. Thank you for coming, Shamer. Shamir. Are you Shamir? Yeah, Shamir. You're from Riyadh. Yeah, I remember you. You're from Riyadh. Thank you for coming, returning. Thank you for coming back. Oroj, sila Oroj. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I hope you have a good day, Shamir. Let me drop your You are from Riyadh, right? Roj, thank you, Roj.
Nag-isip siya sandali at napagpasyahan niyang tawagin itong Pips dahil
My
tulog ito
friend
kay
from
Pips.
Riyadh,
Dahil
thank
hindi ito
you.
nagustuhan ng ibon. Alam ni
Where have you been to
Sasaki na
Philippines,
ang kakamali
Shamir?
ng amo habang sila ay naghihiwalay. Kaya
Have you been to the
nagtataka siya kung bakit tawagin
Philippines?
ito ni Pips at iniisip niya kung kaya rin ba nilang magkaroon ng tunay na pag-uusap na parang nakikipag-usap sa isang tao.
You travel here in the
Kung ano ang
Philippines.
gusto nitong kainin.
You go to
At
Boracay,
sinabi
it's
niya,
beautiful too.
dahil ayon sa may-ari ng tindahan, ito ang pinakamasarap na pagkain sa mundo. Bagaman gusto niya ibigay ang
Oroj,
pinakamahusay
thank
para sa
you,
kanyang alaga,
Oroj.
sinabi ni Sasaki na hindi niya kayang ihain ang ganitong pagkain, ngunit sinabi ni Pips na kailangan lang niyang kumain ng iba pa.
Connect guys to Shamir. Oroj, thank you, Oroj.
Siya ay ilayas mula sa kanyang mundo habang nakikinig si Sasaki.
We have Oroj.
Kung ano ang magagawa niya para makabalik sa
Oroj.
Ngunit napagtanto niyang hindi siya
396 Oroj.
Kaya nagpasya siyang mamuhay sa parang sa tingin niya ay pinakamabuti. Nang marinig ito, doon ay napagtanto ni Sasaki na nakarating si Pips.
My friend Oroj.
Nakikita niya sa bilang isang alipin na
I promote your channel, Oroj. Oh, double OG.
napagtanto niya na walang dapat sayangin na oras sa pagsunod sa pasya.
There we go. Oroj and Shamir.
Na nagsasabing hindi na siya magkakaproblema sa pera kung magpasya siyang tumulong.
Connect, subscribe to each other. 20 people.
Ibahagi ang kanyang kapangyarihan sa kanya. Hindi niya naiintindihan ang nangyayari subalit nagpasya siyang ituloy hanggang sa dulo. Pinagaya ni Sasaki sa Pips at lumakad ito papunta sa kanyang balikat. Binanggit nito na ngayon ay magagamit na niya ang katawan ni Sasaki bilang sisiglan upang ipahayag ang kanyang kapangyarihan na mas mabuti kaysa sa katawan ng isang maliit na ibon. Biglang nag-teleport si Pips kasama si Sasaki papunta sa ibang mundo, ang mundo kung saan siya dati nanirahan bago siya muling isinilang bilang isang ibon, at narating nila ang isang mapayapang lungsod na tinatawag na Bethlehem. Kinabukasan, bumalik si Sasaki sa trabaho at sinimulan siyang kausapin ni Kahay tungkol sa kung paano niya nagawang dumating ng maaga dahil lahat ng tren ay naantala. Hiningi ni Kahay na makipag-usap sa kanya mamaya at sa panahon ng kanilang pahinga, sinabi ni Kahay kay Sasaki na mag-uumpisa siya ng sarili niyang negosyo at gusto niyang sumali si Sasaki sa kanyang proyekto dahil magiging maganda raw kung may isang taong may karanasan tulad niya. Kaso sinabi ni Sasaki na kailangan niyang mag-isip tungkol dito dahil abala na ang kanyang buhay ngayon na nagsimula na siyang mag-alaga ng alagang hayop at nagulat si Kahay ng marinig ito. Sinimulang alalahanin ni Sasaki ang kanyang panahon sa pagkakataon kung paano nagbago ang kanyang buhay pagkatapos makita ito. Natutunan natin na ang spell ng teleportation ay nakakatulong sa kanya na makarating sa trabaho ng mas maaga at walang stress. Maaari niyang ituon ang kanyang pansin sa kanyang proyekto kasama si Pips na nagsasagawa ng negosyo sa pagitan ng dalawang mundo. Huminto siya sa isang supermarket para bumili ang kanyang mga gamit at uwi niya. Nakatagpo niya ulit ang parehong babae sa ikatlong pagkakataon. Nabanggit ng babae na dinala ng kanyang ina ang isang kaibigan at napansin niyang gutom ito kaya binigyan niya ng chocolate bar. Maya pa, pumunta si Sasaki sa mundo ni Pips para ibenta ang kanyang mga produkto sa mga noble at nang makolekta niya ang kanilang gintong barya, napagtanto niyang ito ay nagkakahalaga ng 400 milyong yen. Nagtataka ang isang lalaki kung saan niya nakuha ang kanyang mga produkto, subalit sinabi ni Sasaki na kailangan niyang itago ito bilang lihim at nangako ng exclusive ng kanyang mga produkto sa pag-asang maganda ang kanilang magiging trabaho. Patuloy siyang naglalakbay sa pagitan ng dalawang mundo at kumikita mula sa mga noble habang nagsisimula ring mag-aral ng mahika kasama si Pips, sabik na matutunan ang spell ng teleportation. Ang plano niya ay matuto ng unti-unti kaso kinabukasan, nagkaroon siya ng problema nang subukan niyang gamitin ang isang meter ng apoy sa kanyang break time. Nang ikwento niya ito kay Pips, sinabi ni Pips na mayroong higit na affinity si Sasaki kaysa sa inaasahan dahil talagang mahirap ang unang paggamit ng mahika. Habang naglalakad sila sa lungsod, nakasalubong nila ang isang empleyado na nagngangalang French na pinalalayas mula sa restaurant kung saan siya nagtatrabaho. Lumapit si Sasaki sa kanya para malaman kung ano ang nangyari at matapos malaman ang mga detalye, nalaman ni Sasaki na nagsanay si French mula pagkabata upang maging isang dakilang chef, ngunit ang kanyang kasanayan ay nagdulot ng inggit sa kanyang mga katrabaho kaya inakusahan siya ng mga ito ng pagnanakaw ng pera ng restaurant para lamang matanggal siya sa trabaho. Napansin ni Sasaki na parang isang magaling na profesional si French at naisip niya tungkol sa kanyang sitwasyon, inimbitahan niya si French na magbukas sila ng restaurant ng magkasama, ipinaliwanag niya na si French ang magiging manager ng lugar. Ipinakilala ni Sasaki si French kay Mark na isang noble mula sa isang kumpanya at hinili ang kinakailangang kagamitan para buksan ang restaurant. Sa wakas ay binuksan nila ang establishment sa isang marangal na lokasyon ng pangunahing nayon at nang matanggap ni French ang kanyang unang sweldo, siya ay lubos na natuwa at determinadong ibigay ang kanyang pinakamahusay para sa restaurant. Nagtataka si Pips kung bakit nagpa siya si Sasaki na buksan ang negosyo, kaya ipinaliwanag niya na naisip niya itong gawing mas madali para kay Pips, na sinasabing malamang kayang ihanda ni French ang karne na gusto niya.
Yes, Oroj.
Napansin ni Sasaki na mahirap siya
Yeah,
sa
you're the
at
one.
siya ni Pips tungkol sa kanyang trabaho. Sinabi niya na pareho pa rin ang mga bagay at ang huling pagkakataon na siya ay nakatanggap ng taas sahod ay 5 taon na ang nakalipas. Patuloy siyang nagpa-practice ng mahika sa kabilang mundo at bagamat marami siyang natutunan, nahihirapan siyang mag-master ng teleportation magic at pabalik sa kanyang mundo. Naalala ni Pips na nasisiyahan ang mga noble sa pangangaso sa kanilang libreng oras kaya nagpa siya silang bumili ng ilang produkto para tulungan sila. Sinimulan niya sa pamamagitan ng pagbili ng isang pares ng binoculars at hindi nagtagal ay napuno ang kanyang cart ng iba pang mga item tulad ng Swiss Army knife. Ibinebenta ni Sasaki ang mga item sa mga noble at hindi nagtagal pagkatapos, nagpa siya ang Panginoon ng lungsod na makipagkita sa kanya at di tulad ng iba pang mga noble. Mas maingat si Lord Mueller sa paggawa ng negosyo kaya naisip ni Sasaki na dapat siyang magdala ng mas mataas na kalidad ng mga item kapag nakipagnegosasyon sa kanya. Tinanong ng Lord Mueller kung karaniwan ba ang mga produkto sa kontinente ni Sasaki o kung mataas ang kalidad ng mga ito, kaya ipinaliwanag niya na ang mga item na ito ay espesyal at ginagamit lamang ng pribilehiyado klase ng kanyang mga tao. Nang marinig ito, naisip ng Lord na si Sasaki ay malamang isang mahalagang noble kaya tinanong niya si Sasaki kung siya ay isang taong may mataas na katayuan, natatakot siyang mahuli sa pagsisinungaling tungkol sa pagiging noble, kaya ipinaliwanag niya na siya ay isang craftsman na dinala sa kontinente matapos ang isang shipwreck at ang kanyang mga item ay mga sample ng mga bagay na dala niya. Kaya doon ay pumayag ang Lord na payagan siyang ibenta ang kanyang mga produkto. Ngunit nangangailangan ng priority para sa bawat benta at
Enjoyment
si Sasaki
of
na pumasok
life.
at lumabas sa mansyon ayon sa kanyang kagustuhan, at hiniling niya na ipaalam sa kanya kung mayroon siyang anumang bagay na makakabenepisyo sa kanyang mga tao. Nagkamay ang dalawa at naabot ni Sasaki ang kanyang layunin na makapagtatag ng koneksyon sa Lord ng lungsod at pabalik sa kanyang mundo. Doon ay napagtanto ni Sasaki na ngayon na ang farewell party ni Kahai. Nagkita sila sa isang restaurant kung saan nagtataka si Kahai kung sasali si Sasaki sa kanyang bagong kumpanya, at sinabi ni Sasaki na hindi siya makakasali at naisip ni Kahai na magiging maganda sana kung kasama siya sa kumpanya dahil mas buhay na buhay si Sasaki nitong mga nakaraang araw. Sa kanyang pag-uwi, iniisip ni Sasaki ang sinabi ni Kahai subalit naabala siya ng isang ice crystal
10
na lumilipad
people,
patungo
thank
sa kanya at
you.
napansin niya ang isang lalaki na nagbabanta sa isang babae gamit ang mahika. Dahil sa nakita niya itong kakaiba kaya doon ay inatake niya ang lalaki gamit ang isang ice pen. Nagsimulang kumalat ang yelo sa katawan ng lalaki at dahil hindi alam ni Sasaki kung paano kontrolin ang kapangyarihan, naisip niya na
Rog,
dapat na
thank you,
mamatay ang
Rog.
lalaki kaso tinudaw ng babae ang yelo sa kanyang mata at nang makita na mayroon ding psychic power si Sasaki kaya doon ay tinanong siya ng babae kung mayroon siyang registration. Nagkunwari siyang walang alam kaso nagpumilit ang babae at tinanong kung gaano nakatagal niya mayroon ang kakayahan. Ipinaliwanag niya na ilang araw pa lang niya ito nakuha at hiniling ng babae na sumama siya sa kanya. Habang nagtataka si Sasaki kung maaaring may iba pang gumagamit ng mahika mula sa mundo ni Peach na napunta rin sa kanyang mundo, hiniling niya na dumaan muna sa kanyang bahay bago sumama at ininungkahin ng babae na magdala siya ng
It's windy here, it's windy in my place.
habang nag-iimpake ng kanyang bag, tinalaan siya ni Peach na mukhang hindi masyadong malakas ang mana ng babae at dahil tinukoy niya ang mahika bilang isang bagay na psychic, iniisip ni Peach na maaaring iba ang kanyang kapangyarihan kumpara sa mahika ng kanilang mundo. Paglabas ng bahay kasama si Peach, nakasalubong ni Sasaki ang kanyang kapitbahay na nagsabing gusto niya makipag-usap sa kanya, ngunit sinabi ni Sasaki na nagmamadali siya kaya pumayag ang kapitbahay na makipag-usap na lang sa ibang pagkakataon. Nakipagkita si Sasaki sa babae at humingi ng paumanhin sa pagkaantala. Binanggit niya na isasama niya ang kanyang alaga at ipinakilala ng babae ang kanyang sarili bilang
Rog, thank you, Rog. Enjoyment of life.
Ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na ang mga psychic ay tulad ng mga mage na may kapangyarihang lumitaw ng biglaan. Si Sasaki na isa lamang sa bawat 100,000 ang nagpapakita ng mga kakayahang psychic. Ngunit kapag lumitaw na ang kakayahan ng isang tao ay hindi na ito nagbabago, na nangangahulugang ang isang psychic ay maaari lamang magkaroon ng isang kapangyarihan. Ipinapaliwanag ni Ashizaki na kaya niya manipulahin ang tubig at baguhin ang temperatura nito. Ibinahagi niya na marami sa mga kakayahang ito ay mapanganib, kaya naman madalas itong ginagamit sa paggawa ng mga krimen at ang lalaking umatake sa kanya ay isang kriminal. Dagdag pa niya na ang trabaho niya ay patayin ng mga ganitong tao at ipinahayag niya na kapag unang lumitaw ang psychic manifestation, kinakailangang magrehistro sila sa isang supervising authority sa Japan na isang lihim na organisasyon at iilan lamang sa bansa ang nakakaalam ng pag-iral nito. Pagdating nila sa isang malaking gusali, sinabi ni Ashizaki kay Sasaki na doon siya magtatrabaho at matatanggap niya lahat ng detalye ng trabaho sa kanyang pagsasanay. Hiniling niya kay Sasaki na ipakita ang kanyang kapangyarihan at nagpasya si Sasaki na ipakita lamang ang isang spell para hindi ito magduda. Nang makita ni Ashizaki na kayang lumikha ni Sasaki ng yelo mula sa wala, naging masigla siya dahil kaya niyang kontrolin ang tubig ngunit hindi niya ito kayang likhain, naisip niya na maganda ang pagtutulungan ng kanilang mga kakayahan. Nag-aalala si Sasaki na makipagtulungan sa isang taong sobrang abala sa trabaho. Sinubukan niyang sabihin na hindi siya ang adventurous na tipo, ngunit ipinaalala sa kanya ni Ashizaki na maaari silang kumita ng malaking pera kung sila ay magsikap. Naalala ni Sasaki ang kanyang mga pangako at gusto niyang hilingin kay Peach na ilipat siya sa kabilang mundo, ngunit nag-aalala siya na baka may mga kamera sa paligid kaya nagpasya siyang lumabas. Ipinabatid sa kanya ni Peach na sinusundan sila at iniisip ni Sasaki na ipaalam sa kanyang mga kontak sa kabilang mundo ang tungkol sa kanyang pagkaantala, at sinabi ni Peach na isang oras sa kanyang mundo ay ilang minuto lamang doon, kaya maaari siyang pumunta doon habang inaakala ng iba na siya ay nasa banyo. Pumasok sila sa kabilang mundo kung saan ipinaalam ni Sasaki kay Mark na mas matatagalan ang susunod na negosasyon at nagawang ibigay niya ang sweldo kay French. Pabalik sa Japan, pumatok si Ashizaki sa kanyang pinto ng alas 6 ng umaga at sinasabing mayroon silang misyon. Hiniling niya kay Sasaki na sumama sa kanya, ngunit sinubukan niyang dahan-dahan na isasara ang pinto at nagpumilit si Ashizaki at ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na gusto niyang makipag-usap sa isang supervisor bago umalis sa departamento. Sa sandaling iyon, tinawag ng direktor ang pansin ni Ashizaki at masaya siyang makita siyang sabik sa trabaho kaso binanggit niya na huwag isama ang isang baguhan dito. Ipinakilala niya ang kanyang sarili bilang kapso at sinabi kay Sasaki na siya ay sasailalim sa pagsasanay. Binigyan siya ni Akute ng isang smartphone at sinabihan siya na laging dalhin ito dahil sa pamamagitan ng teleponong ito, siya ay aabisuhan tungkol sa mga emergency missions at ito ay bahagyang nag-aalala kay Sasaki dahil hindi na siya makakapag-relax, ngunit plano niyang iwasan ito sa pamamagitan.
Matinik, thank you Matinik. Baba ko yung bahay mo. Salamat sa pagdalaw. 319 si Matinik. Baba ko yung channel mo ha, Matinik. Si Matinik. Ba't tinawag mo yung channel mo, Matinik? Magaling ka sa math? Siguro magaling ka sa math. Ayan, binaba mo na yung channel mo. Ako na lang mag-pin. Ayan, napapin si Matinik. At tinawag mong channel mo na Matinik. Marami ka bang tinik o magaling ka sa math?
Ibang mundo dahil hindi siya matutunton ng walang GPS.
Matinik is means magaling. Diba yung matinik means magaling?
Sa kumpanya sa sino mang tagalagba sa ilalim ng anumang sitwasyon. Tinanong ni Sasaki ang kanyang supervisor tungkol kay Ashley Saki dahil malamang na sila
Nagets ko na yung meaning.
Pagkakatugma ng kanilang mga kapangyarihan, ngunit ang supervisor ay naghangad lamang ng swerte sa pakikitungo niya kay Ashley Saki. Sa pagtatapos ng kanyang pagsasanay ay natanggap ni Sasaki ang 1 milyong yen at nagpasya siyang gamitin ang pera para bumili ng mas maraming item para ibenta. Pag-uwi niya ay binigyan siya ng batang babae ng kupis subalit hindi nagtagal ay gumuho ang kanyang imahe bilang isang kaakit-akit na kolehiyala at ipinahayag niya ang sarili bilang isang yandir na isang psychopath. Tinatanong kung siya ba ay nakikipag-date kay Ashley Saki. Itinanggi niya ito, sinasabing siya lamang ang kanyang supervisor kaso ayaw niyang pag-usapan ng marami ang tungkol sa kanyang kumpanya, kaya nagpaalam si Sasaki at mabilis na pumasok sa kanyang bahay. Si Pitts ay kakaibang balisa, at tinawag siya ni Sasaki para maglakad sa kalsada at ipinabatid sa kanya ni Pitts na may pumasok sa kanyang bahay sa araw na iyon at nag-install ng device, kaya naisip ni Sasaki na maaaring nag-install sila ng camera o listening device upang i-monitor siya. Pagbalik sa bahay agad na tinanggal niya ang device at kinausap si Katsuo sa telepono, sinabihan sila na huwag na mag-install ng higit pang mga device sa kanyang bahay. Gayunpaman, ipinahayag ni Katsuo na ito ay isang pagsusulit na isinasagawa sa mga bagong miyembro ng organisasyon at sinabihan si Sasaki na siya ay nakapasa. Ipinaliwanag ni Katsuo na ang kumpanya ay nangangailangan ng mga tapat at may kakayahang ahente, at tinapos ang tawag habang inumungkahi ni Pitts na mag-ingat sila sa paligid ni Katsuo. Nagpasya si Sasaki na magpahinga, ngunit nang siya ay humiga ay napagtanto niya na mahihirapan siyang abutin ang kanyang layunin na mamuhay ng mapayapang buhay sa ibang mundo, samantala ay sinuri ni Katsuo ang impormasyon sa registration ni Sasaki at iniisip na siya ay magiging lubos na kapakinabangan sa organisasyon. Sa kabilang mundo, si Pitts at Sasaki ay nagpa-practice ng mahika at namangha si Pitts sa progreso ni Sasaki dahil hindi niya inaasahan na matutunan ni Sasaki ang mga intermediate spells ng madali. Hindi masyadong na-impress si Sasaki at inisip niya na ito ay dahil sa kapangyarihang ibinahagi sa kanya ni Pitts. Ngunit idiniit ni Pitts
Nanonood ako ng
dahil sa
Matinik.
mundong ito, ang mga
Pinapanood ako
salamanggero ay
Matinik.
mga dekada para matutunan ang mga intermediate spells, kaya ang paggawa nito sa loob ng ilang linggo ay hindi kapanipaniwala. Pagkatapos ay isinulat ni Sasaki ang kanyang progreso at sa sesyon ngayong araw, natutunan niya ang healing at enlightening spells at tinuring ni Pitts ang kanyang dedikasyon, subalit pinanggit ni Sasaki na nagiging mahirap ang pagmemorya ng mga chants. Iminungkahi ni Pitts na gumamit siya ng Dream War, na nagpapaisip kay Sasaki tungkol sa anime at mga laro at nagtanong siya kung saan siya makakakuha ng isa, at ipinahayag ni Pitts na mayroon siya sa kanyang kamay. Lumalabas na ang Dream Wars ay generic na termino lang para sa isang bagay na nag-iimbak ng mga enchantments at hindi ito kailangan gawa sa papel o ink, kaya ang kanyang telepono ay perfectong gumagana at masayang-masaya si Sasaki dito at sinabi niyang oras na para makipagkita kay Mark. Pagkatapos ay iminungkahi niya na kumain sila ng isang bagay na ginawa ni French, at sa pagkikita kay Mark ay nakipagnegosasyon si Sasaki ng ilang walkie-talkies na itinamangha ni Mark, kaso ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na ang mga ito ay tumatakbo sa fuel at kailangang muling i-charge. Kahit na ganoon ay na-impress pa rin si Mark at nagalok siya ng 100 ginto para sa bawat baterya, natuwa si Sasaki na maganda ang pagtanggap sa kanyang mga produkto at masaya siya na hindi siya maiipit nito sa inventaryo. Nagpasalamat si Mark sa kanya sa pagbibigay ng mga item at humingi ng paumanhin si Sasaki sa kamakailang pagkaantala, ngunit hindi ito pinroblema ni Mark at nagtanong kung ayos na ang mga bagay at tinanong ni Mark kung mayroon pa siyang stock at nag-aalok na bilhin ang lahat at nagtaka dito si Sasaki kung bakit. Ipinahayag ni Mark na inutusan siya ng Lord na bilhin ang buong stock kung makakita siya ng magandang produkto, ngunit bumubulong siya kay Sasaki na ang tumataas na tensyon sa kalapit na bansa ay maaaring ang tunay na dahilan at maaaring ito ay prelude sa isang mas malaking pangyayari. Sinabihan si Sasaki na mag-ingat.
Ano ako,
Nakita nila si
freelance
French sa labas ng restaurant at
massage
nang nakita nila
therapist.
siya, napansin ni Sasaki na maayos ang takbo ng negosyo at inaabot niya kay French ang bayan para sa buwan, na itinagulat ni French sa dami. Binigyan din niya si French ng listahan ng mga bagong recipe na matutunan ang iminungkahi ni French na kumain sila, masaya silang nag-enjoy sa pagkain ni French at pagkatapos ay bumalik sila sa modernong mundo. Kinabukasan ay ginigising si Sasaki ng tawag
Yes,
mula
the
kay
trainer
Ashisaki na
tsaka
magbibigay
massage
impormasyon tungkol sa isang misyon.
Freelance lang,
Nagtataka siya kung
freelance.
natanggap
On
ni Sasaki
call.
ang abiso mula sa direktor. Tiningnan ni Sasaki ang kanyang telepono at nakita ang ilang tawag, kaya nagmadali siyang pumunta sa trabaho at pagdating niya doon ay pinagalitan siya ni Ashisaki sa hindi pagiging handa, dahil ito ay tungkulin niya bilang isang ahente at agad namang nag-sorry si Sasaki. Lumapit ang ilang veterano at ipinakilala siya ng direktor sa kanilang bagong kasamahan, matapos batiin si Sasaki ay nabanggit ng mga ito na mauna na silang pumunta, tinutokso si Ashisaki na mag-enjoy bilang nani sa opisina ng direktor. Sa opisina ng direktor, inabisuhan sila tungkol sa isang operasyon para arestuhin ang isang grupo ng mga hindi rehistradong psychic users. Tinanong ni Sasaki kung ang pag-aresto ay dahil lamang sa hindi pagiging rehistrado, ngunit ipinaliwanag ng direktor na sila ay isang organisadong grupo at isa sa mga miyembro nito ay gumawa ng pinsala gamit ang kanyang kapangyarihan. Nakilala ni Sasaki ang lalaking umatake kay Ashisaki sa mga ito at sinabi ng direktor na ang iba ay kasabwat dahil natuklasan nila ang kanilang hideout, at balak silang dapin upang maiwasan ang karagdagang pinsala. Papunta sa misyon ay kinakabahan si Sasaki ngunit pinapalakas loob siya ni Ashisaki, sinasabing hindi siya direkta na lalaban at gayunpaman, nag-aalala pa rin si Sasaki sa pagiging posibleng target kahit nasa support mode lang siya. Nagkomento ang iba tungkol sa kahinaan ng mga target, na itinairita ni Ashisaki dahil sa pagiging masamang impluwensya sa kanyang kapareha at tinanong ni Sasaki kung hindi ba siya natatakot, ngunit sinabi ni Ashisaki na ang mataas na panganib ay nagdudulot ng mas mataas
Yes,
na gantimpala.
Matinik.
Umaasa siya sa suporta ni Sasaki, ngunit nag-aalala lang si Sasaki kung mayroong workers
Ano na ako,
compensation na
freelance.
trabaho at pagdating nila sa lokasyon, pumwesto ang lahat at habang naghahanda, nagsisisi
On
si Sasaki na
call.
hindi siya natuto ng skill para sa protective barrier. Pinangungunahan ni Direktor Aputo ang operasyon mula sa isang mobile HQ at di nagtagal ay nagbigay ng utos para magsimula, ngunit nang pumasok sila sa hideout, napagtanto nilang ito ay walang laman. Naghinala
Ay,
sila maaaring
pinost
mali ang
na
lugar,
niya.
ngunit may masama na pakiramdam si Ashisaki at iminungkahi niyang umalis na sila, ngunit bigla silang nakarinig ng sigaw sa communicator na nawalan ng contact sa HQ. Nagpanik ang mga sundalo at hindi nagtagal, isang bowling pin ang tumama sa ulo ng isa sa kanila at nagsimulang lumutang ang mga bowling balls at pin, lumilikha ng isang hurricane at napagtanto ni Ashisaki na namulog sila sa isang bitag. Naisip ni Sasaki na ang kaaway ay maaaring may kontrol sa hangin, ngunit hindi niya nararamdaman ang anumang puwersa ng hangin sa kwarto, kaya napagpasyahan niyang ito ay telekinesis. Sumigaw ang mga sundalo nang ma-realize nila na nakaharap sila sa mga high-level psychic users, tumakas ang ilan sa kanila at ang mga lumilipad na bagay ay tumama sa ilan sa kanila. Inilunsad ng isang sundalo ang isang energy attack laban sa whirlwind kaso hindi ito umubra. Natatakot dito si Sasaki subalit hiningi ni Ashisaki ang kanyang suporta at sumulong siya at nagcast si Sasaki ng ice circle. Mabilis na binago ni Ashisaki ang yelo sa tubig at lumikha ng shield para ipagtanggol ang sarili. Nagpatuloy sila sa pagiging defensive at ang isa sa kanilang kasamahan ay inangat ng psychic. Nagsimula siyang mahulog kaso nagawang pagdaanan ni Ashisaki ang kanyang pagbagsak gamit ang kanyang tubig. Lumala ang sitwasyon kaya inutusan ni Ashisaki si Sasaki na umalis, pero alam ni Sasaki na pagod si Ashisaki at kailangan niya ang kanyang supply ng tubig, kaya nagpasya siyang manatili at sinasabing hindi niya siya maiiwan. Nagsimulang humanga si Ashisaki sa kanya, habang iniisip ni Sasaki na seryosong krimen ang pagiging isang deserter at bigla nilang narinig ang isang boses at nagpakita ang isa sa mga psychic at nagulat na may mga nakaligtas pa, dahil sa hindi niya inaasahan ang ganitong kagandang laban. Nagsimulang lumutang si Ashisaki kaso nagsimula siyang mahulog. Ginamit niya ang kanyang tubig upang iligtas ang sarili at mabilis niyang binago ang tubig sa yelo. Itinagulat ng psychic ang kanyang kakayahan na kontrolin din ang temperatura nito. Hinatake ni Ashisaki ang babae ngunit madali itong naiilagan ng babae. Naghanda si Ashisaki ng sunod-sunod na atake kaso patuloy siyang iniiwasan ng babae habang lumalapit sa kanya. Hinawakan ng babae si Ashisaki at bigla itong nawalan ng malay, subalit nagpa siya ang babae na hindi siya patayin dahil sa kanyang mahalagang kakayahan at tinawag niya si Sasaki. Nagbabanta na papatayin si Ashisaki kung hindi siya magpapakita. Napagtanto ni Sasaki ang kabiguan ng misyon at ang pagkatalo ng kanyang squad, naisip niyang wala siyang ibang pagpipilian kundi ang magpakita at napansin ng psychic na hindi pamilyar ang mukha ni Sasaki, kaya sinimulan niyang magpakilala. Hindi siya nagustuhan ng babae kaso agad niyang napagtanto na si Sasaki ang pinagmumulan ng tubig para kay Ashisaki. Kinilala niya ang galing ng dalawa at sinubukan ni Sasaki na makabawi sa pamamagitan ng pagpuri sa kanyang mga kakayahan, sinusubukan kumuha ng ilang impormasyon. Nagtanong siya tungkol sa pangalan ng kanilang grupo, ikinagulat ng babae ang kanyang kakulangan sa kaalaman at nagsimula siyang ngumiti, napagtanto na siya ay baguhan. Sinubukan ni Sasaki na kumuha ng higit pang impormasyon ngunit tumanggi siyang magbunyag ng kahit ano, napansin niyang kalmado si Sasaki, at napagtanto ni Sasaki na hindi siya makakakuha ng anumang impormasyon kaya tinanggal niya ang kanyang headphones at nagsimulang magbigkas ng tiyan. Naguluhan dito ang babae kaso agad niyang napagtanto ang panganib ng dumating ang isang kidlat sa kanya, nagulat ang babae at mas maraming bagay ang inihagis niya kay Sasaki subalit nakaiwas siya dito, at nagcast siya ng lightning spell sa direksyon na iyon na nagpapabagsak sa dalawang nagtatago ng mga psychic. Tinanong ng babae kung sino siya at sinabi niya na isa lamang siyang recruit, nag-alok siya ng tigil putukan at iminungkahi ang isang draw kung manahimik siya tungkol sa kanyang nakita, at papayagan na umalis ang lahat. Tinanggap ito ng babae at tinanong ang kanyang pangalan, iminungkahi niya na sumama si Sasaki sa kanila, ngunit tumanggi si Sasaki at mas gustong sumunod sa karamihan. Sinabi niya sa babae na kausapin siya kung magbago ang isip niya dahil gugustuhin nila na magkaroon ng kanyang mga kakayahan. Bago umalis ay tinanong niya ang babae tungkol sa kanyang mga superior at nagpa siya ito na hayaan sila bago maglaho. Natapos ang araw at iniulat ni Sasaki na umurong ang kaaway sa kanilang sarili. Nagduda si Katsu sa kanyang ngunit nagpa siya na paniwalaan ito sa ngayon at humingi ng paumanhin sa paglalagay sa kanya sa panganib sa kanyang unang misyon. Pinauwi si Sasaki at pumunta siya upang makita si Ashisaki, na nagpapasalamat dahil nailigtas siya at lumabas sila para kumain bilang pasasalamat at habang umorder si Sasaki ng beer, humingi si Ashisaki ng orange juice. Ipinapahayag na siya ay 16 na taong gulang pa lamang at nag-aaral pa, ngunit sinabi niya mas matanda ang kanyang pananamit dahil ayaw niyang maliitin dahil sa kanyang edad. Naisip ni Sasaki na ang isang normal na 16 na taong gulang ay magkakaroon ng ibang interes at hindi ito itinuturing na magandang paglalaanan ng kanyang oras, ngunit ipinaliwanag ni Ashisaki na simple lang ito dahil maganda ang bayad sa trabaho at nag-ghost sila bilang paggunita sa kanilang unang trabaho ng magkasama. Sa daan pauwi, nakaharap si Sasaki ng isang kakaibang bata at naisip niyang i-report ito kaso nagatubili dahil sa paperwork at sa huli, nagpa siyang tumawag sa isang tao ngunit nang ilabas niya ang kanyang telepono, napagtanto niyang nawala na ang bata. Bigla niyang nakita ang babae na lumulutang at nagbukas ang isang kakaibang portal. Binanggit niya kay Sasaki na paalam at lumipad papasok sa portal, at naiwan si Sasaki na nagtataka kung ano ang
Smithy
nangyari.
Sue, hello
Pagbalik sa
brother.
bahay,
Smithy Sue.
kinagulat ni Sasaki na ma-surprise si Peach sa
Thank you
cold
for
na kanyang
coming.
dala, na labis naman na ikinatuwa ng ibon at naging excited si Peach tungkol sa pagkain, at nagpasalamat siya kay Sasaki sa lahat ng tulong na kanyang naibigay. Nang magsimula si Peach na kumain ay hindi siya makapaniwala sa lasa nito habang nais ni Sasaki na kuhanan siya ng larawan, at tinulungan ni Sasaki si Peach sa paglilinis at ibinahagi niya ang tungkol sa kanyang unang misyon. Hiniling niya na matutunan ang isang spell ng barrier at pumayag naman dito si Peach, na iminungkahi rin niya na isabay ang isang healing spell at itinuring ito ni Sasaki na isang urgent, kaya hiniling niya kay Peach na turuan siya pagkatapos ng kanyang pagpupulong kay Mark. Naging excited si Sasaki sa pag-iisip ng malambot na kama at pagkain princess na kanyang matitikman pagkatapos ng training, ngunit walang nangyari ayon sa plano, at nagulat siya nang pag-usapan ng Viscount ang tungkol sa digmaan. Napagtanto ni Sasaki na tama si Mark at sinabi ng Lord na inutos ng hari sa kanya na pumunta sa frontline. Ang kaaway ay ang Ogan Empire, isang makapangyarihang kaharian na may malaking bilang ng tropa. Ang kanilang puwersa ay doble kaya kung aabot ang kanilang hukbo sa
Mitisu,
lungsod, ambasing.
Oh, daddy.
Si Sasaki nang hingi ng Lord ang kanyang tulong. Napaisip siya kung paano tumanggi dahil mas gusto
Ambasing,
niya iwasan ang
hello.
digmaan at politika. Sinabi niyang isa lamang siyang craftsman kaya sa kalagay niya ay hindi siya
Hello,
makakatulong.
Amba.
Ngunit binanggit ng Lord na ang mga dala niyang items ay malaking tulong sa digmaan, kaya hiningi niya ang kanyang eksklusibong serbisyo sa panahon ng digmaan. Dagdag pa ng Lord na aabot ng 2 linggo sa pamamagitan ng karwahe para marating ang frontline, kaya imposible ang pagtitipon at pagdadala ng mga kinakailangang items sa loob ng isang buwan. Sinubukan niyang makipagnegosasyon sa mga kumpanya ng lungsod ngunit tumaas ang presyo ng pagkain, kaya ang pagpilit sa mga trade companies na tumulong ay mas lumalala pa para sa ekonomiya kaysa sa digmaan. Nag-iisip si Sasaki tungkol sa mahirap na posisyon ng Viscount dahil inutusan siya ng hari na magtayo ng mga puta at pakainin ang frontline, dahil siya ay isang noble na naglilingkod sa kaharian ay napilitan siyang sumunod o malamang ay mawawala ang kanyang titulo. Tinanong niya kung bakit hindi na lang niya iwan ang lungsod at iligtas ang kanyang pamilya. Biglang nagtanong ang Lord kung narinig na ba niya ang tungkol sa Star Sage at ito ay nagpagulat sa kanila, ngunit nagkunwari si Sasaki na hindi niya ito alam. Ipinaliwanag ng Lord na ang kanilang kaharian ay dating masaganang lupain na pinagpala ng magical technology. Ngunit isang grupo ng mga noble ang nagdulot sa karamihan ng mga mage na umalis maliban sa isang napakatalentadong mage na kilala bilang Star Sage na nagawang mamanatili ang kapayapaan mag-isa, ngunit ito ay natapos nang ang isang pangkat ng mga noble ay nagalit sa kanya dahil sa pabor na
Thank
ipinakita sa kanya
you
ng
so
hari kaya
much.
pinapatay nila ito at mula noon ay naharap sa
Where are you
korupsyon at
from?
pagdiklay ng kaharian. Nagpasya si Sasaki na tumulong sa
Where are
Viscount
you
sa huli,
from?
na nangako ng isang bagay kapalit ng kanyang serbisyo at pagkatapos ng pagpupulong, bumalik si Sasaki sa bayan at nagtaka si Pitts kung bakit pumayag si Sasaki na tulungan ang Viscount. Subalit pinaliwala ito ni Sasaki at nais malaman kung ano ang palagay ni Pitts sa kung paano magtapos ang digmaan. Iniisip ni Pitts na malamang matalo ang kaharian, ngunit inamin ni Sasaki na gusto niyang tumulong kung maaari. Iniisip ni Pitts na maaaring baguhin ang kanyang mahika ang takbo ng digmaan, kaso naniniwala rin siya na hindi dapat basta-basta iwanan ni Sasaki ang relasyong nabuo niya sa lungsod. Sumang-ayon si Sasaki ngunit nais niyang subukang malutas ito sa isang hindi kapansin-pansin na paraan. Nagtungo sila para kumain ng pagkain Pranses, ngunit pagdating nila sa restaurant ay nakita nila ang isang grupo ng galit na mga chef. Napansin ni Sasaki ang ekspresyon ni French kaya tinanong niya kung ano ang nangyari. Sinabi ni French sa kanila na nais ng kanyang dating amo na ibenta niya ang kanyang mga sangkap na may diskwento. Nakaramdam siya ng utang na loob dito dahil itinuro nito sa kanya ang lahat ng kanyang alam, ngunit ayaw niyang mawalan ng respeto kay Sasaki na siyang nag-alis sa kanya sa kalye at nagbigay sa kanya ng restaurant. Naiintindihan ni Sasaki ang sitwasyon kaya hiniling niya kay French na sabihin sa kanya kung mangyayari ulit ito at para na rin makagawa siya ng mga hakbang. Natatakot si French na abalahin si Sasaki subalit hindi ito itinuturing na abala ni Sasaki dahil nais niya lamang na panatilihin ligtas siya at ang restaurant. Nagsimula si Sasaki na maramdaman ang epekto ng digmaan sa pagtaas ng presyo ng pagkain kaya nagpasya siyang kumilos na. Nagtungo ang dalawa sa Kepler Trading Company, isa sa pinakamalalaking kumpanya sa lungsod. Sa pagtutulong sa negosyante ng kumpanya, inihatid ni Sasaki ang listahan ng lahat ng nais na mga item, ngunit inakala ng lalaki na para sa isang paggili sa ganitong saklaw ay nangangahulugan ito ng isang digmaan sa hinaharap, kaya naalala niya ang mga chismis na kanyang narinig tungkol sa mga lupain sa timog. Inamin ni Sasaki na ito ay kahilingan para sa isang bansang nahaharap sa isang digmaan, at hindi naman ito problema para sa lalaki, kaso binanggit niya na ang challenge dito ay ang pagpapadala ng napakaraming kagamitan. Nagpasya si Sasaki na gamitin ang kanyang karanasan sa mga malalaking kumpanya sa kanyang sariling mundo para maisara ang deal. Napansin ng negosyante na tila hindi nagmula sa kontinenteng ito si Sasaki, ngunit iniisip ni Sasaki na mas madali para sa mga tao tulad niya na
Melanie,
makagalaw.
salamat Melanie.
Sinabi ni Sasaki sa lalaki na sa pinanggalingan niya, hindi nila kailangan ng estado o reputasyon para makamit ang mabuting loob ng iba pang mga negosyante, kundi ang kakayahang kumita lamang. Nasiyahan ang lalaki sa sagot na ito kaya tinanong niya ang tungkol sa bayad. Balak ni Sasaki na makipagnegosyo lamang sa bahay ng Kepler at magbabayad siya gamit ang mga pintong barya
okay
mula sa
lang.
kaharian. Pagkatapos ng pagpupulong, tila nagulat ang Lord na napunan ni Sasaki ang bodega ng mabilis. Hindi niya alam kung paano magpasalamat kay Sasaki dahil ang mga supply ay magbibigay sa kanila ng oras at makakatulong na iligtas ang libu-libong buhay. Masaya si Sasaki na makatulong nang biglang tanungin siya ng Count kung alam niya ang anumang teleportation spells tulad ng Star Sage. Naalala ni Sasaki kung paano dinala ni Pitts ang lahat sa bodega.
Mama, okay
Pinalo niya
lang.
ang atensyon sa kanyang sarili sa paghiling sa Lord na panatilihin nihin ito sa kanila. Nagtatanong si Sasaki kung bakit tinawag ang mage na Star Sage kaya doon ay sinabi ng Lord na ito ay dahil alam niya ang mas maraming spells kaysa sa bilang ng mga bituin sa langit. Naalala pa ni Pitts kung paano siya namula nang tawagin siyang ganito at tumingin si Sasaki kay Pitts at naalala ang panahon nang sila'y magkakilala. Nakakatawa para sa kanya kung paano niya ipinakilala ang sarili niya sa isang palayaw na nakakahiya sa kanya. Nang matapos ang araw, muling nagpasalamat ang Lord kay Sasaki sa kanyang ginawa at masaya na sila ay nakapag-usap tungkol sa Star Sage. Subalit isang buwan ang lumipas ay nalaman ni Sasaki ang tungkol sa pagkamatay ng Lord. Nalilito siya sa opisina kaso nakuha ang kanyang pansin ni Akutsu na nagsasabi sa kanya na may promosyon para sa kanya. Ang huling misyon ay nagdulot ng maraming pinsala sa mga ahente kaya maraming posisyon ang kailangang punan. Iniabot ni Akutsu sa kanya ang kanyang inspector card, ngunit hindi mukhang masaya si Sasaki na ma-promote at ipinakita sa kanya ni Akutsu ang kanyang susunod na misyon na magre-recruit ng mga psychic kasama si Hachisaki. Ayaw ni Sasaki na makatrabaho ito pero nang ipunto ni Akutsu ang mga panganib na maaaring harapin laban sa hindi rehistradong mga psychic, naalala ni Sasaki ang huling misyon at pumayag siya sa huli. Sa kanyang pag-uwi ay umaasa si Sasaki na mas maganda na ang pakiramdam ni Peeps tungkol sa pagkamatay ng Lord, at bago siya pumasok sa bahay ay tinawag siya ng kapitbahay niya na nag-aalok ng masahe sa balikat. Ngunit kakaiba ang suhestyon kaya tumanggi si Sasaki ngunit binigyan niya ito ng ilang pagkain na nakuha niya sa daan. Pumasok siya sa bahay at napansin niyang tahimik na nanunood ng TV si Peeps. Umupo ang dalawa para kumain ng magkasama at tinanong ni Sasaki kung close ba siya sa Viscount. Sinabi ni Peeps na hindi niya gagamitin ang salitang close, ngunit nagbahagi sila ng ilang inumin at mas nagulat siya dahil inakala niya mas matagal pa itong mabubuhay. Tinanong ni Sasaki kung may mga spells ba na makakabalik ng mga tao mula sa kamatayan, ngunit hindi ito pinaniniwalaan ni Peeps. Nagtanong siya kung mayroon bang anumang bagay sa modernong mundo na makakagawa nito, pero sinabi ni Sasaki na wala at pinagnilayan ni Peeps na ang pakikilahok sa buhay ay nangangahulugang kailangan nilang mamatay at lahat ay haharap sa kaparehong kapalaran. Nagalok si Sasaki ng tulong kung may anumang bagay siyang magagawa at nagpasalamat si Peeps sa kanya para sa kilos na ito at sa kabilang mundo. Ibinunyag ni French na ang pagkamatay ng Lord ay nagdulot sa marami na umalis sa lungsod, ngunit biglang naputol ang usapan ng ipaalam ni Mark kay Sasaki na nais makipag-usap sa kanila ang butler ng Lord. Nagpunta sila upang makipagkita kay Sebastian, kung saan ipinakilala niya sa kanila si Lady Elsa, ang pinakabatang anak na babae ni Lord Meller. Ipinaliwanag ng butler na mayroong digmaan sa
Pwedeng online ka ba, Seth? Hindi ako nag-online
ang
doon.
dalawang anak na lalaki ni Lord Meller at inisip ni Elsa na isang tangasikay at masisira ang pamilya kung siya ang mag-takeover. Ipinaliwanag ni Sebastian na mas malapit si Elsa kay Maximilian at hinihiling niya na alagaan ng Vermont Trade Company si Elsa hanggang sa matapos ang labanan ng magkakapatid.
Oo, sige na.
Ngunit pumayag sa huli at hininiri ni Sebastian ang ilang pagalitang pangkomunikasyon mula kay Sasaki. Nakita niya si Sebastian
Hindi ako
na medyo
nag-online doon sa
nakakilala pero
FB.
nagpa siya na tanggapin ang kanyang kahilingan. Gayunpaman sa gabi
Hindi
ay
ako
nakita si Sebastian
sa
na gumagawa
FB.
ng tawag. Pinag-uusapan kung paano maayos ang
Daming
takbo ng plano
marites
at
dun sa
ipinaliwanag
FB.
niya na napapalibutan ng mga gahamang noble ang dalawang magkakapatid at ngayon nawala na si Meller. Ang kiskisan sa pagitan nila ay nagiging apoy. Kumain si Sasaki at Peeps kasama si Elsa at pinuri niya ang kanilang
Daming marites sa FB.
Nagpasalamat si Sasaki na nagmuni-muni kung
Buti
gaano
pa
kagaling ang
dito.
trabaho ni French at humanga rin si Elsa kay Peeps na nakikiusap kay
Konti
Sasaki na
lang.
hayaan siyang hawakan ito. Pumayag siya at tumalon si Peeps sa
Ayun,
kanyang kamay.
turumila.
Nagsimula siyang hawakan ang ulo nito at namamanghasa kung gaano ito kaaya-aya at tila nagustuhan din ito ni Peeps na nagpapaselos kay Sasaki. Subalit aksidenteng tinamaan niya ang mata nito na nagpapasigaw kay Peeps at nagulat si Elsa na nagtataka kung nagsasalita ba ito at sinubukan ni Sasaki na takpan ito, ngunit iginiit ni Elsa na siya ay sumigaw. Bigla ang lumitaw si Mark at sinabihan silang bumalik agad sa kastilyo. Sa kastilyo ay ipinakita ni Sebastian ang mga espada ng kanyang mga kapatid na may mga dugo. Ipinaliwanag na natagpuan ang mga ito sa kagubatan at nagulat si Elsa at tinanong ni Sasaki kung ano ang nangyari. Sinabi ni Sebastian na hindi nila alam subalit ang mga bakas ay nagpapakita na naganap ang isang pagpaslang, kaya dapat nilang isipin na may madugong pangyayari. Binanggit niya na wala na ang kanilang ama at mga kapatid at tungkulin na ni Elsa na maging ulo ng pamilya. Iniisip ni Sasaki na hindi ito ang tamang panahon, ngunit ipinagpatuloy ni Sebastian at sinasabing kung hindi niya ito gagawin, ang pamilya ay malulusaw. Kinakabahan si Elsa kaso ipinaliwanag niya na maaari lang niyang tanggapin ang posisyon habang inaasikaso niya ang mga gawain ng estate hanggang siya ay ikasal. Na-pressure siya at tinanggap ito habang nangangako si Sebastian na susuportahan siya. Pagbalik mula sa kastilyo, nakita nila ang isang grupo ng mga taong lumikas. Ipinapaliwanag ni Mark na natalo ang mga puwersa ng hari sa frontline, kaya ang mga mamamayan ay naghahanap ng mas ligtas na lugar at nagsimula na ang mga pag-atake sa katabing mga rehiyon. Nagpa siya si Mark na magkanlong muna sa kabisera kasama si Elsa, kaya tinanong niya si Sasaki kung gusto niyang sumama sa kanila, ngunit sinabi ni Sasaki na huwag siyang alalahanin. Nakaramdam si Mark ng awa kay Elsa dahil ang kanyang unang tungkulin ay iwanan ang mga lupain na inalagaan ng kanyang pamilya sa loob ng maraming henerasyon. Pagkatapos nito, pinanood nila si Sasaki at Peeps ang paglubog ng araw. Gusto ni Peeps na mag-request ngunit alam na ni Sasaki kung ano ang gusto niya at pumayag na baguhin ang takbo ng digmaan. Nagpasalamat si Peeps sa kanya at tinanong ni Sasaki kung dapat ba nilang gamitin ang teleportation, ngunit naalala ni Peeps na hindi nila alam ang lokasyon ng kaaway kaya nagpa siyang gumamit ng ibang paraan. Nakita natin si Sasaki na lumilipad at namangha siya dahil palaging pinangarap ng sangkatauhan na makakalipad ng walang teknolohiya, kaya hiniling niya kay Peeps na ituro sa kanya ang spell mamaya.
Lobat na, wait
Nakita nila ang
lang.
kampo ng kaaway at nagtaka si
Lubat
Sasaki kung
na.
ano ang dapat nilang gawin. Nagpa siya si Peeps na wasakin sila sa isang pag-atake
Lubat
lang
na.
dahil walang pangangailangan na pahirapan pa sila.
Ayan.
Hiniling niya kay Sasaki
Charge mo na
na
ako.
mabuti at likas niya ang spell. Isang berdeng liwanag ang sumisira sa lugar at namangha si Sasaki sa pagkasira. Ipinaliwanag ni Peeps na
Nalubat
maaari
ako.
rin ito sa isang punto lamang at tila na bahala si Sasaki dito.
Eh, mag-i-end
Ngunit
na
tiyak sa mga Peeps
ako.
na siya ang nag-cast ng spell kaya hindi niya dapat
Connect
mahirapan
to
ang kanyang
matinik.
sarili. Nagpasalamat si Sasaki at naghanda
Ilang minutes na lang ako matinik, ha?
Ang tumama sa kanila
Lubat
at sila
na ang
ang barrier
cellphone
ni
ko.
Peeps. Nagkahiwalay ang dalawa at biglang lumitaw ang isang babae. Nagsimulang mahulog si Sasaki habang nakikipaglaban si Peeps at ang babae.
Lubat
Nagawa
na
niyang
ang
bawasan ang
cellphone
epekto
ko.
ng kanyang pagbagsak gamit ang isang
Ayan,
spell
nakapin
at
ka na
nagpapalala siya
dyan.
sa iba habang pinapanood si Peeps at ang
Nakapin
babae
ka na,
nagtatakas sa
matinik.
ipakawin. Iniiwasan ang bawat isa sa kanilang mga atake. Nagsama ng babae ng isang dragon ng enerhiya.
Nakadikit na ako sa iyo.
Peeps gamit ang isang paikot-ikot na yelo. Nagpatuloy ang laban nang biglang makita ni Sasaki
Charge
ang
ko muna
dalawang lalaki na
cellphone.
lumabas mula sa gubat. At isa sa kanila ay si Lord Meller. Tinulungan ni Sasaki sila at
Nag-charge
pinagdala
muna
ng
ako
isang
sa
kabanyero.
cellphone.
Ipinakilala ni Meller si Sasaki bilang isang mga ngalakal na
Lubat na.
nagbibigay sa kanya at nalaman din natin na ang bata ay si Adonis, ang ikalawang prinsipe
Saan na ba
ng
yun?
kaharian. Nagulat si Sasaki at namangha si Meller na mayroon din siyang mahiga na panggagamot, ngunit mas nagulat pa si Sasaki na buhay pa ito at ipinaliwanag na iniulat siyang patay at binanggit ni Meller na nawala
May
siya sa
nahanap
likod ng
kasi
mga linya ng
ako.
kaaway kaya hindi nakakagulat na inakala nilang patay na siya.
Saan na yun?
Sinubukan nilang makarating sa isang kalapit na kampo kaya humingi sila ng tulong kay Sasaki. Biglang may palaso na lumipad patungo sa kanila subalit mabilis na na-activate ni Sasaki ang kanyang barrier.
First
Tumaldi
legal
siya gamit ang kanyang
session.
mahiga na kidlat, ngunit lumitaw ang ilang mga kabalyero kaya lumabas si
Daughter's
Meller para harapin
education.
sila at mabilis niyang tinalo ang mga ito. Nagpasalamat pareho sina Adonis at Meller pero sa palagay ni Lord Meller ay ginagawa lamang niya ang kanyang tungkulin. Napansin niya kung gaano karami ang iba't ibang
Blood
spells ang nagagamit ni
donation.
Sasaki, kaya ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na magaling ang kanyang guro, na nagpahayag ng kagustuhan ni Meller na makilala ito balang araw. Nakita natin ang isang nayon na nasunog habang inaatake ng mga orcs, kaso lumitaw si Sasaki at inatake sila gamit ang kanyang kidlat habang tinatapos ni Meller at Adonis ang trabaho. Nagpatuloy sila sa kanilang daan kaso marami pa ang kalaban at pinalaan ni Meller na maaaring nasa ilalim sila ng utos ng isang elite orc na mangangailangan ng buong regiment para talunin ito. Hiniling ni Meller sa prinsipe na manatili kay Sasaki nang biglang dumating ang elite orc. Umatake ito sa kanila kaya ginamit ni Sasaki ang kanyang kidlat para pigilan ito, pero hindi ito naging sapat para talunin ang malakas na kaaway.
Malalaglag.
Sinugod ni Meller ang nilalang kaso lang nagawa pa rin ng orc na masipa siya. Umatake ito sa kanyang ulo
Tangha.
upang protektahan siya ni Sasaki at nagpatuloy sila sa
Emergency
pagdepensa at
brand
sinabi ni Meller na kailangan nilang pagkiryahin ang ulo. Naghanda sila para sa atake pero may lumapit mula sa kalangitan at isang malaking bato ang nahulog sa mga orc. Bumalik si Pips kay Sasaki at humingi ng paumanhin sa kanyang pagkaantala, kaso nakatayo ulit ang elite orc. Tumawag si Pips ng kanyang golem na nakilala ni Meller at mabilis nitong pinalo ang orc sa pamamagitan ng paghagis dito palayo. Pagkatapos ay ipinaliwanag ni Pips na ang mga elites ay maaaring matagpuan sa anumang species at kasama na ang mga tao dahil siya at si Sasaki ay maaaring ituring ng mga elite. Nagpatuloy sila sa pag-uusap tungkol sa bawat tinanong ni Meller tungkol sa mga alaga, kaya ipinakilala ni Sasaki siya bilang kanyang guro sa mahiga at naguluhan si Meller kaya nagpasya siyang magtanong.
Leadership is not
Nagtataka kung ang
about
ibon ba ay
power,
maaaring ang
it's about
Starsage.
responsibility.
Nagulat si Sasaki kaso ipinaliwanag ni Meller na ang kanyang mga spells at ang paraan ng kanyang pagsasalita ay katulad ng Star Sage. Nagpasya si Pips na sabihin ang katotohanan at napalugod si Meller bilang paggalang at masaya rin siyang makita si Prince Adonis. Ibinahagi ni Pips kung paano siya tumawid sa ibang mundo sa form na ito, humihingi ng paumanhin sa pagtago nito sa kanila, ngunit sa palagay ni Meller ay siya ang dapat humingi ng paumanhin dahil hindi niya nagawang protektahan siya mula sa mga noble. Pinapatayo ni Pips si Meller at ipinaliwanag na patay na ang Star Sage dahil nais niya lamang mamuhay na mapayapang buhay kasama si Sasaki. Ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki kung paano si Pips ang nakakuha ng mga suklay noon at siya rin ang naglipol sa hukbo ng kaaway. Nagulat silang pareho at hiniling ni Sasaki na panatilihin lihim ang tungkol kay Pips. Pumayag sila dito na nagpapasalamat kay Sasaki at nagpasya silang bumalik. Bumalik sila sa kastilyo ni Meller at namangha ang kanyang mga lingkod na makitang
Yikes,
bumalik
what
ang
are you
kanyang
doing
pangko.
this
Tumingin si Elsa sa kanila na
afternoon?
hindi makapaniwala at tumakbo upang yakapin
Yes,
ang
doing
kanyang
live
ama.
stream.
Humingi ng paumanhin si Meller sa pag-aalala sa kanya.
I have a
at
client
si Sasaki
later.
Para sa kanila. Itaw si Mark at nagtanong kung ano
Later.
ang nangyayari. Ngunit nahihirapan si
I'm
Sasaki
waiting
na
for my
ipaliwanag kaya
clients
sinabi niya
and
nagkita lang sila at
do the
napansin
live
na hindi
streaming.
nabanta ang imperyo ng Ogan. Nagulat si Mark na marinig ito at ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na naglaho ang mundo sa magtapat. Tinanong ni Sebastian ang eksena na hindi makapaniwala nang biglang lumitaw ang dalawang prinsipe. Masayang makita ang kanilang ama. Hindi maunawaan ni Elsa kung ano ang nangyayari kaya siya ay bumagsak. Pinuri ni Meller ang mga bata sa pagganap ng kanilang mga tungkulin ng maayos. Humingi siya ng paumanhin kay Elsa sa hindi pagsabi nito at humingi sila ng tawa paglinlang sa kanya na nagpapaiyak sa kanya lalo. Inihayag ni Meller na bahagi ito ng isang plano na kanyang binuo kasama ang digmaan at ang pagtaas ng bangayan ng mga noble. Nagsimulang kumilos ng kakaiba ang kanyang tauhan kaya kumalat siya ng mga chismis ng kanyang kamatayan upang mahuli ang sinumang mga traidor, habang nagkunwari rin ang kanyang mga anak na naglalaban para sa pagpapalit ng liderato. Hindi makapaniwala si Sebastian na itong lahat ay isang plano, at ipinaalam ng mga prinsipe sa kanilang ama kung paano nalik ang impormasyon kay Dietrich na balak kontrolin ang mga lupain sa pamamagitan ng kasal ni Elsa. Pinuntahan ni Meller si Sebastian tungkol dito at inutos niyang arestuhin siya. Humanga si Sasaki sa ginawa nitong estratehiya at hindi niya maisip kung gaano ka-stress ang pagiging noble at nagpasalamat si Elsa sa kanya sa pagligtas sa kanyang ama, ngunit pakiramdam ni Sasaki ay hindi ito isang big deal at tumakbo si Elsa na nahihiya. Sa ibang eksena, ang babaeng si Odari ay umaasa na sana'y makauwi na rin si Sasaki at sa daan, napansin niya ang bangkay ng isang babae at agad niyang tinawagan ang pulisya. Pagkatapos ng ilang sandali, dumating ang pulisya at sinimulan ang investigasyon sa pinangyarihan ng krimen, pinayagan nilang umalis si Odari matapos siyang tanungin ng ilang katanungan. Narinig niya ang ilang lalaki na nag-uusap na ang kanilang dibisyon ang hahawak sa kasong ito at nangangahulugan ito na kailangan nilang ipasa ang kaso kina Sasaki at Hoshizaki. Tinanong ng isa sa kanila kung bakit nagtatrabaho si Sasaki kasama si Hoshizaki, at sinabi ng isa na siya ang kanyang water source.
Jacqueline,
Samantala,
LS18
ay napansin
po
ni
thumbs
Sasaki
up.
sa kanyang bahay
Good
na ilang araw
evening,
na ang
Jack.
lumipas sa
Tapos ka
mundo
na?
habang siya ay nasa ibang mundo. Iniisip niya na ang
Tapos
oras
ka na,
na binibigay niya
Jacqueline.
sa ibang mundo ay dapat katumbas lamang ng 1 o 2 araw dito. Napansin ni Pitts na mas mabilis ang paglipas ng oras kaysa sa inaasahan nila, at maaaring variable ang temporal distortion sa pagitan ng mga mundo at nagtataka siya kung ano ang maaaring nakaka-apekto dito,
Ay.
at iniisip nilang dapat nilang balikan ang mga bagay na kanilang ginawa upang malaman kung ano ang naiiba. Naalala ni Sasaki na una nilang tinapos ang digmaan sa pagitan ng kaharian ni Hearst at ng imperyo ng Ogan, at pagkatapos ay nalutas din ang alitan sa pagpapalit ng liderato sa estate ni Muller bilang gantimpala sa pagligtas kay Prince Adonis. Bilang gantimpala, nakakuha si Count Meller ng posisyon sa kapital kasama na ang titulo ng Count at iginawad din ng hari sa kanya ang titulo ng Royal Guard Knight na direktang nakatalaga sa royalties at hiniling sa kanya ni Prince Adonis na pamahalaan ang kanyang personal na pondo. Iniisip ni Sasaki na wala dito ang may kinalaman sa distortion ng oras, at pagkatapos ay dumating si Hoshizaki sa kanyang bahay at sinabi niya kay Sasaki na dapat siyang mag-iwan ng paunawa kung aalis siya at hiniling niya sa kanya na sumama sa trabaho. Sumakay silang dalawa sa isang kotse, at sinabi ni Hoshizaki kay Sasaki na ngayon ay magre-recruit sila ng isang Saiten, isa siyang high school student na nakatira sa Saitama Prefecture, at kamakailan lang ay may mga ulat tungkol sa supernatural na phenomena sa paligid niya. Iniisip ni Hoshizaki na ang mga kabataan ngayon ay walang dala kundi problema, at binanggit ni Sasaki sa kanya na kaedad lang siya nito at dagdag pa ni Hoshizaki na mas mature siya sa pag-iisip. At ayon sa mga ulat ang bata ay may pyrokinesis subalit ang kanyang output ay katumbas lang ng isang miniature flamethrower. Wala pang mga ulat ng insidente ng sunog sa eskwelahan, at exclusive niyang ginagamit ang kanyang kapangyarihan sa loob ng kanyang kapitbahay na malayo sa mata ng publiko. Iniisip ni Sasaki na ito marahil ang dahilan kung bakit sila tinawag ni Hoshizaki, dahil kayang manipulahin ni Hoshizaki ang tubig at sinabi ni Hoshizaki na tama siya at oras na para magtrabaho sila. Ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na ginagawa niya madali ang tunog nito at nagtataka kung hindi ba nila dapat na mas ingatan at imbestigahan muna. Binanggit ni Hoshizaki na hindi na kailangan dahil pareho lang sila ng rango ni Sasaki at dapat sapat na sila para hawakan ito. Binanggit ni Sasaki na maaaring totoo ito, ngunit nagkaroon sila ng problema noong muli at binanggit ni Hoshizaki na para sa pinakamasamang kaso, may pahintulot sila mula kay Chip na gumamit ng mga baril. Sa eskwelahan, doon ay ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na nakipag-ugnayan na ang bureau sa eskwelahan at ang kanilang pagpapakilala ay sila ay nagmula sa sentral na gobyerno upang obserbahan ang sitwasyon ng edukasyon sa lugar. Napansin ni Hoshizaki ang estudyanteng hinahanap nila, at iniisip ni Sasaki na mukha itong ordinaryong estudyante, ngunit binanggit ni Hoshizaki na psychic pa rin ito kaya hindi dapat ibaba ang kanilang depensa. Sinundan nila ang estudyante at napansin nilang binubuli siya ng ilang kapwa estudyante at sinubukan ni Hoshizaki na makialam, ngunit pinigilan siya ni Sasaki at sinabing dapat muna nilang panoorin. Binanggit ni Hoshizaki na baka gamitin ng bata ang kanyang kapangyarihan. Binanggit ni Sasaki na sa tingin niya ay matagal na itong pagbubulig kaso wala pang insidente na gumamit ang bata ng kanyang kapangyarihan sa eskwelahan. Ibig sabihin ay tinitiis ng bata ang bullying at dapat silang makipag-ugnayan sa target at nang mag-isa na siya, pumayag si Hoshizaki na sumama sa plano ni Sasaki at sa palagay ni Sasaki na baka ngayong araw na ito magpasya ang bata na gamitin ang kanyang kapangyarihan sa eskwelahan, at bagamat masakit itong panoorin ay nais niyang iwasang makialam sa paraang makakasakit sa dignidad nito dahil maaaring magkatrabaho sila sa hinaharap. Binanggit ni Hoshizaki na mayroon din siyang sariling plano at hiniling niya kay Sasaki na iwan sa kanya ang pagkontak at negosasyon. Sinabi niya na maaaring sumulat siya ng ulat o gumawa ng iba pang bagay habang naghihintay, at tatawagan niya siya kung may mangyari. Nasa kafe si Sasaki at naalala niya na noong siya ay nasa opisina pa lamang, karaniwan niyang kinakain ang lunch mula sa convenience store sa parke sa oras na ito, ngunit ngayon siya ay elegante na umiinom ng kape sa ilalim.
There's more to our cars. Cherry.
Ilalim ng bubong. Napapansin niya na hindi nila kailanman malalaman kung ano ang mangyayari sa buhay, at dahil mayroon siyang bakanteng oras, dapat niyang tingnan ang mga supermarket sa paligid at bumili ng magandang bagay para kay Pitts, at napansin niya ang lalaking dapat nilang i-recruit kasama ang isang babae at sinundan niya sila. Iniisip niya na baka nobya niya ang babae sa salamin at nagtataka kung nasaan si Hoshizaki. Pagkatapos ay napagtanto niya na pamilyar ang hitsura ng babae at napapansin niya na mukha siyang kakaiba na para bang sinusundan niya ang isang batang magkasintahan. Sinubukan niyang umalis ngunit dumating ang mga bully mula kanina. Sinabi ng mga bully na hindi nila alam na may nobya pala ang lalaki at tinanong ang babae kung gusto niyang sumama sa kanila. Sinubukan ng lalaki na protektahan siya ngunit patuloy pa rin ang mga bully sa pag-aya sa babae na iwanan ang lalaki at sumama sa kanila. Hinawakan ng isa sa kanila ang kamay ng babae ngunit sinampal siya ng babae at sinubukan na saktan siya ng bully. Gamit ang galit, ginamit ng lalaki ang kanyang kapangyarihang pyrokinesis at ang kanyang apoy ay umabot ng mataas na nakapinsala sa eroplanong lumilipad sa itaas. Nagsimulang bumagsak ang eroplano at itinayo ni Sasaki ang isang barrier para protektahan ang lahat mula sa mga debris. Tinanong niya ang babae kung okay lang siya at nagtaka ang babae kung ano ang ginagawa ni Sasaki doon. Pagkatapos ay napagtanto ni Sasaki na siya pala si Hoshizaki at nagtaka siya kung sinusundan ba siya ni Sasaki. Binanggit ni Sasaki na hindi, at nabanggit niya na nakita lang niya silang dalawa at ipinaliwanag niya na hindi niya inaasahan na si Hoshizaki ang kasama ng lalaki dahil hindi niya manghulaan na magagawa ni Hoshizaki ang isang kapanipaniwalang magandang disguise. Binanggit ni Hoshizaki na naisip niyang ito ang pinakasiguradong paraan para ma-recruit ang lalaki at nagtaka kung sa kanya magaling ang barrier. Ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na wala siyang ideya at sinabi ni Hoshizaki na dapat nila itong takpan muna. Gumawa si Sasaki ng yelo para dito na ginamit naman niya upang gawing tubig at ibagsak ang mga bully at ang
Alma
kanilang target.
Priya.
Pagkatapos ay naisip niya na kung gawa ng ibang site ng
Manay
barrier,
Alma,
dapat
dus
nagpakita
maray
sila
na
ngayon at nagtaka siya kung si
hapon.
Sasaki ba ay isang magical girl. Hindi maintindihan ni Sasaki
Kumusta
kung ano ang
naman,
pinag-uusapan
Nay
niya at
Alma?
ipinaliwanag ni Hoshizaki na mayroong 7 magical girls sa
Maray
mundo.
na hapon,
Mga batang
Manay.
may kakaibang mahika na kapangyarihan at maaaring magdulot ng hindi maipaliwanag na mga
Manay
pangyayari na
Alma.
naiiba sa logical psychic. Isa sa kanila ay Haponesa at pumapatay siya ng mga psychic.
Ayun.
Binanggit niya na siguradong maraming tanong si Sasaki pero dapat niya itong itabi muna. Sinabi
Maray
niya na dapat
na
nilang ayusin muna ang barrier
ako.
dahil magiging problema ito kung may kumuha ng litrato at ilagay ito sa internet. Maaari pa silang mabawasan ng sahod at iniisip ni Sasaki na seryoso nga ang isyong ito. Pagkatapos ay inatake ng babae na nakita ni Sasaki kanina ang isang barrier pero na-block ito ng barrier. Sinabi ni Hoshizaki kay Sasaki na kailangan nilang umalis doon at nakilala
Dami
ng
tao
babae si
man
Sasaki.
Ay, oo, yan dyan
Nagtaka
naman
siya kung
sila.
kilala ni Sasaki ang babae
Jessie.
ito.
Oh.
At nabanggit ni Sasaki na nakita
Nakalimutan
niya itong
ko.
kumukuha ng pagkain malapit sa kanyang apartment at tinanong ng babae
Paghupa
Sasaki
niyan,
kung siya ay
mag-end
psychic.
na ako.
At sinabi ni
Oo nga
Sasaki
eh.
na hindi siya psychic
Ewan
at
ko kung saan
napagtanto na
galing
siya
yung
ay
mga
isang
yan.
magical girl. Binanggit ng babae na nakita niya ang isang fireball
Paghupa
sa langit
niyan,
at naglawin
mag-end
ng kanyang
na
beam.
ako.
Kaya naisip niya na dapat mayroong kahit 2 psychic doon at nagtaka si Sasaki kung may kailangan siya sa mga
Mag-end
psychic at
na
sinabi
ako.
ng babae na papatayin niya ang lahat ng mga
Pagod
psychic at
na
hindi
ako.
niya hahayaang makatakas kahit isa.
Salamat man ni
Tinanong ni Sasaki ang
Elma.
babae kung malapit lang siya na nakatira doon, at binanggit ng babae na may malaking supermarket sa malapit at marami silang itinatapon na pagkain, kaya paminsan-minsan siya ay pumupunta doon.
Hindi, pahupain ko lang yan pag ano yan, pag bumaba yan ng 10, mag-end na.
Papunta kung may gulo at ipinakita niya na siya.
May ilang
isang
minutes
siya
na lang.
siya, iniisip ni Sasaki na kailangan nilang makahanap
Saglit
ng paraan
lang
para
naman.
makalabas doon at nagtaka kung may paraan ba siyang makausap ang babae dito ng
Jacqueline,
mag-isa.
salamat.
Pagkatapos ay dumating ang psychic na babae na nakilala ni Sasaki kanina at nakilala siya ni Hoshizaki bilang Shizuko Futari. Iniisip ni Sasaki na kakaiba ang pangalan at binanggit niya na hindi ito ang kanyang tunay
Oo nga,
na pangalan.
100.
Tinatawag na nila ito dahil sa kulay ng kanyang kimono.
Hindi, ako si nagbibigay. Si Lolo yata nagbibigay.
Sinabi ni Shizuka na maaari niyang tulungan sila kung may problema. Tinanong ng magical girl si Shizuka kung siya ay psychic at sinabi ni Shizuka na maaaring oo. At inatake siya ng magical girl. Nakaiwas si Shizuka at napansin niya ang barrier ni Sasaki. Sinubukan
Oo,
ni Hoshi
Manay
ang atake
Alma.
kay Shizuka gamit ang mga water blasts.
Si
ngunit
Lolo
nakaiwas
yung
si
nagbibigay.
Shizuka. At kahit na tinamaan siya ng
Jacqueline,
dahil,
thank you,
pinabot niya ang
Jacqueline.
kanyang sugat. Muli siyang inatake ni Hoshi ngunit nakaiwas siya at pinatulog niya ito. Binanggit ni Shizuka na hindi na magkakaproblema si Sasaki ngayon at
May
tinanong siya ni
sinesearch
Sasaki
kasi
kung bakit niya ito
ako.
ginagawa.
Saan ba yun?
Sinabi ni Shizuka na may hiling siya kay Sasaki at tinanong ng magical girl si Sasaki kung kilala niya itong psychic. Pumayag si Sasaki na makipagtulungan kay Shizuka sa ngayon at sinabi niya siya ang magiging bitag at susuportahan siya at hiningin niya kay Shizuka na maghanap ng pagkakataon para umatake ngunit pinakiusapan niyang huwag patayin ang babae. Naintindihan ito ni Shizuka at lumaban si Sasaki sa magical girl at inabala niya ito habang nakikipaglaban. Iniisip ng magical girl na si Sasaki ay psychic ngunit sinabi ni Sasaki na hindi siya at nabanggit niyang gumamit lang siya ng mahika at dagdag pa niya na siya ay isang magical na middle-aged man. Nagtaka ang babae kung humingi rin ba ng tulong ang mga fairies sa kanya at sinubukan ni Shizuka na atakihin siya mula sa likod ngunit nagawa ng babae na talunin siya. Tinanong ni Sasaki ang babae kung nasaan ang mga fairies na humingi ng tulong sa kanya at sinabi ng babae na pinatay niya sila at dagdag pa niyang ginawa niya ang scarf mula sa kanilang balahibo at nagtaka si Sasaki kung bakit niya ito ginawa. Ipinaliwanag ng babae na ayaw niya maging isang magical girl kaya pinatay niya sila. Napansin ni Sasaki na magagamit ng babae ang mahika ng walang anumang incantations. Hindi niya ito naintindihan at ipinaliwanag sa kanya ni Sasaki na kailangan niyang magsalita ng mga incantations para gumamit ng mahika. Naintindihan ng babae na si Sasaki ay isang magical na middle-aged man at nagtaka kung bakit siya kasama ng isang psychic at ipinaliwanag ni Sasaki na nagkataon lang na nagkita sila at nagtaka ang babae kung maaari niyang patayin ito. Tinanong ni Sasaki kung bakit sobrang niyang kinamumuhian ang mga psychic at sinabi ng babae na pinatay ng mga psychic ang kanyang pamilya at mga mahal sa buhay. Pagkatapos ay napansin niya ang isang batang lalaki sa paligid niya at sinabi niyang uuwi na muna siya ngayon at umalis siya gamit ang isang uri ng portal. Subalit dito muna matatapos ang recap natin sa anime na ito. Antabayanan po ninyo sa susunod na linggo ang bago nitong episode.
New Jollibee Crunchy Chicken Sandwich. Crunchy. Tasty. All that sarap in every bite. New Jollibee Crunchy Chicken Sandwich.
65. Salamat.
Ang kwento ng anime ay nagsisimula sa isang lalaking naglalaro ng
Tapos
dating
na ba
simulation
ako?
game.
Tapos na
Ang
ako.
kapatid niya talaga ang bumili ng laro. Pero dahil magbabakasyon siya, hiling niya sa kapatid na tapusin ito para sa
Paupain
kanya.
ko lang yan.
Nag-curious siya tungkol sa pagtatapos ng laro pagkatapos ng lahat.
175.
Kaya nilaro ng lalaki ang reverse harem genre game sa mga susunod na araw ng hindi kumakain o natutulog na nagdulot sa kanya ng sakit at kinasusuklaman ang lahat ng nasa loob nito. At lalo siyang nagalit matapos makita ang ending na sa tingin niya ay katumbas ng basura. Pagkatapos ng laro, umalis ang lalaki sa kanyang apartment para bumili ng pagkain sa convenience store. Ngunit sa sobrang gutom, nawalan siya ng malay habang pababa ng hagdan, dahilan para mamatay siya sa lugar. At ang sumunod na nangyari ay isang malaking sorpresa. Ang lalaki ay muling nagkatawang tao sa ibang mundo. Ang lalaking iyon ay muling nagkatawang tao sa mundo ng dating simulation game na nilaro niya bago siya mamatay. At hindi siya muling sinilang bilang pangunahing karakter kundi bilang si Leon Fubart Ford, isang simpleng karakter sa mundong iyon. Para sa inyong kaalaman, ang mundo sa laro ito ay pinangunahan ng mga babae. Ang mga lalaki ay may dalawang pagpipilian, maging asawa o par-amor sa mga maharlika na babae. Ang sariling ama ni Leon ay asawa ng isang noble woman na nagngangalang Lady Zor. Pero hindi talaga masaya ang buhay niya bilang asawa ng isang maharlika na babae. Si Lady Zor ay isang makasarili at mayabang na babae na gustong kontrolin ang ibang tao. Makalipas ang 10 taon nang si Leon ay lumaki na, naghanda siyang pumasok sa Old Fort Academy, isang lugar na kadalasan ginagamit ng mga lalaki upang maghanap ng mga asawa o maging mga par-amor. Pero mukhang may ibang plano para sa kanya si Lady Zor, ang stepmother ni Leon. Nais niyang pakasalan niya ang anak ng isang royal noble. Ang anak na babae ng maharlika ay isang 50 taong gulang na babae na 7 beses nang ikinasal. Tinanggihan niya ang walang kabuluhan na plano sa paggawa ng matchmaking. Ngunit iginit niya na dapat niyang pakasalan ang babaeng pinili niya. Napagtanto na ang kanyang buhay ay nasa panganib kung hindi siya gagawa ng isang bagay, nagpa siya si Leon na gamitin ang kanyang kaalaman sa mundo ng laro. Naalala niya na bumili siya ng isang item habang naglalaro, at ngayon ay pinaplano niyang hanapin ang item na iyon na isang malakas na sasakyan na tinatawag na Lock's Iron. At kaya, nagpaalam si Leon sa kanyang ama upang simulan ang quest. Pagkatapos ay pumunta siya sa isang lihim na lugar at nakikipaglaban sa mga halimaw sa daan upang makakuha ng XP. Ngunit pagkaraan ng ilang oras, lumitaw ang isang buhawi at sinira ang kanyang barko, na iniwan siyang napadpad sa isang lumulutang na isla. Nagpa siya siyang galugarin ng isla hanggang sa makakita siya ng isang lumang gusali na pinasok niya. At pagkaraan ng ilang sandali ng paggalugad sa gusali, nakita niya ang dalawang kalansay ng tao na may mga ID card na nakakabit pa sa kanilang mga katawan. Kinuha ni Leon ang isa sa mga card na iniisip na maaaring maging kapakipakinabang ito mamaya at pagkatapos ay nagpatuloy sa kanyang paglakad. Sure enough, pagkatapos pumasok ng mas malalim sa building, nakita niya ang Lock's Iron at magagamit niya ang ID para buksan ang pinto. Ngunit ang barko pala ay binabantayan ng isang high-tier na robot kung saan pinakita niya ang card na hawak niya, umaasang makikilala siya ng robot bilang may-ari ng identity card. Ang robot, gayunpaman, ay walang nakitang pagkakatulad sa pagitan ni Leon at ng data sa identity card. Itinuring siya nito bilang isang nanghihimasok na dapat lipunin, kaya sinimulan siya nitong salakayin. Ang robot ay nagdulot ng kaunting pinsala kay Leon sa mga pag-atake nito, ngunit sa huli, nagawa niyang talunin ito.
98, thank you.
Sinubukan niyang kontrolin ang lock's eye sa pamamagitan ng pag-scan sa kanyang kamay. Sa kabutihang
3
pala,
years na.
matagumpay ang pag-verify at kahit na ang AI ay natukoy ang kanyang pagiging natatangi. Siya ay pinaghalo kay human ang uri ng tao na maaaring gumamit ng magic at old human ang taong lumikha ng lock's eye. Dahil dito, opisyal na nakarehistro si Leon bilang bagong may-ari ng lock's eye. Makalipas ang 3 buwan, hindi pa rin nagpapakita si Leon sa harap ni Lady Zor. Nang umantong sa kanya na ipalagay na siya ay namatay pagkatapos na subukang takasan ng kanyang kapareha sa anak na babae ng mahalina. Ngunit hindi nagtagal pagkatapos niyang sabihin sa ama ni Leon ang tungkol sa kanyang mga palagay. Tumating si Leon na may malaking masayang ngiti sa kanyang mukha. Hindi lang siya umuwi sakay ng Lock's Iron, ngunit nagdala din siya ng maraming mga kayamanan na kanyang
Rose Ann Alcantara. Hello, Rose Ann. Salamat, Rose Ann. Thank you for coming. Rose Ann. Kumusta ka? Magandang hapon. Magandang hapon sa'yo, Rose Ann. Para magdalan ako. Joe JC, thank you Joe JC. Salamat. Mag-end na ako, ilang minutes na lang. Ilang minutes na lang, mag-end na yung lolo mo. 32. 30, ano ba yung tinitingnan ko? 85, 72. Ilang minutes na lang ako. Salamat Joe JC ha. And Rose Ann, Alma, Manay Alma, salamat. Ilang minutes na lang ako. Pagod na ako. Wala, 3 hours na ako. 3 hours na ako. Walain mo. Salamat. Pag bumaba yan sa 10, mag-end na ako. JC, thank you Joe JC. Dami pa, 66 pa nila dyan. So, antayin ko hanggang matapos makarelate. Oo. Jacqueline, salamat Jacqueline. Good evening. Ay, ibaba ko na lang yung bahay mo. Tsaka si Joe JC, wait lang ha. Ipin ko yung channel. Uy, hindi ka pa inaantok, di ba late night na dyan? Baba ko na lang yung bahay mo. Pagod na ako. Napagod magdaldal. I-promote na lang kita. Copy link. Tapos, balik doon. Tapos, ipin ko si Jacqueline. Nagla-live to guys si Jacqueline. Ayan. Pin. Ayan. Puntahan nyo si Jacqueline. Saka si Joe JC pala. Okay, pa-end na kasi. Kaya promote ko na kaya dyan. Binabaan na kita kanina Joe JC. Nilapag ko na yung channel mo kan. 46 na lang. Pag bumaba yan ng 10, mag-end na ako. Joe JC, ano ngayon? Happy channel. Ayan. Joe JC Happy Channel. Ayan, mag-connect to each other. So that we will grow together. Connect to each other so that we will grow together. Ayan, si Maria. God bless. Yes. Sino pa mga naka-live? Si David. Si Sean. Ayan, okay na. Maria Itrudy Sipton. Okay na. Sino pa ba naka-live? Si JC, di ko mapuntahan. Di pa ako naka 3 hours na pala ako. Arshad. Si Boss Kala. Si Bert Subic. Naka-live pa ba si Bert ng Subic? Ayan, 30 pagbawa. Ayan sa 10. Ako yan, na. Gugura Bills na. Rodrios. Hanap tayo ng mga kaibigan na naka-live. Si, BNSY. Ay, naka-live pa rin siya. David Henryson. Sino pa ba? Robbie Home. Ayan, kanina pa to. Walang update. Wait lang ha. Maghanap ako ng naka-live. JC lang ang naka-live. Si David Beres. Sino pa? 60 Dantos. Sino pa ba? Bea Alonso Salsadano. Ito nga iba siya. Parang ni Bea Alonso ito. 19, malapit na sa 10. Pag 10 mag-end na kapag bumaba ng 10, 10, 10. Pag bumaba ng 10, ako'y mag-end. Wow. Pag bumaba ng 10, plus you. 16, malapit na mag-10. Congrats sa mga winner. 822k. 20. Oh, ba't ayaw mo pang bumaba dyan? Stir Magic 22. Stir Magic. Tumili pa pinagsatana. Nagkita na sila ni Janelle. Oh my God. Tapos dito. BNSY. Tahanang pinakamasaya. Huh? Ano itong tahanang pinakamasaya? 600. A stranger tries to pick me up in the public. Pitchy boy. Hindi nakaka-50. Joe JC. Connect kayo sa Joe JC. Jacqueline, thank you ho. Suklian ko guys. Oo. Malapit na ako mag-end, Jacqueline. Yo, JC, malapit na. Pag bumaba ng 10 yan. Ako ay mag-end na 11. 11 na lang. Turn me up. Air in the family. When it's ayan, 10 na. Mag-end na ako. Bye-bye na. Bye-bye. Ayan, bye-bye na. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jacqueline. Bye-bye, George JC. Mag-end na ako. Thank you. Thank you na. Salamat, salamat. Ala, 11 na ulit. Mag-end na ako. Ala, na 12 ulit. Paano ko mag-end dito? Bye-bye na. Bye-bye, Arlis. Thank you. Good night, Jacqueline. Yan, 8 na ulit. Sige na, sige na. Good night to you, Arlis. Good night, Jacqueline. Good night. Thank you for the support. Wala, 10 na ulit kayo. Mag-end na ako. Good night. Bye-bye. Tayin ko na. God bless you all. See you later.